Welcome to the Ringers NBA Draft Watch Party. My name is Chris Ryan, and I am here with the Ringer. What's up, guys? Everybody say hello. Hey. Among others, we got Jonathan Sharks, Kevin O'Connor, and Jason Concepcion here. And back from his book tour, he just wrote a Hamilton-esque musical about James Young's time with the Red Claws. It's Bill Simmons. Everybody give Bill the fist pump. Yeah.
Come on. That hurts, guys.
Welcome back, Bill.
It's good to be back.
Bill, are you expecting a lot of trades tonight? I feel like we've been hearing about it.
Our whole staff was paralyzed by this Dallas-Atlanta rumor. And then it turns out Dallas didn't want to give Wes Matthews, what was the trade? Wes Matthews.
Now they're saying there's future picks involved. They wanted like 2019 or 2020.
I think Cuban's floating all this, so it seems like the Mavs are up to stuff.
Yeah,
You're going to end up with Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
KFC's going to defend it. And
I'm on Luka watch, man. I can't them talk to me about that.
The trade was supposed to be Dallas moving up from 5 to 3 for Atlanta's third pick, and it was going to involve Bazemore going to Dallas.
And then it'll be Wesley Matthews in the 5th pick to Atlanta.
And then
with
33,
the 5th pick,
the second round pick.
and then with the 5th pick, Trey Young would get selected.
That's
by
sort
Atlanta.
of trading a Yugo for a tempo there, right? Like, I mean, with the Bazemore and Matthews contract.
Here's way better than Wes Matthews. I'll put it that.
Bazemore's better than Wes Matthews, but it does seem like some of the trades we've been hearing about tonight, Kev, specifically involve some of these onerous contracts that got signed 3, 4, 5 years ago, especially Chandler Parsons.
How dare you?
Yeah, but here's what I don't get. Why does Atlanta need to shed contracts? Nobody wants to sign with Atlanta.
I don't think it's
What,
about the
they're
money.
creating cap space so they can sign Dwight Howard again?
I think it's more about, for them, it's about picking up an extra asset, getting the guy they want in Trey Young, but then they can use that extra asset.
But what's the extra asset? Wes Matthews?
Well, if it's the second round pick, they can use that to move up from 19 to get a guy like Lonnie Walker or whoever it may be that they're targeting.
Congratulations. They're going to pass Luka Doncic?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
They just don't believe in him.
He likes nachos.
So you think Luka is just flat
I
out?
do. I'm all in. I
Number
rarely
one
go
pick.
all in on draft prospects.
Team Luka.
Usually I'm right when I go all in.
I know.
There's been some occasional Emeka Okafor I don't want to talk about. But for the most part, I'm good.
I know, but just his back problems
hurt.
stopped him
another
from being one of the
bad
great
back guy.
centers of all time.
Not
Another
my
bad
fault.
back guy.
Yeah, another bad back guy, just like me. I want to talk a little bit about this 3, 4, 5 range of the first round because it feels like nobody who's there wants to pick there. And that's what's causing a lot of the problems. Like Atlanta, Memphis, and Dallas are all like, we're open for business. Is it the fact that they're not crazy about Young, Bamba, Jackson, the guys who are there? Or is it just that they're trying to wring some picks out of people here?
I think you left out it's not exactly a savvy bunch.
Murderer's row of.
The legacy of this draft in the top 10, just a lot of dumbass teams,
Yeah.
right?
I love it.
Including your team.
Hey, come on.
That's
unfair.
That was a tough turnaround. Jason was like, yeah! Dumbass! Oh! He's talking about me.
Like, who are the smart teams in the top 10?
What's your wish list?
Just any player that can contribute, that they can, and and for them not to trade with Memphis and bring in Chandler Parsons, which I think would be that's a bad mix. Chandler Parsons plus Kristaps Porzingis. I think it's a bad influence, and I hope it doesn't happen.
We were talking about the Porter thing. You think Porter would go there? Would you do it?
I would take Porter. Yeah, if
Do
he's
your
down there or
theory
not, I'd
about
take Porter.
do your Porter theory for the Knicks.
Just redshirt him and tank again next year.
Would you take Porter over Kevin Knox,
Yes.
even with the injury
Yeah.
concern and the him thinking he's
Swing
Giannis
for
and
it.
KD and Tracy McGrady?
Yeah, I think you swing for it.
Hey, shoot your shot,
I take
man.
it by your question. You would not do that.
No, I wouldn't. I have Knox one spot ahead on my rankings, but I think Kevin Knox, he's about a year younger. He's probably proven more thus far through his basketball career. Younger, I think his scoring ability, athleticism, a little bit better than Michael Porter. He might be
post-injury. Maybe you think pre-injury he's better more like
maybe
Michael Porter?
Maybe
Porter was really athletic.
Do we actually know when
Shabazz
Porter
Muhammad.
started being injured too? Isn't
That's
that
how.
kind of-
That's the question.
Shabazz Muhammad was once a top-ranked high school
Shabazz
player.
was never like a Michael Porter. Come
But
on.
then he went to UCLA.
He's 22 though.
And he was exposed. and if Michael Porter had played this whole season at Missouri, maybe we wouldn't be talking about him as a lottery pick. It could have went that way.
There's a
Chris, you're
couple.
burying the lead. Poor Riley back here.
Oh man.
Yet again is going to watch his team have what's the right word?
A catastrophe of a draft.
Is catastrophe strong enough?
Hey, they have the top player on their board. What's so
So
concerning?
they're
have a
going
chance
to probably
to take a
draft Bagley
franchise
second.
guy.
Riley, like, this should teach you to love things, but do you think that you got over emotionally committed to Luka in this whole process?
good
And now
question.
that like a lot of people, don't you think Bagley's better than Luka?
Yes.
There you go.
Tate thinks Bagley's
One
better than
shining
Luka.
pod's in.
Sorry, I feel like I'm alone here, but yes.
You don't
glad
like
you're with me,
European
Tate.
players though.
No, well, I love Drazen Petrovic.
Well,
All right, so there's one.
There's one, thanks.
Riley, what do you think
Pager.
about what the Kings are in all likelihood going to do?
I think they're going to draft Bagley. There's no question. But I think I had an appropriate level of emotional commitment, considering this is our first time in 30 years to draft a guy who could really change the course of the franchise, and we're punting on that opportunity. So, feels great.
wow. Shaka, though.
There's a couple of different rumors going around today. Porter dropping because of these medicals. I want to ask you about one, John.
This will be good.
This idea that the Sixers were looking to package Fultz with all their other picks that they had to get up into the top 4.
I want to know who's packaging. Like,
Yeah.
Right now, they have an empty GM
wow.
chair, and like you and I have talked about this a lot. Where I'm not. Look, nobody knows what you're going to get out of Fultz. If Fultz is the guy that they drafted, or going to become the guy that they drafted, and all of a sudden he's fixing his shot and he's working with Drew Hanlon here in LA, all of a sudden that's the guy you needed. You needed somebody who could put the ball on the floor and handle, because we saw in the playoffs with Bill's team that they didn't have enough handlers. They didn't have
can't even say the
enough
name of the
shooters.
team.
I won't say
can't
it here.
even say the
I'm
name.
contractually obligated to say it, and I'm not going to say it. I'm probably going to get fired on this show. But they need a ball handler and they need a shooter, so maybe that would be Fultz. But I'm not sold on that yet. So I want to know how they're coming to this decision, because ultimately, whatever they do in this draft and then in free agency could have long-term
Absolutely.
ripple effects for the franchise, and they haven't identified who's going to lead the franchise forward and be their decision maker. So if you make these moves and you move these pieces around, you could potentially be screwing yourself out of a quality GM candidate.
Yeah, that's the thing.
This locks them in.
I like how you're turning around.
Do you
This is good.
think it's important to have a GM during the draft?
I think that would be helpful. And by the way, thanks a lot, Ringer.
That's true. Brett Brown's running their draft. He was coaching the team all year.
Hip Hop the Rabbit might
He
be
knows as
coaching
much
this
about the
running
draft
team.
as I do. He just went on YouTube for 2 weeks. He was like, I like this guy.
The draft's a Nova, guys. Brett knows them.
So that's one. They're linked with the
I
coverage.
think it's insane that Fultz would even be discussed in a trade.
Yeah, you can't.
That they
How
would
is
give up on him. Is he even 20 yet? What is he, 19 or 20?
Would it really be given up though, or maybe it's a player that you like better?
No, like when the Cavs traded Anthony Bennett, like clearly they were they were beyond red flags.
Yes.
Sure.
Markelle Fultz still has a chance to be, I think, really good.
I agree because Fultz showed everything that made him a top prospect.
The
except for
speed,
the
the
jumper.
speed.
I feel like you're trying to sabotage. I feel like you're trying to sabotage the Sixers from the inside. I'd keep him. I'd stick with him. I think he's gonna be great. I'll tell you, this guy, I'm seeing it.
I was impressed by his speed. I just felt
He's
like
very
he was
talented.
his fifth gear was about as high as anybody
It's a
had.
combination of
Would
speed
not trade
and
him.
power and athleticism and feel and defense.
Right.
It's all there.
Now, whether
except
that's
for
the right
cheating.
team for him is another
I
question.
feel like I'm on Black Mirror.
I think they are trolling us. But
No, I'm not.
at work is an HR violation for sure. But I think you have to at least see what he looks like after he works on his shot over the summer.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
see, because like you traded an extra pick to the Celtics, who are
Yes.
already going to add 2 extra guys who are all-stars for nothing and have this huge cache of picks and are set up for the foreseeable future. So at least see
Yes.
if this guy is going to be any good, because it says otherwise you're screwed
He's
anyway.
going to be good. It's not like he's going to be a bust.
I love your confidence.
Will he?
You're
I
way
just
more
don't know if
confident
this
than
is
I
the
am
right
about
team
that.
for him. I don't know if Ben Simmons and Fultz together makes sense.
So one of the things that we had been talking about a couple weeks, whenever the Kawhi stuff really went into red alert, was the idea of the Sixers putting together a package with Fultz, Dario, maybe some picks to go to San
Covington.
Antonio. That would certainly probably, if San Antonio has to trade Kawhi, it would go down easier than if I just can't see them trading him to the Lakers, even though the Lakers seem to be trying to put themselves in at least the public position to be a suitor for him.
I think we were talking about a Heat before.
We sure were.
I think Popovich is in the Pacino at the end of Heat. Like, I'm too fucking tired. He's in that mode. Like, he's not just going to give Kawhi to some contender and ride out his 20-year Spurs dynasty with this crap.
Say what? Say what?
It would be
I
a
think he
really
does-
wanna go to the
strange
Lakers?
end note for him.
I think he takes the Kawhi thing to the brink.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
Like what we did on the website yesterday where we parodied the Heat thing. I think that's how this plays out.
I've heard some executives around the league do think San Antonio could drag it out if offers are underwhelming at this point.
Yeah, wait till February.
I mean, there's the fear that he leaves next summer, just like with Paul George. We saw what happened with that. They didn't even get a draft pick back.
Justin?
Granted, it worked out.
Well, look what the Knicks got for Carmelo just by dragging that into the trade deadline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There's going to be
exactly.
somebody who's dumb or desperate enough to make some
Oh,
sort
he's
of...
right here. This is his team. We're crapping on the Knicks. Sorry, Jason.
What's the dumb and desperate rankings between Sacramento, Orlando, and the Knicks?
In terms of drafting for
Just
the
dumb and
trading for
desperate
Kawhi.
rankings. This
Dumb
is
and
good.
desperate rankings.
I'm bullish on
Who's
that.
Memphis has got to be up there. They're
I'm
trying to get
bullish
rid of
on-
that Parsons contract.
Isn't Cleveland probably the most dumb and desperate right now?
Maybe.
The Kings
Depends.
have
That to
had a lot
salvage
of
LeBron somehow?
10 years. I think they are.
Who are-
Riley can hear you.
Yeah.
I think we're dumber than we are desperate, though.
Yeah, I don't think the Kings are desperate. They're just stupid.
That's the one thing about some of these top few teams is they don't actually I don't get the sense of desperation, and it's partially that's the issue with this draft is like whoever they get, and even these top 6 guys, like I don't think it makes a difference for Orlando. I think Orlando has the worst roster in the NBA, no matter who they get today, whether it's
You
Trey
put
Young.
Orlando over Brooklyn?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Who do you like on Brooklyn?
The great Jared Allen.
Karis LeVert.
Hook 'em.
He had some pretty good
What are you guys
talent.
talking about?
Who do you like on
Stop
Orlando?
it.
At least we don't know who some of these Brooklyn guys can be. The
I like
Orlando
Jonathan
guys are all
Isaac more than any
fixed.
Brooklyn net.
I'm surprised you don't prefer Orlando because you loved Isaac last year.
I guess I like Orlando, but they got some talent. I'm not too.
Guys,
either way.
the Hawks had 3 D2 players on their roster last year. I watched plenty of Hawks games. They were bad.
And a Patriot leaguer. Yeah.
What else are we talking about right now? We've got, so we've had Porter dropping. We've got this possible Memphis deal with Parsons to trade out of 4, which basically is them saying, I will give up this pick. Just take Parsons off our hands.
I love this look.
Can I see a show of hands right now as these guys start to make their entrances to the Barclays Center? Can I see a show of hands? Is the Parsons contract the worst contract of the decade?
The decade.
Evan Turner's
that
up
can't
there,
be true.
No, I mean, definitely Parsons over Evan. I mean, like at least Evan can get out on the floor and do something.
Yeah.
I think it's the Miles Bowman.
What'd you say?
Luol Deng?
No, he's
Well, they're still
Parsons
paying
is
Josh
23
Smith, yeah.
a year though, right?
Is Hassan
No more.
Whiteside worse than Chandler Parsons?
No.
Yeah.
Mozgov as well, another bad one.
Luau Deng.
Yeah, I said Luol
We got
Deng.
some doozies in there for sure.
Blake Griffin.
Parsons makes it.
Get it in early. Wow.
Get in early.
Actually, isn't Conley due for like 30 this year? Do we know if he can stay in
it's
the
next year.
court?
28.
He'll make like 42 or something.
Conley's
in the final
looming
year of
if
that
he can't
deal.
stay in the court.
42?
Yeah.
In the final year of his deal, yeah.
All those Wall and Westbrook contracts are going to be.
The John Wall one scares me because he did not look in shape for most of last year.
Do you guys know how much Melo's
holiday
getting
bros,
paid
that's
next year?
cute.
Oh,
How
no,
much
what,
who was making
28?
answer?
28.
28. But he has to opt in.
Opt in,
right?
baby.
Yeah.
Opt in, baby.
Get paid.
Bill,
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Boston because I think
We're not
that
even in the draft. I didn't even wear Celtic stuff.
you want to wait. You want to save the Boston
No,
takes for the
I
actual
could
draft.
save it. I was hoping they would trade in the top 5.
That's
but
what I was
don't-
going to ask you. It's just
They
like
don't have the contracts. The problem is they have all these huge contracts and all these little contracts. And none of the in-between contracts. Whereas a
terrible.
team like the Knicks
So
have
awful.
all the contracts. You have every contract.
Terrible.
It was a real misfire by Ainge. He just should have constructed the roster.
yeah,
differently.
I fired him
They're so
today.
well built. It's tough sometimes.
No idea what he's doing.
They didn't want a Morris brother?
If you guys have questions or comments for us, hit us up at #RingerNBA. We're going to be
Kevin Knox.
here up until and through the first round. Sharks is going to hang around until the draft starts. Then he's going to start writing live grades on the site, so you can read what Sharks thinks of these grades as the draft goes on. Kev's going to be giving grades from the couch here. We've got the whole crew here. We'll be with you for the first round. Bill's hanging out.
Yeah.
Michael Porter.
I don't like the way he's going down the steps.
Let's
Very
get really-
stiff.
we need back talk
Very stiff walking down the
He was walking
steps.
like my dad.
That was
was
just
terrible.
very like first day after waking up out of a coma.
That's it.
It was like Robert Parrish at the end of his career. That was awful.
It's not good, guys.
That's why he's going to 12.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say that I wanted the Knicks to take him at 9? Let's forget.
So you're out now. You're already out.
I just don't like
Didn't you
that.
say
I don't
with-
like that walk.
Bill, with Grego, and you saw him walk, and you were like, "This is not going to go well." Or
Yeah,
something.
but his legs weren't the same size. It really. That just looked like somebody who had a bad back.
Yeah, which he
I
does.
have a bad back. I recognize. The
Lonnie
bad back
going
signs.
double-breasted tonight.
I love it.
It's good. He got a good.
What's the most fun
great.
team for Lonnie Walker to go to from a social media,
Clippers,
NBA,
for
Twitter?
We did
Reddit?
the mock
What about you?
yesterday,
But they don't
and
have a
the
huge fan
mock
base, though.
Atlanta team that we had out of our mock draft was awesome. It was Luka, Lonnie,
And Kyrie Thomas.
and Kyrie Thomas.
Oh my God!
It was like immediate league pass team.
I think he needs to go to a team that has a lot of fans on the internet, like a Philly type of situation. He'll be studying his Instagram.
Atlanta's social media is really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They would have a lot.
But are there fans on social media, or is it just like
Atlanta-
They don't
tweeting
have
into
fans.
the
20
the
fans.
boys?
Right.
They have 20 fans.
30? Jamie Gertz.
I think they promote the hell out
The
of
lady
him.
from Spanx.
The Lost Boys fans are all
Spanx
the
lady.
Hawks.
Spanx lady would just really wanted Wes Matthews.
We're a couple of minutes away. Hey, Bill, you asked this the other day on Slack.
Yeah.
What's up with are we sure Aiden's the real #1 pick? Now you were saying more, why are we so sure Phoenix is taking him?
Yeah, if you're going to take the guy #1, why not just say you're taking him #1? Now it seems like they're going to take him. But I thought it was weird that they weren't upfront about it sooner.
Do you
Unless
think that they
thought
were
were getting
waiting
bowled
to
over.
see if
What's the
anybody
point
could...
of that, KOC?
Yeah.
I think it's always about leverage. I mean, you never know what opportunity might pop up. You're not going to commit to a guy and tell the player that you're going to come here and tell the agent he's going to come here when there could always be something that would potentially pop up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd remember that if I was Deandre Aiden.
You think he's got a chip on his shoulder as he
it's like,
laces
I
up
wasn't
his
your guy
Pumas?
until 12 hours before the draft.
Were you guys want to talk a little bit about Puma?
Yes.
Puma's signing this entire draft class?
They're going hard.
When's the last time a big guy moved sneakers?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Rookies
Moses?
generally don't either.
Yeah.
They really don't. Like you have to wait until you're a superstar and then people start wearing your sneakers, but it's very rare for rookies to do it.
Yeah, it's about getting in early. Like if one of these guys blossoms into a superstar, then suddenly Puma's on the map.
Tate, which of the new Puma guys is the guy who will have the signature sneaker that people would
It's
want?
going to be Bagley. Bagley was the first one.
He's all in on Bagley.
The Bagley ones.
The
Yeah,
bag
Bagley's
ones.
gonna get a
Tell the
shoe.
Nike story. That's pretty crazy.
What do you mean?
They're like
Nike's-
funding his family for like 5 years.
Well, yeah.
It's college athletics.
Nike's got a lot of
Snitching out an entire
They had a good time. It was a good time in college, and then now he's. I think everyone
cold
thought he would
world.
go Nike, and he went Puma.
We're going to take a quick break
I'm
before
with
the.
Tate, by the way, on that.
You're with Tate on the
Because I
Bagley
think
being the
Bags is
icon.
putting up points next year. He's putting up like 25 a game, and they're going to lose 60 games.
And he was their first guy, so they signed him first. And they were
That
like,
dude's getting shots next year.
He feels like an athletic Al
He's taking
Jefferson
20
to me.
shots a game next year.
Wow. Just like empty 2010.
I mean, we have skinny Zach Randolph on the draft guide.
We're going to take a quick break before the draft actually starts. We'll be right back with the whole crew to watch the first round. We'll be right back, guys.
NBA Relationship Goals is brought to you by State Farm. Get an agent that gets you.
Big money, big money, big money. What is happening? You ready for that NBA lottery? That's not how this works. You're the expert. I am, and I am super excited to talk about all these potential relationships that could blossom next season between rookies and really, really bad teams or really smart teams in the middle of a process. Let's start with the potential #1 pick, Deandre Aiden, who could pair nicely with Devin Booker in Phoenix. Ooh, I like that, especially because it's likely Phoenix gets the #1 pick. Aiden would like that too. See, he needs someone like Booker who has consistently improved as a playmaker. Playmaker, heartbreaker. Going to pretend that didn't happen. Last year, Booker was a beast in the pick and roll. Which is good for Aiden. Exactly. At Arizona, Aiden popped after setting a screen 71% of the time, and he rolled 29% of the time, and that should improve in the NBA with increased spacing. Look at you! Now let's move out east to Orlando, a possible awesome landing spot for one of the most exciting players, Trey Young. Ah, yes, Orlando needs that scoring. Trey Young Sooners average 85.2 points per game, and only 5 teams average fewer than the Magic's 103.4 points per game.
Speaking of scoring, though, Trey Young led the nation with 27.4 points per game last season.
I have one thing to say about points per game. Yeah, basic.
Let me finish. The Magic have had only one guard score 20 points per game for an entire season since the turn of the century, and that player is Steve freaking Francis.
Yes, Young definitely belongs in Orlando.
Agree. Anyone else we want to pair up?
Well, we missed the most obvious one. Doncic in Philly, baby!
Okay, Chris, that's not happening.
It is happening.
Let me map this out for you. The Sixers own the Lakers pick unless it falls between 2 and 5.
The process!
Since Doncic is a consensus top 5 pick, the only way the Sixers can draft him is if they pick #1.
Process!
And the probability of that happening? 1.1%.
Process?
It's so fun to think about. Like, Doncic would actually fit right in with his incredible passing.
And his average defense wouldn't matter because Philly has the 3rd best defensive rating in the league.
But again, it's not happening.
Whatever, hater. Either way, there are a ton of fun relationships to think about heading into this draft. It is genuinely so exciting.
Big money, big money, big money.
That's not how this works!
I'm De'Aaron Fox, and I'm reading as Lady Bird. I wish I could live through something.
Aren't you? Nope. The only exciting thing about
2002 is it's a palindrome.
Fine. Well, yours is the worst life of all, so you win.
I don't want to go to school in state anyway. I hate California.
I want to go to the East Coast.
I want to go where there's culture, like New York, or at least Connecticut or New Hampshire, where writers live in the woods.
Get into those schools anyway.
Mom!
You can't even pass your driver's test.
You won't let me practice
The way
enough.
that you work, or the way that you don't work, you're not even worth state tuition, Christy.
My name is Lady Bird.
Well, actually, it's not, and it's ridiculous.
Call me Lady Bird like you said you would.
You should just go to City College. You know, with your work ethic, just go to City College and then to jail, and then back to City College, and then maybe you'd learn to pull yourself up and not expect everybody to do everything.
Bro, when she jumped out the car, oh my God.
We are on. We are back. It's the Ringer NBA Draft Watch Party. Hi, Justin. Hey, buddy. What's up, guys? Bill's here. Jason's here. Kevin's here. Justin's here. We got everybody in the back. Tate, John, Danny, Charks, the squad over there. We're watching along. Adam Silver's giving a little of a State of the Union right now. I'm sure you're watching as well. And Phoenix will be on the clock shortly. A lot of smiles. It is a nice moment. Have you guys ever been to the draft? It is pretty cool to see how much it means to everybody's feelings.
Especially the families.
Yeah, it's like a lot of really genuine emotion. Like, I know we're being funny here and we're being like Chandler Parsons has a bad contract, but this is a pretty cool moment for everybody.
It was described to me today as Woodstock crossed with Fashion Week.
That's interesting. How is it like Woodstock?
By a person that's been to neither of those things.
I don't know. It sounds pretty great.
Having done it twice, like how many people show up to just watch it?
Yeah.
And how bored they are by like pick 20?
Yeah.
And they start doing chants and trying to get the studio people to turn around.
I know.
It's not that fun to go. I don't understand why people would go to this.
What do you remember as like the biggest surprise whenever
Anthony Bennett.
It was Bennett.
That was shocking.
Well,
we were just talking to people who were saying he was going to fall out of the top 10. So we thought Oladipo was going to go there and maybe Nerlens.
Yeah.
And they said Bennett. It was like the most stunning thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Kind of a franchise-defining thing. I mean, they wound up winning a title, but you wonder what would have happened, just like in general.
It was the perfect storm. It was like the wrong year. Like 3 years later, no 6'7" tweener guy ever goes first.
Right.
And then like a screwed up team. They didn't really have the GM yet, I don't think. Or did they? They had Chris Grant at that point?
I think they had Grant.
That was bad.
Thon Maker going number 10 to the Bucks is pretty shocking as well. A lot of people
because it was higher or lower.
A lot of people expected him to go in the 20 to 35 range, and then boom.
Oh, that's
Bucks
right.
10,
I forgot about
swung
that.
for the fences and took Thon.
I remember
hero.
the one of the drafts I did. The Raptors took Bruno.
That's right.
Who wasn't on any of our lists, and we were all just kind of looking at each other, and the guy was like, throw it to Fran. Throw it to Fran. He threw it to Fran, and Fran was ready to go. And that's when he said 2 years away from being 2 years away.
Just agonizing over that because me and Rafe back at Grantland, we knew about him.
You knew about Bruno.
We knew about Bruno. We had watched 2 videos of him, vertical film, just like 5 seconds of him dunking. And we were just like, I don't think we could go off this tip.
Bruno's
that
on
he
the
was gonna
Kings
get
now, right?
Yeah.
How many years
He was
away
not
is
on
he
my
now?
list.
This is the year.
This is the year.
This is his now.
This is 2 from 2.
This is his moment.
Giannis was. I remember when Giannis got taken, we all liked it. We thought it was like a little bit early.
Yeah.
And now that's probably, for the value, I would say the best pick of this whole century, right?
yeah.
They took him 15th.
Yeah.
Look at a super duper
What a
star at number
draft.
15.
I mean, you could make the argument that Draymond, for the contracts that he was on, was probably more important so far. But Giannis will probably wind up being that.
Maybe Shabazz Napier at 20, 22.
So
we got the Suns on the board, and we know that they're going to take Ayton, and we'll get to that, like the sort of details about Ayton's game in a few minutes. But I'm curious about whether or not, Kevin, you think that Ayton and Booker are the core now, or are they still another great player away from being at all competitive?
I mean, they already have one star, Devin Booker. I mean,
Yeah.
he's 21 years old, and he averaged like 25 points per game last year. Efficient pick-and-roll scorer. I think with Booker, you already have one of the guys. Now you hope Ayton turns into probably the guy, because I'm not quite sure that Booker's your number 1, but maybe your number 2.
what about Josh is in there too,
Yeah,
though, right?
and he's definitely in there too. And we can't give up on. I know I'm the only person who says this, but Dragan Bender is still only 20 years old. He's younger than a lot of guys that are going on the first
Bender
round
Island.
this year. I mean, I feel so lonely.
How did they screw up both that and the Chris pick in the same draft?
It was kind of a bad draft.
It has like
it
Kwame and
killed
Curry
off.
vibes,
Yeah.
like to have
Those
these
guys
guys
are-
on the same team like that.
I don't think we can say that draft is good or bad yet, because like a guy like Brandon Ingram's still developing as a player. I mean, we still don't know what exactly level he's going to reach. Ben Simmons is even still improving. There's still a lot of guys in that era. In
Jamal
that
was
draft.
7.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me with the Suns, I know I've talked about this before, because the same thing happened with Cleveland, where these teams are just completely incompetent and then stumble into more blue chip talent, right?
Yeah.
Phoenix had a pretty nice foundation and then decided to do the 3-point guard disaster. And then that led to them trading Isaiah Thomas, which was even dumber. And all these stupid moves they made. And then all of a sudden that leads to Josh Jackson at 4, and it leads to Ayton at 1. And they got the Booker pick because OKC passed on. Did OKC take Booker or Payne? Was that after Booker or
Payne
before?
was after.
Yeah.
Payne was 14.
Who
Booker was
took?
13, Payne was 14.
Who was
passed
12?
on Booker?
Then it was Turner and Lyles. Miles Turner and Trey
Yeah,
Lyles.
Lyles was 12.
No, those are all good
Lyles.
picks.
That was a good. That was
Yeah,
a
but
good
you'd
good
rather have
draft.
Devin Booker than Trey Lyles, right?
Yeah, but I mean they were defensible at the time.
Here we go.
All right, here
we
comes
go.
Adam Silver to make the first pick of the 2018 NBA draft.
I don't know about the tie.
Not great.
So that's Deandre Aiden From Arizona, staying home, going to the Phoenix Suns. Aiden is a 7-footer, 240, mean offensive player. Just has like a lot of really scary tools already. He's been locked in at this spot for a long time. One thing that we're really concerned about, I guess, is the defense. And frankly, like if you have him out there, you're talking about it maybe being 3-on-5 with Devin and Deandre on the floor at the same time. But that being said, Kevin,
Sean Miller,
what do you think?
A minus.
They let him in the draft.
A minus grade.
A minus.
Why are you giving Deandre Aiden an A minus?
Well, the Suns get an A minus because Luka Doncic was on the board and he's number one, so it's
That's
not an
the
A plus.
minus.
However, DeAndre Ayton is a perfect fit next to Devin Booker. I think they need a big man alongside their ball handlers, Booker, Josh Jackson. Really, with him, the question is, what level does he reach offensively? There's a lot of talent there, of course, for him to be great. And defensively, he needs to consistently lock in and be engaged on that end of the floor to lock down their defense. So it's not 3-on-5, like you said, Chris.
Okay. I mean,
what grade would you have given Doncic in the one spot?
A plus. A plus.
So you two both think Doncic is the best player in the draft by far?
Hands down.
Whew.
Wow.
Okay.
It's a
All
Doncic
right.
punch.
I don't understand. We all watch basketball every May and June, and the best teams always have these dudes who can create shots for themselves and other people who are perimeter guys year after year. That's who wins the title. And then somebody takes a center first. I don't understand it.
Right.
And you should be falling all over yourself to get Doncic.
We were talking about this, about how this would have been like you put Doncic and Booker together. You have playmakers all over the court now.
Yeah, you have playmakers at maybe 3 or 4 different positions. Like Josh Jackson is a great, open court threat. He can make the pass. He can do that. And, the chemistry that he already had with Igor Kokoshkov, like, you go with this. You go.
That was impressive that he said the name correctly.
Yeah.
Practice that.
It's good stuff. Phoenix does a lot of like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We'll see which one this is. I'm not sure.
I mean, the thing with Ayton, he's not going to be a bust.
Right.
Yeah, he did produce in college. Tate, you liked him.
Of course. Nassau Bahama kid. He lost all games at home when he went home to play in Nassau, so that's always a good sign.
He lost to Buddy Hield.
Yeah, lost to a lot of people this year. I think the biggest knock on him is that it's about motor, how much he wants it. He said he wanted a second contract, so at least the rookie deal would be good for you. Let him go where he wants to go after that.
All right, so hold that thought. Isn't that the recurring theme for when these guys don't totally make it? It's like they weren't these guys that were in the gym at 1 a.m, like working on their game. The motor thing is like the #1 red flag, as Jason has found out on the Knicks over and over again.
There's also like a conversation. Russillo and Jay Billis were talking about this yesterday on Russillo's podcast, which was like that's an issue that comes up a lot with big men because they're basically given all these talents. They're 7 feet tall or whatever. Like they're like kind of like destined to play basketball.
Yeah.
But it might not be like a real passion of theirs.
Right. Embiid has a motor. He's just like a Tesla. He only has like 220 miles before you have to plug him back in.
Just like a Tesla.
Well, he can play a solid
nice
27.
That's a lot.
A solid 27
sometimes
minutes.
That's a lot of range.
You
though.
roll the dice sometimes. I do wonder though with the Suns, like with McDonough, their GM, like when do things start getting hot for him? Because they were good there for a second when they had those right before they had the 3. Yeah, they're hot now, right? So he really needs to hit on Ayton. But before that, like when they had the 2 guards, there was like a half a second there where the Suns were fun and interesting and good, and then not at all because it all blew up with Isaiah when they had the 3 guards. And McDonough went from being considered one of the best young general managers in the NBA to being a guy who people go, I don't know.
Any issues with DeAndre Ayton's multiple personalities?
Yeah, so he has a couple alter egos. We'll get to that in a second. Riley, I just want to know, these are the last 2 minutes that you will possibly have Luka Doncic. And then after that, you won't have Luka Doncic. How does that feel?
I've already written it off. I know we're taking Bagley. I'm moving through the 7 stages. It's fine.
Do we have the meme we made of Riley with "This is fine" hands was pretty classic today. I was enjoying that.
Wait, guys, alert.
Closing in, not
Mark
trade,
Stein,
not
New York Times Mark Stein. The Mavericks are closing in on a trade for Luka Doncic, according to leaked sources.
Jason Gallagher, Jonathan Sharks, David Shoemaker, all of our Mavericks fans.
Do you guys want to have like a Shawshank?
I'll take a beer.
There he is.
Hey, here we go.
No,
we're not sure yet.
Wait, no, we are.
Oh, we are?
Mark Stein, the Hawks are going to be drafting for Dallas at number 3.
Wow.
So they're going Bagley here.
Woo!
Marvin Bagley.
The bag man.
Duke University goes to the Sacramento Kings. We're going to get to this trade in just 1 second.
He's the only one that's happy.
Riley, you have my condolences. Let's see what we got on Marvin Bagley from Duke, 19 years old.
At least a C.
6'11", 234, 20 and 10 right away. Incredible athlete. Tate's just got tears in his eyes as he sees another great Coach K product make his way to the NBA. Shades of Amari Stoudemire and Zach Randolph, an automatic. And Kevin O'Connor's grade is
C+ because they're passing on the guy Luka Doncic. For Sacramento, they're getting a guy who's an elite rebounder, a guy who plays hard. He can score inside, but the thing is his defense is really, really weak. In his offense, we'll see how his jumper develops. They should have just taken Luka. I'm sorry, Riley. I warned you, dude. I warned you.
You told me to prepare. Even with preparation, it still stings. It's even worse with Jason right here next to me. Sharks right down the line.
All right.
They're about to get him.
Get Gallagher out of here. I don't want to see his face. I don't like seeing him this happy.
Riley's basketball life was just destroyed, and Kevin's like, C+. It's like, Riley, your credit's been stolen.
At least you passed. At least it's a passing grade.
Wow. Look at that moderate athleticism there on the dunk.
Jason, I don't know if you saw it's a relentless rebounder.
Well, relentless. As long as it's relentless.
Yeah. The good thing is he might be their best center of 5 already on the team. So that's one thing going forward.
Tate, phenomenal fantasy guy, right?
He's going to be rookie of the year.
Like 22 and 12.
Ooh, let's check out this trade that we have brewing because this is something pretty exciting. The Mavericks are closing in on a trade for Luka Doncic, according to league sources.
I can't even type. He's so excited.
So that would that's presumably the Hawks. Yes.
Right now, Woj is like.
What's that, Paula?
Struggling against the chains.
Oh yeah, Stein versus Woj.
And the Hawks are going to draft Trey Young. And that's so the Hawks get Trey Young at 5 then?
The Hawks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we think of this deal?
Stein's revenge.
Yeah.
Do you like this for Dallas? You love this for Dallas.
I would trade everything on my roster and all my picks for Doncic. They have nothing. What do they have? They have Dennis Smith.
Dallas is sending a future first to Atlanta. Yeah. No players exchanged in the deal.
We have
This is what happens when you have Jamie Gertz and Spanx Harris.
This trade.
I just can't believe that Dallas just did this. This is such a good deal for them.
Yeah. It's a good deal to get.
Get this guy out of here.
You're giving up a future first.
So
it looks like the deal right now is they're going to swap and
swap 3 and 5.
Atlanta is going to take Trey Young, and Dallas is giving up an extra first. This feels a little Sixers-ish.
No, it's
We're
Boston.
giving up an extra pick.
Yeah,
What's
it's
that?
definitely Boston.
Yeah, we're giving. I just like. Yeah, I like Doncic better. Sure.
Yeah.
But I like picks a lot.
Yeah.
To pick up a future first for moving 2 spots down to maybe get your guys still.
Yeah.
You're gonna get Jaren
The
Jackson
problem
and
is their guy is Trey Young and not Luka Doncic.
Also, is maybe the problem here that it's Trey Young and not Jaren Jackson or Mo Bamba?
Yeah, kind of. That's part of it.
Trey Young is one of the hit or miss prospects of this draft. He could be unplayable.
I mean,
let's see who they pick.
Woj is on. He just got his lunch.
It's probably going to be Trey.
Yeah.
In all likelihood, it will be Trey.
Woj's like, I will destroy Mark Stein.
I'm actually getting a tan from his anger, his fury.
When do we find out if PNC
if Trey Young is still there, that's what it's dependent on. What happens if he's not?
That's one.
That's one?
No, that's the first reference.
I get 3 more?
Right? 3 more, that's
I
it.
get 3 more. I used one of my Prince DJ jokes, Chris.
This seems like very...
They have 3, 19...
30 and 30.
But now they're going to have 5, 19, 30.
Yeah. We got a minute, 30.
Dallas
Here comes
pick.
Adam Silver with the Hawks pick. Let's see what Adam's got to say.
Consolidate some of those picks to move up.
Hey.
Okay.
So this is the awkward. He's got to put the hat on.
Put the hat
but it's not
on,
really the
yeah.
hat he's going to wear.
This hat's going
The
down
Elfrid
to Dallas.
Payton, the Elfrid Payton thing. All right, so we're going to do this as if it went to Atlanta. Luka Doncic, Bill, Kevin think he's the best player in the draft. People have compared him to James Harden in some ways. He is maybe a minus athlete, but he is a A-plus playmaker. People compare him to Manu, Harden, Tyreek. He just won the EuroLeague. Am I correct, right?
He won everything.
He won everything you can win in
He
Europe.
played like for a year and a half straight.
Yeah.
A+, baby.
There it is, KFC.
A+. And I'll tell you what,
Carlisle's offense,
you mentioned that he's a minus athlete, Chris. I don't think that's true. I think Doncic is a good athlete, not a great one, and people seem to knock him for that. Elite playmaker, clutch, won everything at 19 years old. The only weakness is really defense, but other than that, he does literally everything on the court.
What do you think about the match with him and Smith?
Yeah,
think
that's
they can play together.
Dennis Smith,
Sure.
get him out.
Yeah, I think
trade him.
I mean, if you have to trade Dennis Smith Jr. to make room for Luka Doncic, you do it. But I think they can certainly.
You had
play
like
together.
18 seconds of pleasure, and now they're like, trade my favorite
You
Maverick.
can play both of them at the same time.
Right. You're not like, okay, so Jason Gallagher, one of our Mavericks fans
You're out on
here.
that? North Carolina
Tell me
guy?
what's going through your heart and
They play
mind.
with Barea all
I
the
think it's
time.
great.
What's the difference?
I want to keep Dennis, Luka, have them play together. I don't understand. The best teams in the league have players that don't make sense that they're playing together. Why can't this
Like,
work?
the Mavs played it
How
with
many
Barea
people
last
watched
year.
Mavs
Let me
games
just
last
say
year?
one
Let's
thing.
poll the room.
Jason Gallagher will cut bait with Dennis Smith Jr. in 5 seconds.
Drive him to the airport.
After he sees Luka Doncic, he'll be like, "Yeah, get this." Who? Did I ever speak of Dennis Smith Jr.? I don't even know what you're talking about.
We got
They
this.
don't understand. They don't
understand.
Jarks, what do you think about this?
I love it because like they had Barea in the role last year. You're replacing Barea with Luka Doncic. Like this is just.
That's an upgrade.
Is that better?
I think it is an upgrade.
I'm okay. I'm okay with
That should
that.
be better.
I think it is so stunning that three teams essentially have passed on Luka.
Yeah.
Number 1, number 2, and number 3 have all passed on him.
Yeah, but
and maybe
we knew
Memphis
this
would
was
have.
a terrible top 5.
I know, but
for
it is still
dumbasses,
just
though.
stunning.
maybe we all have
Luka
done it in
is
3 years.
so
Who knows?
good as a prospect.
I know.
I'm
All the
surprised
smart
it was
teams are, like,
Dallas,
losing
though.
their
Now that
minds.
I'm thinking about it, Gons, like that actually, this doesn't feel like, just because of their enthusiasm, it doesn't feel like enough of a price tag for Luka.
Yeah.
Not enough of a price tag?
Yeah, like I
mean,
feel like
wanna
they
see-
could have gotten more.
I want to see what the protections are on
Yeah,
that pick.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
We
if
don't really know.
We don't really
Yeah.
when you say a future first round pick, it could be anything, right?
Right.
I mean, like, is it top 1
So that could
protected?
be like
is it top
next
3
year's pick,
protected? It could be
unprotected.
next year.
Yeah.
What year is it? It could be a very valuable pick because despite the fact that, yes, I think that Luka Doncic greater than symbol JJ Barea, I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
They're going to be a bad team again.
Top 7 pick at that.
Yeah, they're going to be a bad team
It'll be
again,
a high
even
pick.
with Luka, and I like Dennis Smith Jr. a lot. But it's going to be a good pick for the next year, 2 years, however long it takes for them to reboot their franchise. So I want to see what the protections are.
Wait, can we pour out a 40 for Mark Cuban's 6-year streak of terrible moves?
I don't think we have 40s, but like
We should have 40s.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a 6-year run of every move they made was terrible.
Well, it was a
and now they
6-year
just
run of
made
like
an
we're just gonna
unbelievable
hold all. Oh, we got a trade.
We got a trade.
So, Sean Yu's messaging it to me right now.
trade. Oh,
If the pick is
Another
unprotected
trade?
in 2021, that's really a win for Atlanta to get that. Granted, they lose Luka.
No trade alert.
The Mavs still might sign Boogie Cousins, so there is still time for them to screw this up. But they are on the verge of becoming.
is that
the
a
new
screw up
Knicks.
though?
The Mavs?
Yeah.
Boogie coming off an Achilles?
Yeah.
I don't want him on my team, especially at what he's going to cost.
Oh, so you're saying sign Boogie, pair him with Doncic.
That's the latest
You think
rumor.
Boogie and Doncic
well,
in the club is a good idea?
Yes.
They are going for a big this summer, whether it's DJ or Boogie Cousins
No,
or
they-
Julius Randle
Clint
or somebody.
Capella.
Or Clint Capella's the other one as well.
think they want-
They are going
He makes
for
a
big.
lot of sense.
Yep.
100%.
And you think they want to go to the
Capella Doncic. Jarks will have to hose him down.
Why don't you max them out, make the Rockets pay all their money?
Jarks have like a 7,500 word pick and roll piece about Doncic and
Piece tomorrow,
Capella.
we're
Watch the
thousands
lob
of
here.
words.
Yes.
Let's go.
That's who hired Bickerstaff? That was not good.
Yeah.
Is that Memphis?
No, it's Memphis.
If you throw
That
Max
was a
Capella
bad
right
one.
now,
Memphis
box
is
him
another
out.
team here that could potentially trade.
That
as
goes
well.
back to our Derek
yeah.
Fisher versus Mark Jackson, who gets hired first argument. Like Bickerstaff got hired over both of those guys.
Memphis is on the clock right now, and we've been hearing a lot about them trying to get out from under this Parsons deal. Jaren Jackson's on the board still. Mohamed Bamba's still on the board. I think
Can we pull back like across the parking lot with this camera angle with Woj? It's like
there's no way that Memphis
the
is
heat
going to
coming
take
off
Trey
Woj.
here. But who do you like for Memphis here? Jaren Jackson?
I like Wendell Carter or Jaren Jackson. One of those two.
Wendell
big
Carter
men.
would be a
I mean,
little bit
they're not taking Mo
got
Bamba,
Tate's
the guy that I
attention.
prefer.
They're not.
But, I think Jackson, there was a report earlier tonight that Jackson's growing more comfortable in going to Memphis. Only 18 years old. Charks, I know you love him as well. One of the most best potential defenders in the draft.
Okay.
I know Bamba.
Tate, why wouldn't you take Jackson?
I don't like. They're all old in Memphis, and they're going to bring an 18-year-old that has like a
Great point.
pretty big outlook on himself. That's a lot. I mean, Gasol's going to set him straight.
And with Jackson,
Wow.
like he's gonna struggle.
Tate,
as a
the other
rookie.
thing I wanted to ask too is like now because of this trade, Bamba is the guy who's slipping a little because we thought that the ceiling on his, we thought he'd be gone by 5. Is there a possibility? Like, does Orlando need a Bamba? Like, I'm wondering whether he
has a lot of bigs.
How many of those bigs are going forward? Like, how many of those guys are going to stick?
On Orlando?
Yeah, you have Biombo, who's not a piece they're going to go.
But they owe him like $1 billion.
It's fine. You just don't worry about it.
Don't think about it. It's a rookie contract.
Don't worry about it.
He's not going to play anyway.
I did hear though, Bamba apparently posted up a broomstick yesterday and made like 7
So,
straight jump hooks. What?
Chris are on the clock here. We're pretty certain. Woj just tweeted it's going to be Jaren Jackson from Michigan State, which Tate has just pointed out he's skeptical about.
Not that I don't like Jaren Jackson's game. I just don't like him
on the
Mets.
grid. You don't like
So
the fit.
Wait, does that mean they try to trade Gasol over the next 2 weeks?
I don't know. I've heard that they want to try to push for the playoffs, and Jackson goes against that.
Who's they? Who are they with the Grizzlies? The weird owner, Kara?
I don't know.
For Orlando, they've got 2 more years of Biombo. They can get out of Vucevic after this year. I mean, Justin might be right.
They don't have anyone for the future. And
Where's Kevin
Isaac,
Clark to give these answers?
Isaac isn't a full-time center. You want to spot him.
Here comes
at
Adam
5-11.
Silver for the Memphis pick. Okay.
Great suit.
Great suit.
Excellent
Great
suit.
suit.
I like
this
that.
guy. I think this guy's going to be good. What are you going with, KOC?
Jaren Jackson from Michigan
It's
State.
kind of lukewarm.
He's a shot blocker.
I love him.
He's incredible defender. One thing that people have said about him, maybe not always the best player on the floor. It's a very high pick for a guy who's been complimentary. But Kev, you're giving Jaren Jackson a B.
A B. Yeah,
Okay.
Look, Jaren Jackson, only 18 years old. There's no denying his potential elite defensive ability. For me, I'm not sure I see that offensive ceiling for him that you might see with other guys, and then he has a fouling issue that he really needs to solve, which isn't something that other big men haven't had. Joakim Noah used to foul as a freshman. Joel Embiid did as well. But he is going to have to get over that, especially playing in Memphis, and they're going to be trying to win games. But he's certainly a young talent.
KOC's obsessed with this fouling issue. He's like 15 years old, Jaren Jackson.
Of course. But that's part of it with Memphis, where they're trying to win games right now, and I'm not sure Jaren Jackson is going to help you play more than 20 minutes per game as a rookie without getting in foul trouble.
So who would you have taken if you were them?
I mean, Mo Bamba would be my guy. But,
Oh, my God.
But Mo Bamba wasn't a guy that they were considering there, and Mo Bamba also didn't give the medical or want to go to Memphis.
So now
why wasn't Mo Bamba giving medicals to teams? Did we figure that part out? That seems suspicious, Chris.
I'm not Mo Bamba's doctor.
Well, he gave medicals to other teams.
I am.
That's why he's
Mo
not
Bamba
doing
is
it.
the healthiest player that we've ever seen in the last 20 years.
The longest arms we've ever seen.
Whatchamacallit, the Mavs are going to be on the clock here, 5 minutes left, but we are all under the assumption that they're taking Trey Young for Atlanta. Then that trade's going to go through Doncic and Trey Young swapping with another pick from Dallas going to Atlanta for next year.
Shouts to Joakim Noah.
That's the comp.
That's going to put Orlando essentially is on an extended clock here. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
That's like the worst compliment.
So, were you?
Microphone?
It is.
No,
It is. You were hoping for Trey Young?
Yeah, I was hoping for some excitement. We don't need another tall guy who can't play. We've got those.
Wow.
I don't know if that. I don't know.
Well, what about?
I know he's tall.
Kevin,
That's all I know.
let me see. Would you be interested in Michael Porter Jr. here?
No, because we have some injured guys too. So we're basically all set. We should just pass on the pick.
Oh, you want to just pass?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
remember the Vikings would just every once in a while
They
just
did
miss the
it
pick.
like 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Isn't the worst case scenario Michael Carter Williams 2.0?
With who?
SGA for Orlando.
Oh, you like SGA though?
I've never literally the
Carter
only
Williams
thing I
2.0.
said about
He
him
looks
is
like
that he was born on the
fits it.
same day as the '98 World Cup final. That's the only thing I've said about him publicly.
That's
I don't
big.
think he's that good. I don't think any of these players are that good.
Hey, Kevin, you want to break news on the show?
All these
soon?
players are trash.
Yeah, so the
Breaking news on Twitter.
Magic are going to draft Mo Bamba at 6.
Oh.
Kev?
No.
Well, scrap that. We got another big.
Let's get the Twitter tweet up.
Kevin.
The Mavs will draft Trey
Right here.
Young for Atlanta,
We gotta do Barco.
and they are nudging Orlando in the direction of Bamba, and we are nudging Kevin towards elation,
Mo Bamba.
depression.
It's fine. Watching a draft, you know how like in Marvel movies, there's always the after credit scene where it just tells you what's coming. Oh, there's the next movie. That's a draft with the Magic. I'm just at the end of it, just looking forward to the next year's lottery where we'll be picking 4th overall and we'll be in the same spot.
I mean, if you're building a defense, you want those guys that could switch on to everything. With Isaac, you keep Gordon, you keep Bamba. I mean,
That's
it makes
not bad.
sense.
That's a big front
good
line.
foundation.
It's athletic.
You need a guard, but they've needed a guard for 5 years.
It's just too bad that they have no guards at all.
No, that's not true. They have DJ Augustine.
And Evan Fournier.
They have Shelvin Mack.
Yeah, that's right.
Alfred Payton might be a free agent again.
That's right.
Bring him back.
Bring him back.
Ooh, that might be SGA. Is he Alfred Payton 2.0 or is he Michael Carter Williams 2.0?
So here's the thing, Kev. We were talking a couple of days ago when we did the mock 3.0 that Chicago loved Porter Jr., right? That especially the fans were getting pretty jacked up about him. It looks like Porter's going to be there for Chicago at 7.
Yeah.
Do you think that he bounces back from this fall that people had been saying he was having?
No, I think he's going to continue to fall. There was noise earlier tonight that he could go to 12 to 13 at the Clippers, who Steve Ballmer loves him, a Seattle guy. Jerry West likes him as well. However, I also heard some noise that maybe they might pass on him at 12 and 13.
Here's Adam Silver.
And
I think it's Trey Young. And it's Trey Young from Oklahoma, who we had heard might drop out of the lottery entirely. 19-year-old, 6'1", absolutely lights out shooter, 27 points a game at Oklahoma.
Oh, he's digging deep for this one. Oh, no.
And had an incredibly hot first half of the college basketball season, and then cooled off as the season went on. Kevin, what do you give this Trey Young pick?
A D.
Oh!
A D. Because they're chasing Steph Curry dreams right here. And it's probably going to turn into a nightmare for them. Because Trey Young, he is not an all-time great shooter like Stephen Curry is. He's going to be a really good shooter.
Yeah.
Maybe a great shooter in the league. But he doesn't have Steph's elite shooting ability, and he's going to get picked on defense, as we saw in the playoffs this year with small, tiny point guards, and he's going to be one of the tiniest of them all in the NBA.
Here's the thing. Atlanta's not going to the playoffs anytime soon, right? So is this a way to drive some excitement around the franchise?
I mean, is it going to be that exciting? How many rookie point guards have come in right away and made
Adam
an
Silver
impact?
is taller than him.
I mean, that kind of says it right there.
He played power forward at
Can I
Harvard.
give a counter take?
Give a counter take.
I think Jaren Jackson's going to be really good.
At
I think
Memphis.
Trey Young's going to be really good.
Okay.
And I think Mo Bamba's going to be working here in about 7 years.
You know,
Kevin.
You
got
I think like Trey's going to be a quality offensive player, right? Like Trey Burke last year was very effective for the whoever it was, the Wizards.
Right here.
I don't know, whoever. But I think Trey Young is going to make an impact on offense.
The Treys.
It's just about what level he reaches. If he's elite, then he'll be fine. But I don't think he'll be an elite scorer.
Kate, are you in on Trey or
Yeah, I want to ask you about Bembry. So if you have Bembry next to him, so if it's Trey Young, he doesn't have to really play point guard. Bembry kind of takes some of the point guard stuff, and then you have Bazemore at the 3.
Yeah.
So you have 3 ball handlers, so he doesn't have to be the main guy.
And
Kind of works for him.
I think that could be like the best fit for him is like if Trey Young is in a multi-ball handler offense where he doesn't have to have
He
that
doesn't have to
entire
play point
load.
guard. He can just shoot.
Well, that's like Steph's role in Golden State. Like
Yeah.
Draymond handles
You're
the ball.
basically
KD
J.J.
handles
Redick.
the
You're
ball.
running off screens and getting open and taking
Kevin,
shots.
as you hear people talking about Trey Young and off-ball screens and what he could do in a playmaker-friendly offense, how does this make you feel as somebody who's not going to have Trey Young?
I was because it seemed so likely to happen.
Yes.
I really had my heart set on it.
Had you started scouting Trey Young jerseys?
I had, and now I'm going to scout Mo Bamba jerseys to wear, ironically, when he is not in the league in 3 years. So either way, I'm getting a jersey.
Okay.
It's just a different
Mo Bamba will
vibe
be in the
this
league.
time.
He will. He's tall.
Yeah, he's tall. JaVale McGee is at a 10-year career.
Yeah, that's true. He'll be in the league. Yeah.
I didn't think that this was an awkward or enough, like, these guys seem disappointed with where they're getting traded. Both seem pretty happy about the trade. And it didn't feel like too Curb Your Enthusiasm when they put the other team's hat on for a few minutes.
It's true.
It wasn't on the Alfred Dario
Can I
level.
ask Jason something?
Oh,
Do you think Dennis Schroeder is going to bully Trey Young at all this season?
About his haircut? Yeah, maybe.
He's not going to be there. He's gone.
Yeah,
Dennis is on the block, man.
Yeah.
Dennis has been on the block for like 3 years.
Who's trading for Dennis Schroeder?
Maybe the Magic. They need a guard,
That's
right?
my question,
Ooh,
too.
Dennis Schroeder in Orlando? I like it.
Who wants a point guard for like $17 million a year who's below average as a starter?
dominate
Seen
the ball.
Magic,
The New York Knicks.
Have you followed the Magic at all?
Would
in
you
the
rather
last
have
6
Dennis
years?
Schroeder or Shelvin Mack?
I think Sheldon was their steals leader according to their Twitter account.
I think you'd rather have Sheldon Mack because he's not a headache. in the locker room, off the court, and everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The problem
Shelvin
is
Mack,
almost
good
everyone,
locker room guy.
we talk about the point guard glut all the time. Almost everybody has a point guard that they at least like, whether it's justified or not. With the Knicks, maybe. No?
I love Frank. I think he's
You
going to
wouldn't
develop into a
turn
player.
yourself into Schroeder?
Short? No, I don't want Schroeder. I don't want Schroeder.
Why don't the Knicks just call
So we have
Frank
the
a point
protections
guard
on this
and
trade. What is
be cool
it?
with
So the protections
because he's just not ready for like full time.
Protections on the Dallas 20. It's a 2019 first rounder, protected 1 to 5.
Oh, that's great.
Is it
according to Shams?
What does it turn into if it is top 5?
It's
Do we know that yet?
according to Shams. Well, that's what we have right now.
So we still don't know.
So it's 2019 first
Do we-
round pick to Atlanta.
That's a robbery.
Do we think that Shams is Woj's burner? Like, has anybody ever seen them together?
I haven't. Good question. I haven't hung out with any of
Like
them.
they've been working together all along.
Yeah.
Look at this lineup for the Magic, man. That's
Here it is.
brutal. Here we go.
Don't do it, Orlando.
There we go.
I like it.
A+.
All right, the Orlando Magic take Mo Bamba. Gons wrote a long feature about him. You can learn all about him. He's 20 years old from the University of Texas. 12 points, 10 boards a game. Has been working on his shot all summer, so he's expanding his game to out beyond the perimeter. I think that we just didn't get to see him maybe at his best at Texas, but like a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about him. People compared him to Tyson Chandler and Rudy Gobert in terms of his ability to guard the paint, but we're talking about a guy who might be able to move his game out beyond the perimeter, which is a pretty exciting prospect. Kevin, what do you give this pick?
An A.
All right.
Mo Bamba is a guy. Bill's not happy. Bamba has a foundation to be a quality NBA player, even if the three-point shot doesn't develop.
It won't.
Because of his 7'10" wingspan on the defensive end of the floor to protect the rim like a Rudy Gobert type of player.
Right.
And then offensively, he can be a rim runner. He can throw down lob dunks and everything else. If the shot develops, then there's a new level to what he can become as a player, and that's what makes it so exciting for Orlando.
You know, my daughter had a party a couple months ago.
Good start to a story.
Can't wait to hear where this goes.
I know you're on the Pinciners for this. And my son, who should know better, there's like 50 people, comes out without a shirt on.
Okay.
And my attitude was, he's 10.
My
I've done
career is
everything I
flashing
could
before
do.
my eyes.
I've tried to inspire him, parent him, lead him. It's out of my hands now. He's a little man. That's how I feel about Kevin Zay. He's worked with us for 2 years. I've done all I can do. He's on his own.
But what
his
don't you-
shirt's off.
He's
and he
pumped-
took Mo Bamba
he's
and gave him
pumped
an A.
and jacked.
That's how I
But
feel.
Bill,
Does that make sense? That analogy made? All
But
right,
Bill, we
thank you.
talked about this on the pod. You said you were starting to get swayed. What happened now?
I've turned.
How come though?
I've turned.
I think the Luka stuff is throwing him off because now he feels like Luka was out there and he hates it.
Yeah.
John, you spent time with Mo Bamba. Tell us a little bit about this guy.
I'm torn for this one because I'm with Kevin. I'll rip my shirt off and get pumped and jacked with Kevin on this one. I like Mo. He's very smart. He's obviously, I think like his baseline is he's going to be a very good rim protector. Like at the worst, he's going to be just really good defensively.
But
Now,
Donna Foyle was really smart.
the question, and by the way, Bill, if he is here working at the Ringer in 7 years, he's going to be great at it.
Yeah, it'll be good.
But no, if he can step out, like I like who he's working with Drew Hanlon.
Yeah,
Drew
yeah.
Hanlon
Yeah,
really
yeah.
helped
Colgate
Jason
says.
Tatum, Bill's
Colgate.
guy, develop his shot. He works with Joel Embiid and Bradley Beal and a bunch of guys.
Drew's
who,
got
like,
quite the shopping cart right now.
He does.
He's got to fix Markelle Fultz's shot, and he's got to convince Bill about Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you all about it.
Yeah.
I think all of those things are positive for Mo, and I think Mo is trending in the right direction. My hesitation and earmuffs for Kevin Clark, he's going to Orlando.
Yeah.
This
Like,
is the
it's
key
not great.
point right here. It's the
Yeah.
fit. No point guard. Who's their coach? Who's your coach, Kevin?
Steve Clifford.
Steve Clifford.
All right.
R.I.P. to front court guys.
R.I.P.
No
to my guy
spacing.
Frank Vogel.
Is this getting better or worse with age? As you've lived with it for 45 seconds, how are you feeling about it?
Not well.
No.
I'm not feeling. I mean, again, we're gonna score less. We're gonna average less than 60 points for the entire season.
60?
I'm joking.
Points are overrated.
I tell a bunch of jokes. Here.
Okay.
And so it's. I just don't know where the offense is going to come from. I guess we have to be active in free agency, even though we don't have any money.
Okay.
In all seriousness, though, like the fit, like let's say he goes to Phoenix.
Bamba?
You're like, yeah, and you're like, oh, that's cool. Him and Devin Booker, and they'll run the floor, and I see him on that team. I don't know what Orlando is. They're too big, right, Justin?
I'm
Like, it just seems like an awkward team of guys that don't fit together. That's bad for him.
I think the good thing is Clifford ran a bunch of different offenses during his time with the Hornets. They were a big team playing through Al Jefferson one year, and then they're shooting a ton of threes 2 years later. So I think if you just give him enough guys to work with, they'll figure something out. And it's at least a 2-3 year building process.
They'll figure something out has been our motto for 6 years, and nothing has ever been figured out.
My thing is why are we talking about these older guys, these scrubs like Biyombo and Fournier? It's about the Jonathan Isaacs and Aaron Gordons of the world.
For 2 more years.
Yeah, but then they're gone. And then that's when it's about what do you have? And what you do have is you have a lot of length. You have Mo Bamba, Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon, to really build a really strong
I have everything
defensive
except
team.
balls going into the
So,
basket.
right. It was, guys,
Gordon
one
is
sec.
taking
Did you
30
say we have a
shots.
trade, Sean?
Trade?
Chicago is zeroing in on Wendell Carter with the 7th pick. Well, that's not a trade. It's just a Woj bomb.
Wait, I thought Woj wasn't supposed to do that.
Well, I don't know. Technically, they're just zeroing in. They're not.
Well, the language is very. That's fine.
There's
I
got
guess.
to be a caveat.
What a world. Okay, so Chicago is zeroing in on Wendell Carter.
My highlight of this draft was Tate nodding intently during Justin's Steve Clifford praise.
I love
Tate
Cliff.
was like, he's right.
No, they copied
We
the
had some good
Warriors. They're like,
moments.
that's the way
We
we're
were
gonna play
well
basketball.
coached
They
a couple
adopted.
times.
Unfortunately,
You just, it's just like that's what it looked like with MKG playing instead of Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Right. I think that one thing that's worth noting right now is some of the guys who might be falling. So can we just take a quick reset? Obviously, the top picks of the draft so far, we've got Deandre Aiden 1, got Marvin Bagley 2. We had a trade where Luka Doncic was drafted by Atlanta but traded to Dallas. Jaren Jackson goes to Memphis. Then Dallas drafted Trey Young to trade to Atlanta. So those guys. Bamba just goes to Orlando. Now the Bulls are on the clock and apparently going to take Wendell Carter, which means
that pick.
Michael Porter Jr. is still on the board. SGA is still on the board. Mikal Bridges and Miles Bridges are still on the board. And Kevin Knox, who we had heard was rising.
He's getting Porter ideas. I can get their
yeah.
Let's
talk
I will
to
just
Jason.
say, like, I was fine with it until I saw him walk down the steps when they all came out, and he looked very stiff. It was
You're gonna be
concerning.
walking by the commissary 5 days from now with Jason. He's gonna be like, Porter was the #1 guy in high school. You're
Yeah, medicine is
all
great
around
now.
skills.
They can
Score
totally
everywhere.
fix the back. Yeah. Jason, there was a thing earlier, like a clip going around of Kevin Knox slipping and saying our coach when talking about Fizdale as if he kind of knew he was going to the Knicks. If I'm offering you door number 1 is Porter, door number 2 is Knox, which one do you want to walk through?
It's
Can there be more doors?
yeah. It's I'm gonna go.
What about the gateway to hell?
I'm gonna go with. I will go with Knox, and I hate this. It really is because I saw Porter. He can't walk. He couldn't walk down 4 steps at the front of the stage.
What are the Knicks doing next year anyway? I mean, the season is pretty much a wash if Kristaps can't play.
I don't know. It's just
He's not coming back till December.
Justin, you like the red shirt philosophy.
Absolutely. I mean,
Here comes Adam Silver for the
That's the
Bulls
upside. Is
pick.
you redshirt him and then you tank, and that's.
And you have a great team.
Though.
Yeah.
Give me back-to-back red shirts.
That's
Right.
the.
All right, so Adam Silver is making the Hawks Mavericks trade with Doncic and Young and another first rounder going to Atlanta for next year. It's protected. That's official.
That's a great for Atlanta.
So no Wesley Matthews.
Wow.
Wendell Carter Jr. goes to the Bulls. So Wendell Carter Jr. kind of playing in the shadow of Marvin Bagley at Duke this year, 19 years old, 6'10". People calling him Baby Horford. Does all the little things right. 13.5 points a game. Great passer. Good defensive instincts. Maybe not blow your mind with his speed. He did apparently just have a foot injury, but has really solidified himself now. And Kevin, what's the grade for this Bulls pick?
For the second year in a row, F+ for the Bulls. It's an A. It's an A.
What are you doing, baby?
It's an A. It's really an A.
Oh.
It's really an A. If it were anybody else, if it were any other player, it would have been an F+.
This guy also may have won the fashion draft.
I
by
know,
the way.
legendary fit from Wendell Carter Jr.
Wendell Carter, he has been knocked for average athleticism, but I think he's a guy. He has very few weaknesses. He can space the floor to 3. He's a really good passer, possibly the best passing big in the draft. strong defensive instincts, good rebounder, smart player, hard worker on and off the court. I think Wendell Carter is going to be in this league for 10-plus years. And be
Slight
productive.
RFD issue.
Bill, Chicago's sneaky good now.
I like this guy for them. This was the exact opposite of the Bamba conversation we just had. This guy fits a spot that they needed, brings skills that they needed, and he'll succeed. I like it.
Now it's Markkanen. It's the Chris Dunn revival. You assume they probably bring Lavine back?
If they keep Dunn or Lavine.
You think they would get rid of
Lavine? Is Lavine restricted or unrestricted?
Restricted.
Yeah, they.
Now we
figure
have,
that out.
what, 4 centers off the board within the first 7 picks in 2018?
Yeah, man, didn't you watch the playoffs? Centers are all the rage.
I don't know. I think we're going to look back on this draft and wonder why a bunch of wings fell, because it just seems like these guys are going to get played off the floor to a certain extent.
I think it could end up that way for sure if the small ball trend continues.
Oh,
but
good.
It could also be like,
Carlos
man,
Boozer.
like what an amazing big man draft. How important it is in today's league to have a big man. This is a pivotal turning point.
We've been talking about this on pods. I know you guys have hit on a heat check, but like that's this interesting theme of this draft. These big guys going, does that mean these bad teams are out of step with the league, or does that mean the league is going to change because this big man talent infusion is going to change the way teams play?
Yeah, I mean, the league is constantly evolving, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like 5 years ago, the idea of playing small ball and 5 out if you possibly can.
I love Danny saying, wait.
This is incredible.
Roger Sherman has
Roger
tweeted.
Sherman.
Donovan Mitchell is doing interviews for the Arena Jumbotron and just told Jaren Jackson Jr. he was the newest member of the Utah Jazz.
What? Haley, come get your boy. He's
the
breaking
thing.
news out there.
What is it?
Does he mean that in like a metaphorical way?
Wait.
Also, how is Roger doing?
What if he just messed up?
I think Mitchell probably just misspoke.
All right, Donovan Mitchell is out. That's it. He's canceled.
He was like, why am I doing this interview? He must be a
What
rookie.
just happened? He's a media rookie. He's a media rookie.
Donovan
Not the
Mitchell is
rookie of the year, though.
doing the most right now. He's been doing the most.
Wait, can we just walk it out for fun? If Parsons was in the deal,
Parsons in Utah.
Utah gives an expiring back and some other stuff. It's not inconceivable.
If it is Parsons in Utah, he is not happy right now.
I don't know. Jackson.
Parsons in Salt Lake City.
That would be incredible.
This
he's
is
not
Roger's
close to
tweet.
Vegas.
Let's check it out.
Parsons is
Donovan
fine.
Mitchell is doing interviews.
That's like a 40-minute flight.
He would be on.
Imagine those judgmental looks at Chandler.
I can't believe the Arena Jumbotron
I know,
got
right?
this news.
What if he lived in Vegas and played for the Jazz? He just helicoptered in.
Woj tweeted Cleveland prefers Collin Sexton for the number 8
Yeah,
pick in
can
the
we
draft.
talk about Woj for a second? They said no
Woj is-
tipping
the
picks.
sign thing
And
sent
he
him
keeps saying that they're zeroing in on
Look
things
at
and they prefer things.
Look at his face. He's like,
It's amazing.
who, me? What?
Oh, man.
I just said prefer. I didn't know.
Zeroing in. I don't know.
While we're waiting to hear whether or not Donovan Mitchell is the new Woj or just misspoke to a Jumbotron, let's talk a little bit about Cleveland.
definitely misspoke.
The last time a exiting LeBron James dictated a pick, we wound up with UConn legend Shabazz Napier.
Yeah.
on
Love
the Heat.
Shabazz.
Colin Sexton is being tipped to go to Cleveland here, but do you think that has anything to do? Can you tie it all to LeBron? Zippo.
None.
No.
Colin
Okay.
Sexton had a great workout with Cleveland. He's a really good point guard.
What does this mean for Jordan Clarkson, though?
For Jordan Clarkson, he's going to have to learn how to not shoot the ball all the time. He's going to have to learn to share.
Not touch the ball, not shoot the ball.
So just to recap, they traded Kyrie Irving for Collin Sexton.
They had no choice.
Really well.
They didn't have a choice.
They didn't have a choice?
They had a choice.
I
They
guess.
Definitely had a choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
They could have strung it out like the Spurs possibly could with Kawhi.
I still think if he doesn't come to the Lakers, he's staying in Cleveland for at least another year. I would have drafted Mikal Bridges personally.
Yeah.
Because you hedge your bets either way. He can play with LeBron, or he's a good guy to have for the future.
But doesn't drafting Sexton point to the fact that they don't think LeBron's coming back?
Why?
Yeah, because he can't shoot yet.
Because they're taking the best player available.
Yeah,
they're not taking someone to fit
He's
in
a
with the team.
ball-dominant point guard. He doesn't want the ball in his hands.
Who could they take?
He's not going to stand to the right of LeBron like this rated.
Well, he's useless if he does that.
Yeah.
Who could they honestly? Who could they take that LeBron would be like, okay, yeah, that's gonna make me stay? I mean, like I don't
think
see
Miles Bridges. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I want Tristan Thompson, but better.
Either Bridges.
Let's see what Adam says here.
That's a great pick.
Okay, Collin Sexton out of Alabama. People were pretty psyched about him early on. 19-year-old, 6'1", point guard, super athletic, 19 points a game, 4 boards a game, 4 assists a game, rounding up. Is a gamer. Is like a really, really, really good athlete.
I love
Minds
this
some
guy.
people. Has a little bit of a Westbrook in him in terms of that instinct. He's being compared to Bledsoe, to Beverly.
That's a rat tail, apparently.
And he has a rat tail.
I'm about it.
Kev, Collin Sexton, Bama.
B-.
Roll Tide.
Collin Sexton, he had my favorite moment of the college basketball season, playing 3-on-5 when Alabama, a bunch of guys fouled out, got hurt, and he was still grinding, keeping Alabama in the game. That captures who he is as a player. But then again, there's the downside of that. Decision-making is a concern. Shooting is iffy for him, and he's kind of lean. So
Again, not big issues for a point guard.
Playing with LeBron, too.
Are they?
Maybe.
Can I make the counter?
Yeah.
I think he's the guy who stays in the gym till 2 in the morning until he makes 1,000 3-point shots. I'm not worried about the shot. I think he's got the extra gear.
Yeah, but some guys do that too, and then they top out as average as a shooter or above average as a shooter. I think Sexton, for him, it's like downhill pick and roll. You know, he needs to improve his decision making and playmaking, even maybe more so than the shot, I think.
All right, Tate, you're the tiebreaker.
I think he's gonna bring a youthful. They didn't practice last year. The
Mark
Cavs,
Spears
he just
reporting
brings
that
some
Knicks
youth,
fans
so
at Barclays are chanting, "We want Porter."
Oh my
Interesting.
gosh.
Interesting. I can tell you're hedging.
Jason,
You don't know.
I'm
this.
just I do think it's a fine pick. Like, especially if they do redshirt him. Like, there's a lot of talent there. There's potential. It is the back injury.
It's been
is terrifying.
amazing to watch him talk himself.
I
into
just
it
don't
for
know
the
what to do.
last hour.
Knicks fans also booed Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, we don't go by the Knicks fans in the arena.
If they redshirt Porter Jr., he's going to be a club promoter at One Oak by the time he has to play for the Knicks. That's for sure.
That's some desktop spice.
Tate, you probably saw a fair amount of Sexton this year. Is it something that, like, can you see him playing in the playoffs next season? Let's say LeBron stays.
He's great in space.
What is that?
But he has to have the ball
Okay.
to be able to make something happen. And
Yes, this
LeBron's
is
not going to
by
give him the
LeBron.
ball. This is by
like it.
LeBron. That's what I think.
It's good.
I think we all thought it was by LeBron anyway.
I think it's good for the Cavs that they didn't make a pick to try to get LeBron to stay.
So if you take
it was-
Sexton here, do you get rid of Love and start to tear down?
It was by LeBron when he started looking at the same LA schools that my daughter was looking at. That's when it was by LeBron.
Knicks are
Yeah, I
going.
like this. Like he's, having seen some finals games in Cleveland, that's like a really rabid crowd that loves competitiveness, and this is the kind of guy they like.
Fans are going to really like Collin
Yeah,
Sexton. I think
he's-
no matter
he'll
where
be
he would've
diving for
landed.
loose balls, down 20 with 4 minutes
It'll
left.
change the whole team.
Yeah, I like this guy.
Let's get the Shams up. New York is taking Knox,
Nice.
which would suggest that his slip up today when he was like our coach in reference to David Fizdale was more than just a slip up.
Yeah.
Now you're psyched.
I have a new son, and it's a new son who was rumored to have the son, but he doesn't have one. That was merely a rumor.
It was somebody tried to jump him with the question, right? You were hiding a child,
Right.
And he said,
You were
"No,
hiding
no."
a child.
No.
Let him come home.
Any other Cleveland notes before we move on to
I
the
think
Knicks?
this is great for J.R. Smith.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's going to rejuvenate his whole career to be able to play with a young guy that's like just got an attitude a little bit. It's going to change the whole Cavs. I'm excited for this.
Okay.
I could see J.R. Smith retiring from basketball in 2 weeks.
Yeah, J.R. Smith's gonna like go into business with Justin Thomas and open a
Taking,
series of municipal
Doncic's spot on
courses.
Real Madrid next year.
This is
Can
the moment
Kevin
we've all
Knox
been
play
waiting
next
for.
year?
The
Oh
Knicks.
yeah, you put him out there.
We need KOC's grade.
Well, we
we
haven't
haven't
gotten the
announced
pick yet. We'll
Well,
wait for
are
the
we
pick to
waiting
go
for
down.
picks to be announced, or?
Kev, anybody?
Shams just announced it.
Oh, is it just gospel if
Yeah,
Shams
we should.
announced
Oh,
it?
definitely.
Let's run it. Let's run Kevin Knox then.
Yeah.
Kevin Knox from Kentucky is going to go to the Knicks. 18 years old, one of the youngest players in the draft. He could be a poor man's Durant, a rich man's Jeff Green. We don't know. Skilled finisher around the rim, but he
Rich
maybe
man's Jeff Green.
congratulations. But he maybe isn't a great passer. Kevin, give me the grade on the Knicks and Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox gets a B+ for the
Okay.
New York
Oh,
Knicks.
there it is.
I like Knox
like
a lot.
it. Thank you so much.
He's a guy where I had him ranked like 17, and then went back and reevaluated, and it's like, why do I have a 6'8" guy who's a great athlete, only 18 years old, can shoot off the dribble and create his own shot, great athlete, why do I have him at 17? And I moved him up into the top
Why
10.
indeed?
And it seems like a lot of other teams did that as well as he's risen through the process. There was talk of him at 7 for Chicago, and really it was a floor at 11 for Charlotte. So for the Knicks to get him at 9, they're getting a guy who might really not help them this season, but he's going to grow into a guy who I think can really complement Kristaps at a really, really high level.
It's a pseudo red shirt. Our friend Matt Jones from Kentucky Sports Radio DM'd me, said this guy's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Well,
Huge
that's all
fan.
I need.
One of the
guy DM'd
Did
me.
not send that DM about SGA, by the way.
And one of the things Knox gets knocked for is his defense, right? And, Mike Schmidt's my friend from DX. He has, seen him at lower levels, and he always has remarked that Knox was a really good defender at lower levels. And we saw flashes of that at Kentucky when he was locked in. So
I was
maybe,
a pretty good defender at lower levels, actually.
Yeah, me as well.
You know who else we heard that about last year? Jason Tatum. Oh, his defense. Oh, he's not going to be able to stay in front of everybody.
You
These
just
guys
drafted
work
Jason
hard.
Tatum. Great. Jason, when do you
Jason
think
Tatum could be your Tatum?
when do you think the Post goes with the Fort Knox headline?
They're writing it up right now. They've got it going. I'm happy about this pick. I'm happy about it. I've been swayed by KOC. I think he has the tools to be the example of a modern basketball player. And here's Adam Silver to tell us all about
I
it.
think he's better than Michael Porter. I do.
Well,
I really do.
Coach Cal.
He was somewhere. He was on TV.
Is he hiding?
Cost a lot of guys money.
Adam Silver sounds surprised
They
about
boo?
that.
Oh,
All right.
he did. I know, it's our time.
Oh, they boo!
well, you got it. It's okay. You got it. It's okay. This is good. This is good.
No.
It's always good when they boo. When John and Vinny from Staten Island, who watch 2 Knicks games a year, this guy Kevin Knox, we don't like this guy. I never heard of this guy. Give me Michael Porter Jr. with the bad back.
Coach Cal, another
There you go.
millionaire.
This guy's 5 years older than my daughter. If she got booed by 20,000 people, she would never recover.
This guy's going to play small forward for the Knicks. That is wild.
How dare you wear a Porzingis jersey to the draft and boo the next draft pick? I like it.
This is a dark day. I'm so bummed out. The kid's not even
Versatile
19
player.
yet. He's a teenager.
I love it.
They just booed a teenager.
This is a young team now. This is Kristaps is like the veteran locker room presence.
Boy, that's good. Well, how dare you? How dare you besmirch Joakim Noah in this fashion?
Hey, is Lance Thomas still on the team?
Yes.
I mean,
Okay,
think about it.
that's
Ron Baker.
It fits
Ron
what
Baker,
Fizdale wants to do.
starting point guard Ron Baker.
Courtney Lee.
They're way more
I gotta
versatile.
say, I like this pick too. I have like 3 picks in a row.
You do.
Are you ready to have the should the Sixers take Michael Porter conversation yet, or no?
Woj is already targeting. Now the Sixers are targeting Paul Bridges. It's going to be Bridges.
Nice.
They're going to take Bridges over Porter.
Yeah,
So it looks like,
Porter's
you know
gonna-
what? But you made this point on the group draft post or podcast with Bill that you could take Porter and redshirt him like they always do with somebody, or you could take Bridges, who is a guy that you could say they
could play him tomorrow.
3-point shooting, and they could play him tomorrow, and he's not going to hurt you. He's got a low floor or a high floor. I mean, it should be.
You think Hinkie would take Porter though?
Definitely.
I don't know. You never know with him. He took Okafor, and I wanted to fall out of my chair.
What does the still balling account say?
Eric Jr., where are you?
You don't need another guy with a bad back. I mean, the Sixers have had that with.
I know. What I'm wondering now is I didn't expect some of the guys to still be around. I didn't expect SGA still be around. And I still feel like we could use a couple playmakers. I mean, Chow.
Yeah, that's it. There
That's
you go.
what I
You're back.
like.
You're back.
Chow, do you see
Chip on the
anybody
shoulder.
rising or falling that you didn't expect here?
I mean, I was kind of hoping for some sort of weird SGA to the Magic vibe because that totally fit,
How bad the Magic are?
Yeah, no, it fits their mold of like tall, long armed defenders who could maybe shoot but maybe not. So, I mean, I'm kind of expecting Lonnie Walker to fall a little here.
So Lonnie Walker and SGA both seem like they're falling. Yeah, maybe you think they get past Charlotte? Either one of those guys?
I got a text from someone that is close to Charlotte and said Michael Porter Jr. is their pick.
Wow. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but oh my God, Tate, breaking Tate. So Kevin Knox, the Knicks. It sounds like Mikal Bridges is going to stay in Philadelphia. The
That's a
Villanova
good pick
product.
for you.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
It seems like such a coach's pick, though, to get like the veteran guy who just fits what they need.
Turns out the coach is running the organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So confused.
I have an important question for the back room. How many different verbs can Woj use without tipping the pick? So far, he's used eyeing, targeting,
zeroing,
prefers,
focusing.
What, Jason? How many more do we have?
Well,
Zeroing in.
How about I pulled up a thesaurus. They fancy.
Fancy.
That would be a great one.
Our own Robert Mays tweeted at him right now and said, and put a bunch of examples like enticed, fancy, intoxicated by.
Oh,
so there you go.
What about eyeball?
Yeah.
They're eyeballing?
Eyeballing
I like it.
someone.
Bill, what kind of reaction does he get from the company for that? After they were told, like, you're not supposed to be tipping.
I think the Stein thing, he snapped.
Yeah, he can't let
Stein broke that trade.
Yeah, he can't let Stein.
That was it. Woj's like, that's it.
That's it. You can't let him do what I want. You can't let that happen. You can't let your ultimate.
You don't tell me what to
do.
All right, the Sixers are about 90 seconds out. It's a little anticlimactic if it's Bridges.
What was this pick from?
Now that even though I've been,
What trade was this from?
This
isn't your pick.
This is the Lakers.
This is the Lakers pick. This is the Lakers
pick.
pick. This is Michael Carter Williams.
Yep.
This is what they turned Michael Carter Williams into.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if you turn MCW,
Still better than
Bridges.
MCW. I mean,
No, I'm saying what a great trade. You get the 10th pick for Michael Carter Williams.
Took a lot of balls for Sam Hinkie to make that deal,
Yeah.
too, right? After he
He
won
made
Rookie
great
of the
trades.
Year.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody who actually watched NCW knew he stunk. But to still have the balls to do that after winning Rookie of the Year when a lot of fans were happy.
That was like one of the first like real publicly being turned on examples of him being turned on publicly.
Hinkie couldn't draft, but he made great trades. I'm trying to bait guns.
Look.
He just punched me in the leg.
I got all excited all of a sudden. I mean, he did hit on.
Yeah,
he
he's a
did hit on
D+
Embiid,
drafter.
right? He took a.
He knows.
Bridges
He had
is
to take
smooth,
Embiid.
man.
It
He's
was the
so-
second-
He knows.
He just did the sipping tea meeting
Yeah.
like on his own.
Look at Jay Wright. Oh my God.
This is a great pick.
He's very tan.
Wow, Jay Wright is tan. Where's he been?
Future
hasn't he
Sixers
been?
coach sitting there with his future star. So beautiful.
Philly had to take him because it was the only college game Brett Brown saw in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mikal Bridges.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
All right.
such a Brett pick.
Mikal Bridges,
Great pick.
two-time national championship winner at
love
Villanova, 21 years old. So people are like, he's too old. Man, this kid can shoot, and he basically has worked his way into being a really good shooter. I don't know what's wrong with him aside from being old. People compared him to Robert Covington. Maybe that's what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
Tony Snell,
He's better
Eddie
than
Jones. I
Robert
think he's even
Covington,
better
yeah.
than these guys. Kevin, what do you think of Mikal Bridges to the Sixers?
It's a B.
Okay.
I like Mikal Bridges. Long, 7'2" wingspan. He can defend. He can shoot threes. For me, the question with him is, what level does he reach as a shooter? There's been some consistency issues, thus the Covington comp for him. And then on defense, sometimes you would like to see him slide his feet a little bit better, considering his length and sometimes his quickness is about average.
Yeah.
And you see guards blow by him at the college level. What happens in the NBA when he's going against elite guards in playoff situations? I'm not sure there's elite defense there, but he's going to be very good defensively.
Shit, he just talked me out of it.
How's his handle? Because one of the problems with Robert Covington
Not a
is that he
creator.
has no handle.
Right.
And one of the issues, as we talked about with the Sixers, was in addition to needing shooting, they needed an extra ball handler. So not great from them is what they're telling me. I still feel like this is a safe pick for the Sixers. This is a team that obviously is ascendant. And like you don't really, if you were going to gamble on somebody like a Michael Porter Jr. and he can't play, like when are you developing him? They're not really in developmental mode anymore.
Yeah.
They're in win now mode. So if this is a guy who can get in there and eat up some minutes and not hurt you and play defense and shoot some threes, I'm cool with it.
Tate?
He's a smart basketball player. He's a good person to add to the team with all that talent. He's not going to take the ball away from anyone. I mean, it's like Trevor Ariza, basically. Just put him in there. He's going to be a young Ariza. He's more athletic than Ariza. So
New Bellinelli?
Well, do you think that the Sixers
No,
get
he's not
ahead of
that
their
good.
skis though? Like, is this the kind of pick you make where you're like, this is like a Jordan Bell type pick, but you're taking him too early in the draft? Like, was there an A out there to get?
He fits. And I mean, I guess the argument would be that they already have a winning product. So all they need is a guy to slide in there, maybe be the J.J. Redick of the future. But I don't know why you ever have to stop being in rebuilding mode.
Yeah.
Why aren't you just lining up the next sort of guys? And Michael Porter Jr., if I already have a team that can compete for the title, why don't I just bring him along slowly underneath all the guys that are already competing?
Right.
You turn into the Celtics, essentially.
Right.
With the second wave of guys.
He's so happy, though. Can't we be happy for him? It's like
He's
hometown
psyched,
kid.
man. He's psyched.
Hey, can I read some tweets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still Balling said, that pick sucked. What the hell is going
I
on?
never made that choice.
The Sixers are so stupid.
What do you think of this pick?
KOC talked me out of it. I'm out of it now.
KOC just gave him a beat.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
it's like
let's
lukewarm.
talk about the beat.
I think Porter would have been the fun pick there.
Well, I think Bridges is a solid player. It's just
fine.
I just don't get excited about
Porter
it.
would have been really ballsy there.
Still subtly trying to undermine the Sixers with
Yeah,
every.
I just would have preferred
It's fine.
Miles
Bridges
Bridges.
is nice.
Even someone like Zaire Smith.
I love Zaire
Arguably over Mikal Bridges.
Zaire Smith can't shoot, though, right?
He can jump over everything.
Yeah,
now.
he can jump over everything. An elite defender, and he's super young.
Yeah,
He's
just literally just jump
he's-
over the entire team.
Zaire's 3 years younger than Mikal Bridges. In age when it comes to player development
And
is
he's
really
3
the
inches
most
shorter.
important
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah, he's like 6'4".
It's a safe pick. It's a pick you make
yeah.
when you've only been the GM for 2 weeks and you haven't watched college
And not
basketball.
only that, it's a
fine.
safe pick to
There's
add
nobody
to
as
their
the
core.
GM. Nobody's safe.
They don't have a GM.
Mikal Bridges can play within this context. He can hopefully be another versatile defender for them right away. It helps them win games now. It's just maybe 4 or 5 years from now, you could be kicking yourself that you didn't take Porter, didn't take Zaire Smith.
Can we get the camera on Tate?
What do you
Tate's starting to freak out
We're,
about this
well,
Michael
there's a
Porter
potential
thing.
trade possibility with Charlotte here.
yeah.
Charlotte's discussing trade possibilities. The 11.
Had a feeling.
Phoenix wants to get back into the lottery. To
I knew
get
something was
SGA.
going on. Tate was freaking out.
Thank goodness.
Had a feeling that was going to
You didn't want to take Michael Porter.
Well, they don't want to take the contract. They don't want to pay anybody. So they don't want to draft someone that they have to pay. So they want to don't want to trade.
What's
to get-
Phoenix's other pick?
16.
16.
So they go from 11 to 16
And then
and
they
dump a
draft Robert
contract?
Williams.
Yeah, or then maybe they could also get another second-round pick.
Yeah.
Right, which could be a quality player in that range.
They're trying to get guys on rookie deals.
I feel like we're losing Tanya. Somebody's got to talk about Kobe for like 30 seconds.
So that's an interesting deal with Tate. Do you like that?
Yes.
You like that trade?
I'm totally fine with that. I don't think there's anyone on the. They wanted Sexton. He's not on the board. They wanted Knox. He's not on the board. They wanted Gojus Alexander. He doesn't want to go there. So, with all that being said,
Which
get
is
out.
interesting because I had heard Charlotte liked Gojus Alexander.
was
It's just he doesn't want to go there.
He was their number one guy.
Yeah.
They tried to get an interview and a workout, and he basically just blew him off. So
Why wouldn't you want to go there? Oh, SGA had like that weird run of like not working out for teams, right?
I don't think he worked out with anyone.
Who the
Everything,
hell is he? What did he do?
everything was
Did he win 2
secret.
tournament games?
He's a 4-star recruit.
My main thing is he kind of took the Dion Waiters route of 2011.
Oh.
Kind of shut down everything for a month, and everyone was just like, "Ooh, who is this guy?"
We get a big Mark Stein tweet. He says, league sources say the Clippers have been trying to lure the Spurs into Kawhi Leonard trade talks with an offer featuring 2 lotto picks and Tobias Harris, but it appears they'll be making the 12th and 13th picks for themselves.
Oh, that was a dick tease.
That was the Spurs didn't pick up the
I got
phone,
excited.
so we called Mark Stein, right? They're not picking up the phone for 12 and 13 and Tobias Harris.
You know what, though? They really, really like Michael Porter. And somehow
The
guy
Spurs?
No,
Oh,
no, the
the
Clippers.
Clippers.
So the guy that they may have been trying to trade up for somehow falls to them at 12 because of the injury concerns and him comparing himself to KD and Giannis and Tracy McGrady.
I mean,
and then saying it's an honor.
What could go wrong with a guy with back and hip issues wearing Pumas going to the Clippers? What could go wrong?
That Steve Ballmer saw in high school, and all of a sudden
Flags
loves.
to see.
Yeah.
When you put it that way, it's pretty stark.
Is there a chance that he leaked this stuff out though for him
Porter?
to fall to get to the Clippers to play for Ballmer because he loves Ballmer? They love each other. We saw that when he was on your
That's
podcast.
true.
He said
Oh,
that
that's
was,
right.
He said that was his favorite.
I
player
love
ever
this
seen in
conspiracy
Boston.
theory.
So Ballmer's making the picks instead
Like,
of Jerry
don't work
West
out for
and
the
Doc
team.
Rivers.
Don't give him
Ballmer's
your
like,
medical.
Right,
West-
walk
West-
really stiffly down the front of the
West
stage.
likes Porter.
Come to the Clippers.
West likes Porter.
Just break off your cast like the Rock.
Right, all of a
and
sudden just be
during
like,
a 7. And
I'm almost buying into that.
So you think that's why he limped down the steps?
Yeah, right, just to get to the Clippers.
Can you imitate the Porter walk?
Yeah, do
Oh,
it again.
great for
Yeah, let's do it again.
Oh, my.
You should have had a cane.
Making sure your mic didn't fall. I was worried.
So the Hornets are on the clock, but we've got some trade activity happening. I wonder if they'll happen before or after this trade. Here
I
comes
wonder
Adam
what
Silver.
the trade is.
I mean,
I think they're going to take Gilgeous-Alexander, and then it'll be a trade.
And then look to move him. Yeah.
It's funny how the team he doesn't want to play for is going to have to walk across the stage wearing the hat to the interview wearing the hat.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
SGA. SGA goes to Charlotte. But will it be traded, we think?
What do we think of this?
It will. The NBA needs to change this.
Yeah.
So
that's ridiculous.
Why is the rule like this so that they do it this way? Well, we'll get to that in a second. First, we got SGA from Kentucky, 19-year-old. I thought he looked pretty good in the tournament.
Yeah.
14 points a game, 5 assists a game. Athletic at 6'6", really modern point guard, 180 pounds. He's got great instincts in the pick and roll. Maybe some issues mechanically with this shot. Some people have compared him to Livingston, MCW, a little bit less charitably. Kevin, what's the grade for SGA?
It's a B+.
Okay.
This is for the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
Assuming that trade goes through. I think Gilgeous-Alexander, not my favorite point guard in this draft, but 6'6" with a near 7-foot wingspan. Really good in the pick and roll for a young point guard. I think with him, it's an interesting fit because he can cover up for some of Devin Booker's defensive weaknesses. And he can, I think, really help pick and roll defense with Deandre Aiden in the back end because pick and roll starts on the perimeter.
Yeah.
It's not just all about big man. Versatile, can switch. I love it for Phoenix. They're really building a nice, impressive core.
If SGA and Elfrid Payton played horse, would the game ever end?
Oh, my God.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I just think that the
It'll be
Suns
all
have
layups.
become the best league pass team for next year. They have the starting 5 who are all like 24 years old. This is going to be a really fun team for the next couple of years.
People are joining me in the Phoenix
I'm
Suns
in.
Island,
Danny,
baby. I'm excited.
7 seconds or Suns, you like it?
I'm in on SGA. Like,
Yes.
We're on Team SGA back.
No one actually knows how to say his name,
Hold
so
up.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
we're
Shit,
on
Gilgeous-Alexander. I gotta say it.
Trade alert.
It's easier to say
I've
SGA.
only been calling him SGA. Hey, I'm gonna try that.
Trade alert.
Trade.
Clippers have acquired Gilgeous-Alexander in a trade with the Hornets.
Oh. Never mind Suns.
So much for the Suns.
And for what?
Don't ever watch the Suns on League Pass.
Yeah.
Please be Tobias Harris.
So, what was the clip? Don't they have a second round
Clippers will
pick?
send 12 pick and 2 second-round picks to the Hornets.
I love it.
To get one.
The process. It's
Hey,
happening.
Jerry West likes
Cup check
SGA,
time.
man.
Cup check time.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, just accumulating
Yeah,
assets.
that's all we're doing.
You got Mozgov in a couple of seconds now.
Yeah.
I know.
It's going
So
great.
now you're on the clock at 12.
Look at this guy.
Incredible.
Who are they taking, Tate?
I would guess Porter, but I don't know. I think it's going to be Porter.
Or Miles
No,
Bridges.
they're not taking a Puma
Perhaps?
guy.
You think Porter's gonna drop this
way.
low, man?
Puma goes Porter goes 13.
To the Clippers? And you think 12 they take Robert Williams?
This
or
has
Bridges?
Miles Bridges written all over
Yeah,
it.
this is a Jordan. If it's Miles Bridges,
You're
that's a
19
Jordan
straight
pick.
power forward.
Yeah.
You're
So
taking
The Clippers have traded with
Kaminsky. Yeah.
Clippers traded with the Hornets
Yeah.
to get SGA. So now the Hornets are picking again, essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Right behind.
Who does SGA look like? He looks like about 7 different celebrities.
Oh, it looks like that'll be Miles Bridges to the Hornets.
That's not a bad
That
pick.
pick.
Yeah.
I've officially gotten to that part in the first round where I've sat so long that my hip feels like Michael Porter's.
Miles Bridges is like MKG, but he can actually shoot. He's versatile. He plays.
Can
some
we go
defense.
through all the Charlotte front court guys?
Marvin Williams.
let's do it.
Miles Bridges, Frank Kaminsky, Cody Zeller, Willie Hernan Gomez.
Timofey Mozgov.
Oh, God. I forgot.
What?
He's not playing. Mozgov's not playing.
They probably have a Plumlee somewhere in reserve.
No, we got rid of the Plumlee, thank God. That was for
So you have
Dwight.
6 front court guys in a league where everybody is going small.
Cody Zeller.
Congratulations.
You forgot about him.
Who?
God.
I said
Zeller.
You know,
Oh, you could trade Zeller to Indiana, though. That's going to happen.
That's the move, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do.
They'll take him.
Yeah, we got to dump him.
But the SGA and Malik Monk backcourt would have been fun. So that's a bummer.
that's a pretty good first trade or second trade actually by Mitch Kupchak to hold the Clippers hostage,
Yeah.
get 2 second-round draft picks just for them to trade up 1 spot to get Gilgeous-Alexander. I like it.
Because they thought that the Hornets wouldn't take him just because he ignored them. And they were just like, no, we're still going to
I
take
think
him.
Jerry West was like, Mitch, you're doing this. I gave you every break in life you've ever had. You will do this trade right now.
Wait, so is Mitch just stacking second rounders? Is he the new Hinkie?
Yeah.
Process.
He's turning things around.
How many second rounders does he have now?
It's 4 in the past 2 days.
Yep.
It always works.
Good players in the second round this year.
Tate,
Yeah.
are we gonna remember this?
I thought you were going to say Tate is Grayson Allen about to get picked. Now it's about to
Are
fall.
we gonna remember this trade as like an Anton Jameson, Vince Carter type situation?
Yeah, we're going to switch the hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
seems
man.
all right.
You know what I don't really understand is this kind of move? Is this like they're going to get rid of Kemba? They're going to try to trade Batum?
I think this is good for Kemba.
Don't do
There's
that.
nothing wrong with Kemba.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Kemba.
I mean, look, if they're not going to draft a point guard, then obviously keep Kemba.
Right.
And try to re-sign him and say, hey, you're our guy. We're going to give you the supermax.
All right.
If you give Kemba the supermax, that
Michael
would be
Jordan
one of
wants
the
to
dumbest
pay
moves in the
somebody
history of
for
the
whatever.
NBA.
Every time free agency hits, he likes to pay people, and then he gets like buyer's remorse in 2 months.
I just don't think the Hornets are irrevocably, that's a tough word to say, broken. Just because like what they have could have made the playoffs this year if a few breaks went right.
Yeah.
You just add a guy like Bridges in there, and they're in the playoffs right again.
When Mitchell went on, JJ's podcast, and Tate emailed me about it, about how Mitchell almost ended up on the Hornets, and then they like double crossed him or whatever they did.
Here's Adam Silver.
And
with
then
this
Tate sent me
pick.
a second email. It's like he blacked out and he forgot the first email, and sent me more of an email.
Well, I'll send you trade proposals to get him to the Hornets.
Miles Bridges picked here in the 12th. So this is going to
Charlotte.
This is Sharks' game.
All right, Miles Bridges out of Michigan State. Let's take a look at what we know about him. 20 years old, 6'6", 17 points a game, 7 boards a game. A pretty big unit, 220.
Yeah.
He's good around the rim and good shot creation potential. Subpar passer, lacks vision. So got some issues there. Reminds us of Derek Coleman. And
love Derek Coleman.
Love Derek Coleman and Tobias Harris. Kevin,
he's
what do
as
you
good
give
as
this?
Derek Coleman,
What do you give
that'd
this
be
grade here?
A B+.
B+ for Miles Bridges.
Ninth ranked player on my board. Miles Bridges is somebody, great athlete, versatile player who can defend multiple positions, going to throw down lob dunks, going to make highlight reels. I like Bridges a lot, especially at this point of the draft. I think he's a baby steal. At this point.
Okay, so this is an interesting pick. So Tate, do you see this guy? Is this guy like a day one starter?
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be the 4. I mean, Frank Kaminsky is the 4 right now, and Marvin Williams is the 4 right now. I mean, I think Marvin.
God, you guys got a lot of 4s.
We got a lot of talent, you know. I think Marvin's going to mentor him. I think that'll be good.
Oh, that'll
Marvin
be
Williams.
great.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that'll be good. And then I think Miles will end up playing. Is he really 6'6"? I thought he was like 6'8". If he's 6'6", this is a terrible pick.
I think he's 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan.
That is.
Yeah, well, he's
unfortunate.
He's not especially long.
Not great.
But it is crazy that like Miles Bridges, when he was coming out of high school, people thought he might be a top 3 pick. So to get him at 12 and also get some more picks out of the Clippers.
I like him.
Yeah.
Marvin Williams can teach him how to have a contract year.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
exactly.
So now the Clippers will be on the clock again, and are we assuming it's going to be Porter here because
Can
of
we
the
just
ball?
point out Michael Porter hasn't been taken yet? We're at the 13th pick.
I can't wait to see him walk up the stage. I can't wait to see him walk up the steps.
I was going to say, so I'll tell you what, Jerome Robinson going here shows that if the Clippers pass on Michael Porter with
There's
Ballmer,
something.
West
There's
Coast,
something serious.
There's something
There's
really
something.
concerning with the medical of this team of all
Which
teams.
just
passing
means the
on.
Wizards are going to take him.
That's a really good point.
They actually
we
could
forget
have
about
on
the
the
next
line
pick.
if he takes him.
The Clippers are taking Jerome Robinson. Okay, so
Passing Porter.
Yeah.
so this is
my
bad. This is bad for Porter. Let's officially talk about this because I'm looking at the board there.
It's actually
I don't
wild.
see any teams that can afford to redshirt. I guess you could say
Nugs.
the Nuggets could.
I think
What
the
if he
Nuggets
falls to the
could.
Suns?
Nuggets totally.
Yeah, like the Suns.
The Suns.
Suns
At
are a fun
16?
one.
I mean,
Suns
all
at
these
16.
teams
They have the medical staff.
Like the
Yeah.
Bucks.
Do they still have that
But the
medical
Suns-
staff?
the
What if the
Suns-
Bucks
Yeah.
got it, to be honest?
Yeah. No, so one of those teams you could.
Bucks
I could
can't blow a
definitely see
pick,
that.
The
though.
Spurs need upside players.
Yeah.
It is a Spursy. It is a Spursy pick.
So you take Michael Porter, just plug and play, replace Kawhi with Michael Porter right away, day one.
We're definitely at the point of the draft
Rehabilitate.
Yeah.
where I don't really recognize a lot of the guys.
Yeah.
So this is a bad space to be in if you're Porter.
Yes.
I wonder, will a team aggressively try to trade in or up for Michael Porter? Because if you're a team, you're like, you know what, screw it. Like, who cares about the medical?
Yeah.
Dude, this guy's talented.
Who cares if his vertebrae are jelly donuts? Let's get in there.
Hey, could the Blazers, Kevin? Could the Blazers? Do they care?
I've heard Blazers promise somebody, so they would have to break that at 24.
Well, people break promises.
God, if he
How would you
falls to
promise at 24? How can you predict
If
that?
we've learned anything, it's if you're hiding your medical reports from teams that are trying to get into business with you, it's a bad sign. if you're an
Probably.
athlete.
Yeah.
I think.
Unless it's the Kings.
Yeah, I think the red flag
it's the
was
Kings.
could not get out of bed. The report that said like he literally could not stand up like a week ago.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad for this kid because, like, he's going to probably go in the first round anyway, but you got to think that he might have been able to stay in school for another year and maybe have improved his draft potential.
Like his brother, yeah.
Like his brother?
Gone to the vegan restaurants at
feel
Missouri
bad
with
for
him.
Okay, so what were Puma's big signings? Marvin Bagley,
Zaire Smith, DeAndre Aiden, and Michael Porter.
And Michael Porter.
Wow.
The four of them.
2 for 4.
And Rudy Gay.
And Rudy Gay's back.
Woj just tweeted that Denver has been seriously considering Michael Porter Jr., but they're deciding now on whether to take
I hear the thin air is great for healing.
I mean, Dewan Blair had what, a couple of years in the league with no ACLs?
Literally no ACLs.
Yeah, Chris Paul barely has any cartilage in his knee. I mean, like, it can happen.
This is dire.
But backs are bad. Backs are bad. It's like when you see JJ rolling on the roller, like that's
yeah, that's true.
It's bad for a young person.
Yeah, it's bad.
Get
for
Michael Porter Jr. on that CBD oil. I think he'll be okay.
Kev, did you have any hot scoops coming in?
Someone reported that Porter, besides Woj,
seriously considering.
Yeah, seriously considering. It's interesting. I do wonder if Denver's just going to keep him or if they'll shop him.
Huh. Kev, who's your number one guy on your board now? Porter?
Right now, top guy left on my board: Porter, Zaire Smith, Troy Brown, Lonnie Walker, Robert Williams, Elie Okobo. That's where we're at right now.
So we're definitely in the red flag zone right now.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm surprised Zaire's still on there. I can't believe Big Ragu's still on the board. I thought he would have gone in the lottery.
The funny thing is
I Dante DiVincenzo.
I had heard that Denver really, really liked Zaire Smith with the 14th pick.
Makes
and
sense.
I wonder if they were shocked perhaps the Porter's there and they just decided to go with him.
Or maybe like they're so scarred by Moutier that they can't possibly draft a guy incapable of shooting again.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is they're probably going to lose Will Barton. You need that Will Barton
What
replacement.
about him though?
What about Will Barton though?
Love Will Barton.
Clippers have 30 seconds left. We just have to come back from commercial break, and we'll get the second Clippers pick here, which we are assuming is going to be Jerome Robinson.
Can he do the grades for Jerome Robinson?
Yeah,
let's get Jerome going. Jerome Robinson.
Cue up Jerome.
Did we have this ready?
Yeah.
This is impressive.
Jerome Robinson from Boston College, a late riser in this draft. 21 years old, 6'5", 188, 20 points a game. Apparently had some great workouts. He can finish with either hand. Great spot up shooter, which is huge in this league now. Forces the issue at sometimes. He's can be compared to Tyler Johnson, the weirdest rich man I've ever seen. Jamal Crawford, Marcus Thornton. So these are pretty conservative comps, Kevin. What's the grade here?
A D+.
Oh, this is your lowest grade of the round.
I think so, yeah. So Jerome Robinson, spark plug scorer. Jamal Crawford type of role where you can score, get buckets for you off the bench. Versatile scorer who can shoot off screens, who can hit spot threes and isolations as well. But really, the question will be defense. He's a very poor defender.
Yeah.
What level does his playmaking get to? At Boston College, he played two guard after playing point guard only as a freshman. I've been told that his playmaking has looked better in workouts, so perhaps for the Clippers and other teams like the Bucks that were interested in him, that's the vibe that they got, that he's actually going to be a 6'5" point guard moving forward in the league. But my thing is 26th player on my board, I think is too high for him.
Chris, as you know, I have Clippers season tickets.
Yes.
At no point was I looking at this season and thinking, you know what they need is another guard who needs the ball.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't remember having that conversation with anyone in my section.
The Clippers have too many guys now. Like, I don't know what to do with all these
They do.
guys.
They should have traded up.
Austin opted in. Gallo's on the hook. They've got Tobias Harris, Patrick Beverly coming
Austin
back.
Rivers, Lou Williams.
Yeah,
Milos.
Lou. Yeah.
Milos. They have 5 guards.
And what do we think of their draft haul? Can you give me a grade for the 2 Clippers picks?
What was the first grade I gave? Let's give me the average of that. C plus?
Did they take the other guard too? They took SGA?
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what's next for them.
What fucking guards do you need? What the hell is going on?
I do wonder what's next for them. You mentioned Robinson needs the ball. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think he's best with the ball, but he can come off screens. So maybe you're playing.
Can we go through this
super
again?
small ball.
Lou Williams.
Yeah.
SGA. Yeah. Austin Rivers. Patrick Beverly.
Jerome Robinson.
And there's a 6th
Thornwell.
Milos.
And Milos.
Yeah, and Thornwell.
6 guards. And Thornwell.
There's got to be something else.
So there's a trade coming, you think?
Got to be something else with all those guards. It's such a poorly balanced.
Do you think that
roster.
Jerry West is seriously calling R.C. Buford and being like, "Can I interest you in 6 guards for Kawhi Leonard?" Is that how Jerry West talks?
What if we put Lou Williams on the table?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You have to catch him on the golf course first
Yeah.
in order to talk to him. I mean, when's the last time a guy from Boston College was actually good? Was it Jared Dudley? This isn't
Reggie Jackson for like 6 minutes.
That's right, yeah.
Reggie Jackson went to BC?
Yeah.
This isn't exactly a pro factory. That's all I'm saying.
Used to wear a headband back then.
Is Sean Williams BC?
Sean Williams. Yeah, but then
BC's had a lot of misses. like a shocking amount of.
Does Holy Cross and BC have beef?
We did, and then we kind of folded.
You guys squashed?
We went to the Patriot League. And we were the first team invited to the Big East.
And you're a national champion.
Yeah.
Denver Nuggets got about 3.5 minutes, and we're going to take a break after this Nuggets pick. But the big question remaining for this night is what's up with Michael Porter and where's he going to go? And as of like a minute or two ago, Denver was still thinking about it. So I don't know.
I got to say, I'm stunned by this. I actually thought he was going to go too high, not too low.
Right.
I thought somebody was going to roll the dice.
Can you
on
remember a guy falling, like somebody with this much potential at least falling this far?
I think
somebody who was like an injury guy?
I think it's like Giles, right?
Yeah.
Giles
No, but we knew that was coming, though.
Yeah, it wasn't like 2 days ago. People were still talking about the Kings taking Porter.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think I'm trying to think of a parallel. I can't. Maybe Nerlens going even falling to 6.
But even with him, we knew he had the torn ACL already.
Yeah. He looks bummed,
he looks
man.
not
This
at
is
all
brutal.
thrilled.
Not great.
The
good news is he's got that Puma support system.
I mean, and as he says, he's the next KD, the next Giannis, and Tracy McGrady. Got that going for him.
It's a lot of things.
Yeah, that wasn't
don't say
smart.
Denver expected that he would be here.
Woj just like, they're sizing up Michael Porter in Denver.
Let's look at what's the Denver starting lineup with Porter. What's like, let's say Porter is actually fine. So who's Denver's got Jamal and Gary, right?
Millsap.
Jokic, Millsap, and Porter?
Work. I mean, even if you want to bring him off the bench as like your 6-man scorer.
I like that starting 5.
They
They
got
could
a,
redshirt him.
they got a Gallinari replacement. I think that's realistically the type of player he'll be. Is a Gallinari.
Is
type.
Gallo?
Yeah. I mean, like he's also got the injury concern too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Gallo.
I mean, Millsap has, 2 more years on his deal? He's already older. I don't know if he's going to be a long-term solution. You have to pay Jokic this summer. So you're really running out of options. You really have your team. This is now a chance to maybe get a guy that can be a solid foundational piece for the next couple of years.
Would you want to be on TV during the worst moment of your life? Because that's what's happening to him right now.
No, I wouldn't. This is always brutal.
This is where you're like, I'll be right back. I'm going to the bathroom.
Because at least in the Oscars, the moment is over.
Yeah.
Like you're up there, and then Meryl Streep wins, and you're like, and then it's over. He's been sitting there for.
I think they've shown some admirable restraint in not showing him really at all up until this last moment when they showed him.
It has some Aaron Rodgers to it, like where he was just sitting there alone by himself, and I think with that experience, maybe they're like, I mean, that sucked for him.
This kid,
right,
yeah.
I mean,
He might be more Brady Quinn than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Brady Quinn.
The first big one was Rashard Lewis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was like
that?
20 years
That
ago,
was
and he was just in the
agonizing.
green room forever. He's crying.
That was
awful.
agonizing.
I think this is the perfect Nuggets pick because they're good anyway. They didn't really need anything from this pick.
Yeah, it's almost like icing on the cake for them.
I guess the real question is this a matter of being patient because he's going to be fine in a year, or is this a matter of gambling on this kid never being fine?
I think it's upside, really. It's he has the chance to be a go-to scoring presence.
Yeah, where's the point of the draft where this is like a no-brainer?
Other
now?
guys, like the other top guys on our board, Zaire Smith, not a go-to scorer. Troy Brown, not a go-to scorer. Lonnie Walker, he's not going to be that.
Not to defeat the Sixers,
inconsistent.
but that annoys me. Then it's like if he's on the board and he has this potential, the Sixers are in a better spot than Denver. Like, I mean, maybe this is a mistake for some of these teams that are passing on him that are also competitive, like the Nuggets.
It could be. I mean, look, ultimately, if he is the 47 Hall of Famers that he compared himself to, then yes, that will be a mistake in retrospect. However, I think considering, you and I talked about this, where with the Sixers not having a general manager, if you're going to gamble on somebody or trade a draft pick or allocate a bunch of money in free agency, ultimately you're potentially like tying up your team for the next however many years, depending on what kind of moves you make.
Yeah.
And you still have to go and find a GM. Unless you promote from within and it's Eversley or Cohen, then, okay, fine, like you're making the moves that you want to make.
Right.
But right now, I think the safest thing for them to do is to do as little as possible. Take the safe
Then I guess
player
that's what
and
they
wash
did.
your hands of it.
Porter.
What's that? Okay, so we think it's Denver selected Porter. So let's do the Porter bit now. Interesting
gotta
pick
see
for
him
Denver.
walk.
I don't think I ever would have picked him to go with him. Michael Porter Jr. is 19 years old. He's 6'10". We have no real evidence of what he was in college because he played one game, right?
One game.
So what was that game? The last game of the season? Denver,
Yes.
Minnesota.
Those
Minnesota
minuses
beat
are-
Denver.
Yes.
Those minuses
Denver
are
ends up
brutal.
with Michael Porter. That could have been like a historic
Andrew
game.
Wiggins
So we
syndrome.
have shades of
that's a
Otto
Danny
Porter and
Chapman
Harrison
special,
Barnes.
I believe.
Michael Porter Jr. compared himself to Kobe to Giannis. Kevin, what do you give this selection?
It's a B. I like Porter. Ninth
From
on my
back.
But look, Porter has go-to scoring upside. He needs to improve his ball handling. His burst around the corner is fine, not great. I'm not sure he's going to ever be the guy that he thinks he'll be, which is part of the issue as well.
You don't think he'll be Kobe?
Don't think he'll be Kobe. Don't think he'll be Giannis. Don't think he'll be KD. Definitely not going to be T-Mac.
Wasn't Kobe the 14th pick, though?
He was.
There you go. Maybe
no.
he is Kobe.
Listen, I watched this guy play against
13.
high schoolers. Pretty good.
Yeah, but even then, like, so with Michael Porter, everybody's saying, like, if he had played at Missouri, he would have been the number 1, number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Like, even if the medical is fine, maybe he plays at Missouri and all those concerns I mentioned, the ball handling, burst around the corner, average defense,
Here we go.
all that stuff.
Here we go.
Maybe we're talking about him here in this range anyway.
All right, it's official. Porter's going to go to the Nuggets.
He should
How do you
sprint
feel
to the
about this,
stage.
Danny?
Yeah, he should just leave.
He's such a good model for their new uniforms.
That's true.
That's great.
This is a great new look for their team. I like it.
His uniforms suck.
Let's see him
Is
move.
the problem.
All right, we're going to take a quick break
this
so
is
that
a
everybody here
stunning
can take a
pick.
quick bathroom break and we can reset. We'll be back after the lottery, and we'll take you through the rest of the first round. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Hi, my name is Lauri Markkanen, and I'm reading as Borat. What is a not jokes?
A not joke is when we're trying to make fun of something, and what we do is we make a statement that we pretend is true, but at the end we say not, which means it's not true.
So teach me how to make one.
What color is your suit?
This suit is gray.
Gray. I would call it blue.
It's gray.
Let's say it's gray, but it's
It
not.
is gray.
Okay, so a not joke was, I would say, that suit is black. Not.
This suit is not black.
No, not has to be the end.
Oh, okay. This suit is black, not.
This suit is black. Pause. You know what a pause is?
Yes.
This suit is black. Not.
This suit is black. Pause. Not.
No, you don't say pause. This suit is black. That's a pause. Not.
This suit is black.
Okay. I don't.
Not. I saw you guys were laughing at yes.
I'm De'Aaron Fox, and I'm reading as Lady Bird. I wish I could live through something.
Aren't you? Nope. The only exciting thing about
2002 is it's a palindrome.
Fine. Well, yours is the worst life of all, so you win.
I don't want to go to school in the state anyway. I hate California.
I want to go to the East Coast.
I want to go where there's culture like New York, or at least Connecticut or New Hampshire, where writers live in the
Get
woods.
into those schools anyway.
Mom!
You can't even pass your driver's test.
You won't let me practice
The way
enough.
that you work, or the way that you don't work, you're not even worth state tuition, Christy.
My name is Lady Bird.
Well, actually, it's not, and it's ridiculous.
Call me Lady Bird like you said you would.
You should just go to City College. You know, with your work ethic, just go to City College and then to jail, and then back to City College, and then maybe you'd learn to pull yourself up and not expect everybody to do everything.
Bro, when she jumped out the car, oh my God.
We're back, the Ringers NBA Draft Watch Party. Chris Ryan, Justin Verrier, Kevin O'Connor, Jason Concepcion, Bill Simmons! Woo! Tate Frazier, John Gonzalez, Danny Chow, John Sharks, Zach Schwartz, Paolo Getty. We're hanging out, watching the first round. We will be with you until the Celtics inevitably draft Grayson Allen. Boy, that's going to be something else. I think Phoenix is on the clock now.
You're missing some great Joel Embiid spice.
Oh, let's hear it.
I love
he
it.
Said, he got on Twitter and said, "Don't compare Aiden to me either. I play defense in all caps." He's flaming everybody right now.
I love it.
Yeah, to stop.
Why is he so fired up?
He's on Twitter. He's always fired up.
That's actually fair. The Joel Embiid comp it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's Karl Anthony Towns. That's the big man to compare him to.
So did the Wizards make their 15th pick?
Seems like it's Troy Brown.
Man,
Troy Brown.
Karl Anthony Towns just looked up from his game of Fortnite like, is somebody talking about me?
He only understands it if it's in the chat box to the right.
The good news is Embiid can only go 27 minutes before he gets tired.
We're going to go to Troy Brown now since it sounds like the
Embiid.
Washington is locked,
really
according to Adrian Wojnarowski. So let's talk about Troy Brown from Oregon, 11 points a game. He's a 18-year-old 6'6" guard, 11 points a game, 6 boards a game. Strong frame, intriguing talent, high IQ. Unorthodox jump shot. Let me tell you, I love an unorthodox jump shot.
I love strong frame, too.
Shades of DeAndre Bembry, Evan Turner, and Chris
I know who
Middleton.
likes this guy.
Let's see it. KOC.
A-minus.
Wow.
Only because he's a Patriots receiver. Too.
Yes, exactly. One of the best Patriots receivers of all time. I like Troy Brown. I think Troy Brown, he checks a lot of boxes. Versatile defender, high IQ player, one of the hardest working players in the draft, can play make, smart player on offensive end. The question is his jumper. Right now, he shot around 28% from three last year as a freshman at Oregon, but he's 18 years old. He's tweaking his mechanics, and the changes seem to help him.
Okay.
If he can get to 34, 35% average, I think he's going to be a good player in the league for a long, long time.
Can I just say that Woj's use of locked on Troy Brown and cleared the way to choose Michael Porter Jr.? It's actually an acrostic. If you take the first letter of all those words, it's F. Mark Stein.
I wonder how good Troy Brown's peacemaking is because he's walking into a pretty toxic Washington locker room.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does he have what do you take international conflict in college when you try to resolve conflicts?
Right, Model UN.
Model UN.
Hopefully, maybe he has that in his background.
Well, I just wonder whether or not. Oh, here we go. This is the Troy Brown pick from Adam Silver. This is the trade announcement. So it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes to the Clippers. The Hornets get Miles Bridges and 2 future second-round picks. Michael Jordan trusts the process.
Of course. Stacking players.
Well, the Wizards now have a lot of wing types. I think they might be setting themselves up for a trade down the road.
For Boogie?
I mean,
A
if you
sign
have
trade?
Porter, you have Oubre, you have Beal. That's a lot of guys, plus Troy Brown. I mean, they need as much depth as they can get.
When we got to they were playing like Satoransky and,
They weren't playing Satoransky.
He's not a bad player.
Okay, I wasn't trying to disrespect Satoransky.
But apparently there were reports that they were already shopping Gortat, even though he has one more year. I mean, it lines up that they could do something.
Is Kevin still here? Because Gortat wants to retire in Orlando. Maybe he can mentor Mo Bamba.
There you go.
They need another center.
Yeah.
It just makes a lot of sense for Washington to maybe spin these into one key piece, which is what
Well,
they
I like
needed
where
for
you were
3
going
years.
with this. Like, if they sign and trade Boogie, if you want to get the Boogie Wall reunion, and you send New Orleans Porter, or you send them whatever it takes.
This guy's the
now you
insurance
have
on
some
it.
backup, whatever.
So
Makes sense for both teams.
The energy level has dropped off a little bit, but I think it's about to jump back up a little bit because we're getting reports that the Phoenix Suns are taking Dante DiVincenzo of Villanova.
Oh, ish.
So now they're just making a league pass run at this point. They're just trying to win the
great.
ringer over.
All orange, all the time. Let's go.
I want to know whether or not Dante DiVincenzo is 21. He had the game of his life in the national title game and then just decided to stay in the draft, has incredible measurables in terms of his vert was really high, right?
I mean, there was a minute there where he was going to get out of the draft.
And now he's on the Phoenix Suns.
And all of a sudden this is much higher than I think a lot of people expected him, no?
Kevin?
B-.
Wow.
Okay.
Not
DiVincenzo's
really.
good.
Could have gone 20.
Yeah,
So Lonnie Walker's still there.
Yeah, I
Zaire
think-
Smith's still there.
Yeah, I think like Charles just said, he's a guy that I would have felt more comfortable with in the 20s.
Worried
But
about him
look, as we
back
saw in the
into the
national
draft.
title game, DiVincenzo can play.
I'm not
He can
saying
get
this.
buckets.
He's got the tools.
He can do a little playmaking for you as well. That's why he's an appealing pick for them at this point in the draft. Just a couple other guys that I would have preferred.
Is
here.
he the first redhead in the NBA since who?
Matt
Red
Bonner.
Mamba?
Bonner.
Keith Van
Bonner?
Horn.
Bonner.
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 Dan
Scal.
Horn wasn't redhead,
First
was
white
he?
guy?
Scal? No, redhead.
No, first white guy in this draft taken?
Oh, well, Luka. American.
So where do you stand on white guy versus European?
Well, I
It's a good question. Two separate.
Where's Sam Decker?
I've had this argument in mailbags before.
yeah, it's you do wonder like why. What is the reason that we're not pumping out skilled dudes?
More white basketball.
Where's Scal? Where's today's Scal?
Is Scal a redhead?
Yes.
Well, we might have.
Yeah.
We could have a Kevin Herter.
Hey Schwartz, you got a
coming
tweet
up.
for us, man?
Yeah, we had a good tweet come in from R Paris 74, and they asked, "Who are you all most likely to be making fun of in the next 5 years? Like which team, which
Because we're all
player?
mean.
Atlanta.
Which pick?
Atlanta.
Yeah, which pick are you making
Trey
most
Young
fun
pick,
of
right?
in 5 years?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Because you passed on Doncic.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Sacramento passing on
High risk,
Doncic
high
is pretty
reward.
bad too, though.
Yeah, but if Bagley's like a 23-10 guy for like 8 years, like if Trey Young is like a seventh man in 3 years, that's going to be
That's true.
pretty tragic.
It is high ceiling, low basement with with Trey.
And because they traded out of the pick, like they were the team that essentially took Luka and they traded out. Whereas, like you said, or Marvin Bagley, 20-10 type of guy.
Yeah, but with Bagley, it's like the Kings keep stacking these guys from blue blood colleges. I think we're going to get to the point where they have all these guys trying to build a culture, and then it never happens, and we all bag on all of these picks.
Right, because it's like too many guys who went to to good
Right.
solid colleges and like are like gonna bring good winning attitudes to the team.
Meanwhile, Harry Giles still not playing a single game.
Danny, who do you have any bust feelings about anybody?
Luka?
Hmm.
Now that you see where they're going,
I feel like my heart is too kind.
Okay.
To really put that
Welcome
kind
to
of
podcasting.
pressure on any one player. I mean, I can echo Bill's thoughts if you would like.
Sure.
Mo Bamba's gonna be a bust.
Wow. I don't know if he's going to be a bust.
Come on. I just said that.
Out of the first 14 guys, the guy who's in the worst spot is SGA. He's going to a team with a bunch of guards. He's not going to play.
Right.
We don't know what position he is.
What's that?
They're clearing those guys out. This is Jerry West guy.
But they just signed the Williams, though.
Yeah.
I just don't see how he's going to play.
We got a plot twist. No longer Suns taking DiVincenzo. They're
Oh.
taking Zaire Smith at 16.
Ooh. So Twitter got it wrong for once.
Who blew it?
It was the guy, the local radio
guy. Local radio guy,
That's
man.
it.
Come on.
Wait, what do we do?
Be
Does
better.
KOC have to? What does he do with the grade?
He's got to ungrade.
Determined.
Wait, Philadelphia
Oh,
is
wait.
trading
Yep.
Mikal Bridges to Phoenix for Zaire Smith, according to Sean Trania.
Wow.
What?
Interesting.
What?
So Philly got Zaire Smith.
This is
This
is what I was talking about with
Who's driving the car?
who's driving the car and
This
what
is
did they
great.
need? They needed shooting and they needed to be able to have somebody put the ball on the floor. And last I checked, he can't do either of
Colangelo's
those
like
things,
petting a
right?
cat.
Yeah,
right
he's like,
now.
why
He can't shoot, he can't
His huge like collars like this.
Wait, what?
All right. So, can Bridges play next to Booker?
Well,
Who cares?
Sham says Philly's trading McCall.
I mean,
Both teams, actually.
Well, we just broke Chris's brain. Should I host for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, you-
Please. I'm trying to put what else?
I'll host for a couple
And what
minutes.
else?
Chris, what'd you think of that?
I want to know what else they're getting.
So Phoenix, they do have some other.
2021 Miami first rounder to the Sixers.
Oh, that's the big one.
That's a
Unprotected.
I'll take that.
That's a nice pick.
I'll
could
take
be,
that.
That could be a big year because it's the year high
Jesus.
schoolers might be able to enter the draft.
Straight up.
That's a Ryan
great point.
McDonough. I'm getting fired if this doesn't work out. I'm going all in.
Let me ask
Trading
you
everything.
something. Do you think that the guy? I'm not going to say that. Is that what the Philly guys are thinking? Like, are they like, oh, in 2021 a bunch of high schoolers are coming out? We can get like some.
No, that's a good pick though.
That asset could be
Miami
used.
might suck in 3 years.
It could be used in trades.
Yeah.
When has Miami
Look
sucked?
at what Boston has been doing.
Unprotected, though.
Look at what Boston has been doing. Boston's set up right now, and they've got this like cache of picks, and they've got 2 all-stars coming back to their team. They're just like this plethora of riches.
I gotta say, I'm
hear what you're
stunned
saying,
that
but-
Phoenix traded that.
Well,
That's a big pick.
Here's a wrinkle.
Yeah, that's
how
a-
much
that's a
cap
really
space
good
do they
pick.
have, and how much would it be affected by having that pick rather than a few picks later? What if they just
All right.
need to
Because they have
clear
all
on
that.
that?
Phoenix selects Zaire Smith, so let's do the Zaire Smith bit. I love this kid, which
Yeah.
you may not be able to tell because I look shattered by this, but Zaire Smith can dunk. He's 18, he's 6'4", 11 points a game at Texas Tech, but man, this kid can fly.
Can I give the
Versatile
counter?
defender, reluctant shooter, lacks ball handling skills. What a time to be alive. People say it reminds them of Danny Green, Norman Powell, and Andre Roberson. I hate these comps. Kevin, make me feel better about this.
It's an A-. Zaire Smith, elite athlete. He's going to dunk, going to cut. He's going to defend at a really, really high level. And it's like we just talked about the flip side with Mikal Bridges, 22 years old. Zaire Smith is only going to be 19 as a rookie in the NBA, and he already defends at a high level. The question with him will be, what level does the jumper get to? He shot over 40% from 3 as a freshman. That is only on like 40 shots. His shot looks a little bit better in workouts, but again, we'll see how that translates.
What's counter? They have a chance to make the finals next year. Like I
Chris
want guys
looks
who can help me
concussed
make
right
the
now.
finals.
The 2 moves that
You and the Sixers and Celtics are the 2 favorites to make the finals.
He loves
they just
this.
threw away the 10th pick. I still like the trade, but I just think that asset would have helped them.
What rookie's going to help
Unless
you win
they
a
can
title?
flip the
though?
Miami pick.
What rookie's going to help you win a title?
I think Bridges would've played
plays
for them.
as a rotation player.
You don't think Bridges would have played for them next year?
A 3-and-D guy who like is plug and
Robert
play?
Covington didn't help them win a title. Mikal Bridges.
I'm
is
telling you,
well.
Zaire's got crazy
I think
talent.
he's a
This could really work out. Don't be like Zaire. He can really defend for.
So you were very high on Mikal Bridges anyway.
And I liked him, but Zaire's got upside. I mean, he's got talent.
In a vacuum, I really like the trade. I just don't know how it helps them contend.
It's
next year.
assets. 18-year-old player and a 2021 pick that you can use to flip
True.
for
Kawhi
that
stuff.
For Kawhi.
Yeah, that's
For
just
whoever.
I'm back. I'm back in. I just
You think that this is Kawhi bait?
This is Kawhi bait.
It's
You need
big for the
assets.
next guy.
As
That Miami pick helps them with Kawhi.
Yeah.
That's your point.
I don't know who's doing any of this. We don't know what the protections are on it either.
Do you think Brett Brown's just confused? He just
No,
getting
the
all these
Miami
phone
pick's
calls.
unprotected.
He's like, I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take the
It's
Miami
definitely-
pick.
All right.
Yeah,
well, I
because
mean, an unprotected first is a
So
big
you
deal.
could do Fultz, Covington, Zaire Smith, the Miami pick, and Saric.
Covington,
Kawhi.
first team all defense.
That's a lot.
Fultz,
That's a
Covington,
lot.
Zaire Smith, and
all in
Sarge?
for Kawhi.
Yeah.
All in.
The Sixers' doctor was the guy looking at Kawhi in New York. If anybody
Kawhi
knows
was the
if he's
second
good or
best
not,
player in the
it's
league
them.
a year ago.
All right, so here's an interesting bet too. Bobby Marks just tweeted out: Philly saves close to $1 million in cap space by going from 11 to 16. So every dollar will help when it comes to opening up max cap space.
Little things like that all
So
count.
they
There you
think
go.
that they maybe have a shot at somebody.
I like the trade. I'm back in on it.
It's why they traded second rounders to
With
go
the
for
Lakers,
next year.
right? Yeah.
They don't have to pay that guy, and also they set themselves up with assets.
Tate, how many Zaire Smith conversations did you and Titus have on One Shining Podcast?
Probably 2 during the entire season. So that was more than most.
Yeah,
but
that's good.
He was a 6'4" guy that, played power forward, which is interesting, I guess, that he did that. He was athletic enough to play power forward.
That's not going to happen in the.
I mean, maybe if they convince him to be like Draymond Green, like play defense, play hard, like get loose balls, be athletic. I mean, I don't know.
Can we move to the what the fuck was Phoenix thinking part of this?
I have no
I mean,
idea.
I think they're going to use him to cover
What do they
up
think they're
Booker.
going to make the Western Finals next year?
Well,
Why would they give that Miami pick?
If you
up?
lose Warren, right? Isn't Warren's on it? Is he expiring this year?
No.
No, he's just bad.
He hasn't worked out.
Yeah, so but you get a small forward. Yeah, I love
I like
TJ
TJ Warren too.
They're
Yeah,
going to use
yeah.
Bridges
I like
to cover
TJ
up
Warren.
Booker.
Did they sign
Wait,
him?
we were all like, get rid of TJ Warren. We turned so
Warren
fast.
hasn't shot a 3 in like 20 years.
Yeah, he's a very
He doesn't
old school
fit.
basketball player. Yeah,
I like
mid-range.
TJ Warren. Wow.
I feel
a
bad
lot
for
has
Dante.
happened.
A lot has happened.
So this is the recurring NBA theme of the front office that feels like it's in a little bit of trouble if things don't go well.
In Phoenix's case.
In Phoenix's case, where Ryan McDonough probably looks at that Miami pick, is like, if Doncic comes back
Right.
to haunt me with Ayton,
I'm not even going to be here.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not even going to be here.
Working at the Ringer.
Well, I think too, though, if you have Deandre Aiden and Devin Booker, you need defensive players. You need a lot of defensive players.
Not this season, though.
Not if you score
building
220
forward,
points a
you
game.
need guys who can defend.
I wouldn't have touched that Miami pick.
I don't think a single draft pick this year is about this year. It's really about 3-4 years for now for all of them. So like for Phoenix, it's like if you're a contender in the playoffs in 4 years, Mikal Bridges is in his prime, 26, 27 years old.
That's one of the most interesting. This is one of the most interesting deals of the night.
Yeah,
We had a Trey Young Luka thing.
Really weird.
I think it's in both cases we're trying to figure out what the intent is of the team, whether the Sixers have another shoe to drop when free agency or some other trades come around. And we're the two biggest Sixers fans here. We're pretty shell-shocked.
And
by
also, if you're Phoenix, this trade means you had Bridges ranked basically as like one of the best 3 guys in your draft.
Right.
And you're like,
If you're
it's
willing-
almost like the NFL mentality of, oh my God, that guy fell to 10. Let's go all in and try to get him.
If you're willing to give up an unprotected first, I mean, that's not nothing. Like, that's a big deal. I think it's very on brand that Philadelphia is still acquiring assets even without a general manager.
Zombie
Like
process.
zombie GM is out here. Like,
Zombie Hinkie?
There's a
Zombie
Sham Street
Hinkie?
we want to see, a Sham Street we want to see. Milwaukee Bucks are going to go DiVincenzo. That's
I like that.
fun.
I like that.
I like that one.
Wow.
That makes up for Rashad Vaughn, I think.
All right, so we already did our Dante bit in terms of his.
Okay, let's see.
But I want to see the grade.
KOC
Let's see
doing
the
it
Dante DiVincenzo grade.
KOC doing grades is my favorite part of this. Uh-oh.
A minus.
B.
It's a B minus. B minus. It's like we talked about earlier when it seemed like the Phoenix Suns were going to pick him. DiVincenzo can get buckets. That guy can score, like we saw in the national title game. But he can make a little bit too. I like the pick for the Milwaukee Bucks. Really, for them, DiVincenzo I think has risen through these workouts. Going to need to prove that he can defend multiple positions. But look, Eric Bledsoe wasn't the guy for them. Maybe DiVincenzo is a good guy to have alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Because he's not a primary ball handler, but he's one of the guys who can play with and without the ball.
New Delhi?
Well, now that Bud is there, will he be among the 4 Bucks to make the All-Star team this first year?
Now that I think about it.
KOC.
Can we go B plus instead of B minus? Now that I just talked about it, B
Whoa.
plus.
B plus instead of B minus for Dante on the Bucks.
You know, I talked myself
KOC,
into it a little bit
do
more.
the Bucks beat the Celtics last year, 2 months ago, if Dante's on the team?
Instead of Eric Bledsoe?
If he's just on the team instead of Tony Snell.
No, but it would be even closer than
It would've
probably
been a
was.
closer,
I
more
just
agonizing loss.
I just can't say a rookie's going to give them the edge.
All right, so
Tate, how good is Dante going to be?
It's going to be great. With Brogdon right there, I think Brogdon's
With
going to mentor.
Brogdon.
You know,
I love
so many of the
So good.
open missed shots by Tony Snell and everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe they actually would
He's
have
not
beaten
afraid of
Boston,
the moment,
you know?
that's for
No.
sure.
Maybe
That
they
guy's
would.
not afraid.
Maybe they
Is
would.
Is there a
His shots
1%
are going
chance the
up.
Celtics swap picks with them here and take him?
it's because you're getting talked into Dante now.
Well,
It just feels like
the Celtics like
kind of want him
Dante.
on the team.
Let's just
They
run
did.
through some of the evening so far as we're waiting for the Spurs now. So Deandre Aiden goes number 1, A minus grade from Kevin O'Connor. Marvin Bagley goes 2, C plus grade from Kevin, largely because Luka Doncic is still on the board. The Mavericks select Luka Doncic by trading with the Hawks, adding another pick as a sweetener. So the Mavs get who Kevin and Bill and many of the people here think was the best player in the draft with the 3rd pick. Jaren Jackson goes to Memphis, get B. Trey Young, this is the Bucks pick for DiVincenzo. Trey Young goes to the Hawks, a D from Kevin. Bamba goes to the Magic, an A, although there was some disagreement within the room here about that. Wendell Carter Jr. to Chicago might be the consensus favorite pick here tonight in a lot of ways.
It's a very Chicago Bulls pick.
A very Chicago Bulls pick. No?
Luka's the consensus pick.
Okay, I'm
Luka.
sorry.
Yeah,
That's right.
Luka's the home run.
Quick, sad little side note to that Sixers trade. Mikal Bridges was talking about how amazing it will be to play next to Joel Embiid as he was getting traded.
This is what pisses me off.
And he has family that
Why
works there.
did
His moms,
Yeah.
it really took a long time for him to get dealt? They usually have that done, and he's like, "Yeah, I got to wear
They
the hat for
probably
a
had to
second."
wait to see if Smith fell to 16, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, yeah.
It sucks. Collin Sexton to Cleveland, B minus. We think that means LeBron's gone. Kevin Knox, Jason talked himself into it, B plus to the Knicks. Mikal Bridges was drafted by the Sixers, but traded to the Suns. That's a B. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes to the Clippers, B plus. Miles Bridges to the Hornets. That's a B plus. Jerome Robinson, B plus. Sorry, a D plus for the Clippers. Michael Porter Jr., probably the
should've
most
been an
interesting
F+.
conversation in the draft. What happened to him? He's a B for Denver. DC takes Troy Brown, A-. The Sixers wind up with Zaire Smith, A-. The Bucks take DiVincenzo, and that's a B+. All those grades are from Kevin
Can I
O'Connor.
make the case for the F+ for the Jerome Robinson pick?
Sure.
Okay, that's my case.
That's your case. Because it's like, why take him and also you have 9 yards?
Well, and also Zaire Smith falls to 16, and the Sixers are immediately ready to flip picks and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, he had
But hey,
more
you're
value
Robinson all the way.
Yeah, I kind of think Robinson has a little bit of Booker potential. I think he could be really, really good. And like with Lou
What's his
Williams, the
potential,
mentor
what?
Booker?
Yeah, I think he could be really, really good.
Booker potential?
I love Jerome
I don't
Robinson.
know, man.
That's a great take. I'm here for it.
I'm here for the
We needed more hot takes.
I'm also here for Lou Williams as a mentor.
So
Shoot it. You know, that's all you do.
shoot.
Just keep shooting.
Tate disagrees with the Jerome Robinson grade. No disrespect to Kelsey or any grades
good.
that anybody in the room would like to disagree with here.
See the board again.
I just still want to confirm on the Zaire trade that they're not going to re-add protections, because in theory you could do that if it's unprotected.
Right.
Good. Oh, you
fine.
could. Right.
You could still retroact. I mean, when it went to Phoenix, it was unprotected. That extra pick.
Okay.
If it remains unprotected, I like acquiring assets. I'm cool with that.
If it's protected,
all of a
top
sudden they're sliding-
That feels very Kawhi-ish, that getting
It
that
does.
Miami
It
pick.
feels, or maybe like they said, they're like you're trying to free up cap space. They're going to take a run at people in free
At Bron or
agency.
PG or whatever.
They'll probably get Anthony Davis. It's fine.
Right? Yeah.
You know,
Can we see Jason's imitation of
Let's do it one more time.
Michael
The highlight of the
Porter
draft.
walking in-
Please.
No, Michael Porter walking into a marijuana store in Denver.
You want the CBD, as I've heard. I've heard that.
It's
Whatever
legal
that
in
is.
Denver. You don't
I know
have to
what it
dance
is.
around it.
It's legal there.
Yeah.
Can I say
Leo
one
Harris
grade
well?
that's worse that should be better?
Yeah.
Collin Sexton, I feel like, is a great pick. And I know it's, what is it? What
B minus.
B minus? I think that's, first of all, I applaud Cleveland for making a pick for themselves. They finally stopped dating LeBron. It seems like they moved on.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're a new person now, so they, they get Collin Sexton, they get some energy in the room. I think
It's
that's a great
like
pick.
buying a convertible. Or
I'm
something.
giving it an A. I love Collin Sexton.
Okay.
See, I would go the opposite way and say it needs to be lower. I don't know what a ball-dominant point guard who has shooting concerns is in 2018. And if LeBron comes back, like, where does he fit in that whole scheme?
So what would you rather they take?
LeBron ain't coming back.
Whoa!
Knox?
I mean, Bridges makes a lot of sense as a guy that you could just throw down there. It's basically the Jay Crowder, just better, where he takes the defensive assignments of a 4 and allows him to slide on.
Good Jay.
It makes sense. I promise.
Jay Crowder
this
really
consideration
appreciates
makes sense. Jay Crowder's fine as a Jazz.
I've never heard so many backhanded compliments in 3 hours.
It's like Jay Crowder, but good.
Spurs are taking Lonnie Walker with the 18th.
Oh!
Very interesting.
I love that.
I want a reality show of every conversation he has with Pop.
Hawks are going to be. Hawks are disappointed here. They liked Lonnie Walker at 19.
They should also be disappointed because they have Trey Young instead of Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Absolutely, a lot to be sad about.
Is
it
this
anyway.
Lonnie Walker? Paolo, you wrote about him, man. How do you think he fits with the Spurs culture?
This is a really weird pick. Like, I guess he fits because it's like all these guys have interests aside from, notably, a lot of the guys like, say, Boris Diaw, for example, have had interests outside of basketball, so I guess he kind of fits along that same line.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, I did not expect the Spurs to be the ones to be like, yeah, we're going to take the conspiracy guy.
Do you think that the Spurs thought that they would have a chance to get him in the first place, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
My nickname for Lonnie Walker the Fourth is 4chan.
Hopefully,
That's actually pretty catchy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think Pop is entering the De Niro Pacino like early 2000s stage.
Yeah.
And they're just making like Ed Burns movies.
They're like remaking Heat, but it's called like Ice
it's like,
Cold.
you get excited because it's a De Niro movie, but then you realize it's going to be terrible. I think that.
I still
that
think
might
he
be
has
where
some
Pop's
tricks up
headed.
his sleeve. Kev, you look like you got
I
something.
think there are no tricks left.
I mean, Lonnie's an interesting player. I feel like he's such a theoretical guy. He's like
Theoretical guy.
everybody talks about he's a great athlete, but he's not an elite athlete. He's
All right.
She's got a great shooting form. He looks like Ray Allen when he shoots, but yet he shoots only 35% from 3.
Wow, great.
I mean, he's a good defender, not a great defender. I wonder if the Spurs can sap more out of him.
Well,
than other teams
let's
might
see
not
a little
be
bit
able to.
about Lonnie Walker here, and then we'll get your official grade. Lonnie Walker is a guard at Miami. He's 19, 6'4", great hair, 11.5 points a game. Okay, so good shooting, good athleticism, had a torn meniscus.
Oh, okay.
Never like to see that. And he settles for too many contested jumpers.
Great.
People have compared him. This is the second time people have compared somebody to Patrick McCaw tonight. And I feel like that's like...
Well, that's my go-to.
Pat McCaw?
As Danny knows, I use Pat McCaw way too often as comps.
Let's get a pro Lonnie take. We're Lonnie back here.
Okay, so Kevin's giving this a B+, and then we have pro Lonnie back here. Go for it.
Oh, never mind.
B+. Come on.
B+. Lonnie Walker.
B+.
Good athlete, not a great athlete. Good shooter, not a great shooter. Good defender, not a great defender. He's a solid player. Maybe the Spurs can get more out of him.
He's a 40-degree day.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a great day for the Spurs.
While he was injured, he did, as it was reported in Paolo's piece, he watched a bunch of tape on Klay Thompson, on Victor Oladipo, and I really do kind of think he has.
I mean, so did I.
Right. No, but he has that Victor Oladipo type of skill set, and you see it in his game.
Also, to the shots he was taking, second half of the ACC season, he wasn't playing with the other main guy on Miami, so he was kind of forced to be the guy.
They had no point guard, yeah.
Exactly.
Can we talk about the conspiracy
great.
theories?
He's got Alfred Payton's hair, so I'm out.
Can we talk about the conspiracy theories?
Blocking his line of sight.
One other thing about Lonnie, like the injury concern needs to be factored in too.
Yeah.
He tore his meniscus in 2016.
I think that's why he's here at 18. He's got the talent to be a high.
But he's also had knee injuries in high school as well. I mean, that's factored in.
Do you guys think that he's like got Spurs like that kind of like dedication to basketball and nothing but basketball kind of in him?
Spurs have a new culture now, man. It's a new day in San Antonio.
It's anything goes.
Boris Diaw went on safaris every year. Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It's better that he's
Hold on a second.
into this than
Like-
into other stuff.
Cappuccino and safaris, those are real things. Like believing that Earth is an illusion is like a whole nother level of thing.
I mean, I kind of
we got some scientists saying that it could be a problem.
Here's how I refute that. Oh, what's this? This is like the floor. We're here.
No,
all right.
I will say DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker's interesting backcourt. That could be fun. That could be a fun backcourt.
They're a good.
They complement
Define
well.
interesting.
It's a good young backcourt.
Okay, we got a trade alert somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like don't you think they took Lonnie
Oh!
Walker because the Hawks wanted him?
Trade alert. Trade.
Oh, is that the trade alert?
We don't have a trade alert,
I have
but
no
we do
idea.
have a tweet that we're going to on the monitor.
Oh, I was literally in the I'm literally in the process of searching for Kawhi Leonard gifts to send right back to him.
Good job, Kevin.
Oh, it's getting heated.
All right. So you think that Lonnie could be a trade piece?
I just think I don't see him playing on the Spurs. I don't see that as a fit at all. So if they know the Hawks want him, why not take him just like what the Hornets did and then try to make a deal?
Didn't Deandre Murray, didn't he fall because
he was
people
playing.
were worried about like off the court stuff with him?
I don't know if it's much
It was
off
the
the
jumper,
court.
I think.
Yeah, it was. I think jumper and just youth and rawness, just like a number of different factors with him.
So that'd be interesting to see if the Spurs move this pick because it does seem like.
It doesn't seem like their type of pick.
Right.
Well,
Is there anybody on the board you think they would like? Robert Williams?
I don't think I think Robert Williams would have been the anti-Spurs.
Yeah, he's
pick.
anti-Spurs
Because-
for sure.
because,
Maybe
like, he-
Pop's just like this new era of
You know-
Pop. Like he's wearing different
Yeah,
clothes.
Pop's cooking Team USA now,
but-
man. This
yeah.
is,
Lonnie's the highest upside left in the draft right now.
David Robinson's hanging out with Lonnie Walker. That's Spurs anointed, man.
With Lonnie, like we just talked about, like Danny and Charks mentioned, there's more to his game potentially. And if you're San Antonio, you think we take him into our system, maybe you get more out of him. So we're maybe that goodness becomes greatness in San Antonio.
There's nobody left. I like the pick too. I think it's a high upside.
It's a good pick.
All right, we have from Woj, we've got another pick coming in now. Atlanta has zeroed in as opposed to locked on. Kevin Huerter.
This is the blog boy pick, the draft hipster pick, Kevin Huerter.
All right, this is the blog boy pick?
Yeah, for sure.
Kevin Huerter from Maryland.
Oh, my God.
19 years old. Did I get that? How close was I on that? 6'7", excellent shooter. And that's a big part of the NBA now. High basketball IQ. But he needs to quicken his shooting form, and he takes too many risks as a passer, much like Klay Thompson. Or Alan Crabb, or Nick Stauskas, who's barely in the league.
Alan Crabb at best.
Yeah. Kevin, let me get the grade here.
B+ for Kevin Huerter, one of the fast risers after just killing it at the NBA Combine
You
last
seem
month.
fired up, dog.
Kill it. He's pumped and jacked.
Kevin Huerter's the best shooter in the draft.
Okay.
So for Atlanta, you're getting that with, guess what? Trey Young. So what are you doing? You're building your junior version of Stephen
now
Curry
here
and
we
Klay
got our
Thompson.
bootleg Warriors thing going. This is truly bootleg Warriors.
So Kevin and Trey are the
He's
bootleg.
very
Stephen
bootleg
Curry.
Splash Brothers, very much so.
I like that. That's a cool. I like the vibe there. Does anybody else have any Kevin Herter takes? How to pronounce his last name?
He's
Herter.
He's a better passer than he gets credit for as well. Like,
I mean, I didn't give any credit at all.
Why
so
are these guys not getting the credit for the things that they're doing?
We got to zero in on tape.
No, I just don't. I don't know how this happens. This is why it's a beauty of the NBA draft. Honestly, like I've watched him play at Maryland for quite some time. I would say Rashad Suleiman looked better than him. I hope he's good. I want him to be good, but I'm very skeptical. But I do love the Trey Young pick.
Well, why would you be skeptical of a team that traded Luka Doncic?
At the very least,
that is hard, man.
Werder and Trey Young will be fun to watch. Let's bomb
And
threes.
Atlanta
Is Justin Jackson off Maryland? Is he just? I mean, like Justin Jackson was better than
Yeah, he
Werder
was,
on Maryland.
but he got hurt though.
I know, but I'm just saying. Like, I don't understand how he's the 19th pick.
So
It's the jumper, man.
So the Timberwolves are coming up next.
Kate doesn't have a lot of faith in Jamie Gertz as Hawks GM.
As Hawks GM, it's Travis Shanks.
When is the
right?
when is the one time
Varys.
when is the one time that the Hawks have been smarter than any other team in the
John
draft?
Collins.
The 5 minutes that Bud had those 4 guys all firing on
Yeah,
all
they won
cylinders.
60 games like 3 years ago.
The 2014 team.
Then he
That was
traded
with
for
the
what's his
4
name?
years ago.
The Knicks guy.
That's it. So the
To confirm-
Timberwolves are on the clock now. The Hawks are going to pick my guy Kevin.
And we should say the Spurs stole Lonnie from them, so they obviously were going to take
Yes,
Lonnie.
yeah,
so
exactly.
this isn't their
It's a
number one
hijacking.
guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They did want Lonnie Walker at 19th
So
pick.
they had to pivot and take Kevin.
And they were trying to trade up to get Lonnie Walker as
yeah,
well. So
when I went
top-
to interview Lonnie, the Hawks were the team there watching him.
Okay.
He was a perfect fit. in
Interesting.
there.
This guy seems super slow.
Kevin Werder is a perfect fit with the Spurs.
We're watching Bill watch tape
get
in real
some.
time.
Here's our first American white guy, I think. I guess Dante.
Dante doesn't count.
Italian.
That's right. We got
Guy
2.
run right now.
It's this
It's a
guy?
redhead run.
I saw this guy.
It's a redhead run.
Down the street at Starbucks?
No, like on the ACC
Shots
tournament.
is
I was
compared
like,
to
who is
Mike
this
Miller.
guy?
It's so easy.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
what white
We
guy can
always do
throw
it
in
like
here?
this.
Of course they're giving him the Mike Miller comp.
Mike Miller, Hall of Fame locker room guy,
Mike Miller's
as we all
also
know.
nasty at basketball, which Kevin Werder.
T-Wolves on the clock now.
Mike Miller's home like,
Who's your
what the fuck?
As far as your board is going,
I played for 15 years.
who's the best pick available for the T-Wolves here?
my top 5 guys left right now: Robert Williams, big man from Texas A&M; Elie Okobo, point guard; D'Anthony Melton, kind of like doesn't have a position; Josh Okogie, Jacob Evans. I know Minnesota wanted DiVincenzo here, so maybe you look for a different wing: an Okogie, an Evans, and even a Kyrie Thomas. Someone could possibly move
I
up
have a
their
question.
board. Yeah.
Wasn't Grayson Allen better in college than the Maryland kid that
Oh
just
my
got
God!
taken?
Yes.
He was like-
Josh Okogie was so much better than him, and he's in Atlanta, so I don't understand
Everyone
how.
overthought this Grayson
Like
Allen
I don't
thing.
understand
Like,
how you have
it's
Georgia
ridiculous.
Tech in Atlanta where you can go to and watch all these games.
Wait a
and you
second.
take
Are
that-
you
here-
starting
I'm
to
here
see
for
the
the
pro
slander.
Grayson train now? Is this you're throwing coal in the pro Grayson train?
I'm not starting.
So that when
Chris Ryan.
Grayson arrives in Boston,
There's
he'll be
no
like,
starting.
I always wanted Grayson.
First of all, I bought my ticket a couple weeks ago. I've had it for a while. I'm ready for him.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
He's going to try to take Jason Tatum's starting spot.
He's gonna be
in
great.
His mind.
I mean, if they're following the Warriors model, getting someone that trips someone is definitely.
I was looking
Yes.
at like,
Yes.
what do I want a Boston team
He only
to do
tripped
that will
somebody
piss
3
off John
times.
Gonzalez? And Grayson Allen is our
Pretty
ticket.
much
Grayson
anything.
Allen
Pretty
falls-
much anything.
Pretty much anything. but
Anything you
especially
guys
Grayson
do.
Allen.
Grayson Allen falling into Joel Embiid's knees.
Yes.
Uh,
It's inevitable.
Before Christmas.
Yes.
is
Yeah.
off the board.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
off the
And he got
board.
pushed by Marcus Smart.
It's like Danny Ainge is looking into a mirror.
Don't underestimate the Duke ties with the Celtics either. Steve Pagliuca, number 2 owner, Duke.
Yep.
Son, walk on the Duke team, played with Grayson Allen.
Yep.
And Danny has a thing for players like him.
Yes.
Competitive
Terry
guys.
Rozier,
Let's not.
Marcus
We don't have to
Smart.
wait an epic poem about Grayson Allen. He's coming in at like 8 picks. We got it.
It's ridiculous that Grayson Allen didn't go ahead of
Don't
that freaking
jinx it.
Maryland
He might
guy.
get picked before
That's
the
ludicrous,
Celtics.
though.
What if the Sixers still have 26? They could steal him right from out from under.
Duke's
you.
whole-
that'd be great.
Duke was a high caliber ACC team. Their whole offense revolved around Grayson Allen.
It's not ridiculous. though. Herter is 19.8 years old. Grayson Allen's 22.7. 3-year difference. That's a big difference. Age is a big
Did you just throw
factor.
decimals at me?
I know you like
What the hell was
decimals.
that?
I was trying to manipulate your opinion
Justin,
there.
let's talk a little bit about Minnesota, who started the season off on such a positive note. They were at one point up to 3rd in the Western Conference.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler gets hurt. They kind of barely make it into the playoffs. And then after they lose in the first round of the playoffs, there's some grumbling about Towns not being happy. I don't think that what they do right here is going to define it, but where do you see this franchise next season? Like, what do they have to do to fix things?
Somehow they're already in trouble and already capped out.
Yeah.
Because you have Towns who needs a new max contract. You have Butler who can get an extension this summer. All of a sudden, they're in a dire situation where, are we sure they're going to make the playoffs next year? And they need a lot around these guys. I think you need shooting. You need Wiggins to actually play basketball well.
And they've already paid Wiggins. Yeah.
They've already paid Wiggins.
And Teague they overpaid Teague when they had Rubio for what, $7 million left?
Yeah, and look at Rubio shooting threes with Utah.
Yeah, that's always a bad thing when a guy leaves your team and immediately gets exponentially better.
And then it says something that Crawford wanted to get out of there too.
Yeah, like
so,
he wanted to be shot out of a cannon.
All I know is Crawford wanted to get out of Minnesota.
Yeah, I think he opted out.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
Whoever they draft, be ready to play 40 minutes.
That's a great point.
I don't know if they draft someone to back up Jimmy and Wiggins, play like 3 minutes.
That's true. The other side of it.
He's a legend, man.
He looks exactly the same. He hasn't aged 1 minute.
Who's making this pick? Is this Tibbs? Is this one of the last few coach GMs?
This could be Tibbs' farewell draft.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
I do wonder if maybe
they're getting Josh Okogie.
But we knew
Oh, that's a
he
great
wasn't.
point.
I like that.
I like that.
Is that official?
Who are they getting?
From Shams. Timberwolves are getting Josh Okogie.
Oh, great.
Tech.
Okay.
Georgia Tech.
Let's run Josh Okogie because I was pretty psyched about this guy. I was hoping he was going to fall to 26.
Is he better than Kevin Harder?
Yes.
Yeah,
By a long shot.
barely.
Yeah, he is. Very well.
So we can run Josh Okogie here. Georgia Tech guard, 19 years old, 6'4", 18 points a game, and 2.5 assists, 6.3 rebounds. Strong defender, strong help defender, especially. He's an intelligent off-ball cutter. Unfortunately, lacks some advanced handles. Reminds some folks of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Robert Covington, Jamal Franklin.
Yeah.
Let's get that Kevin O'Connor.
Where'd that come from? Who's Jamal Franklin?
B plus
for Josh Okogie.
B plus. Okogie was somebody who I think a lot of people felt very warmly about. Kev, why the B plus?
I love Okogie. I think Okogie is somebody who.
Wow.
He's got a baseline to be a 3-and-D guy. He can shoot spot up threes. He can defend multiple positions. He's big. He's strong. He looks like he has a Jay Crowder type of body. And there's a little bit of ball handling ability there too. There could be untapped potential with him, but if there's not, you better hope that he gets that ball handling out. You don't want him jacking up some dumb shots early in the clock, which he has a silly habit of doing sometimes.
So he's never going to play, essentially.
Tibbs notably loves young guys.
We all know Tom Thibodeau loves rookies more than anybody
You think
else.
Josh Okogie's damn it.
He's never been that cold in his life.
I bet his agent is damn it. That's for sure.
He's either never going to play.
Because he's not going to play enough to warrant that second team.
Well, he's either never going to play or play 41 minutes a game.
But how much Fortnite will he play with Karl Anthony Towns?
A lot.
Hopefully none.
He's a super, but I think he fell a little bit because he had some off the court stuff at the beginning of the year that they had to deal with. So
okay.
I mean, he's like a super
what?
talent.
What was it?
Yeah, help it.
That's part of the scandal, right?
Yeah, it's
part of the shoe thing.
Kastner.
The whole thing.
Oh, the recruiting
stuff.
Yeah.
Funny thing is with Okogie is in terms of that type of off-court factor. I heard he is one of the hardest workers ever since high school.
That's what I'm saying. If you're the Hawks and you're in Atlanta and you know that, I don't understand how you don't pick him.
Yeah. On the flip
with
side,
Herter the shooter.
Yeah.
On the flip side, on a positive note for the rest of us, we get to hear Tibbs horse yelling, "Okogie!
Okogie! Arse!"
He's like, I'm so tired playing defense.
Oh, cool.
This is so sad.
Still stunned by that one.
I don't like this. I've decided I kind of don't like this.
Sixers Twitter not exactly happy. I think Jim Gardner out on it.
Jim Gardner,
legendary
local
Philadelphia
news guy.
newsman. Jim Gardner,
not even
still
the sports
alive,
guy,
not
just
thrilled
anchor.
about it.
I mean, when they locals.
When they sign LeBron,
it's cruel when you do that.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah.
Just don't even draft him.
The Ringer murdered the Sixers. My column.
Yeah.
I think the NBA needs to modernize.
Embiid is still tweeting. Let's see what he's got to say here. Oh, it's the Aiden thing. I play defense. Hey, can I get a little bit of Francesa on Knox in New York?
This guy Knox, I don't even know about him. He's 18 years old. They used to go to college for 4 years, and now they don't go to college for 4 years. How can you even have a guy 18 years old and expect him to play? I haven't actually watched the Knicks in 15 years since Patrick Ewing.
John Starks went to college.
John Starks went to college. Patrick Ewing went to college. Charles Oakley went to college.
They booed him. He looked like he was going to cry. He looked like he was going to cry.
We need tougher guys than that.
All right, so we're getting through the Okogie official stuff, and the Jazz are on the clock.
Okay,
I take it that they never traded for Jaren Jackson?
Woj says the Utah Jazz have no plans to pass on Grayson Allen with the 21st pick.
So
you jinxed it!
Yes.
No, he's been selfie, yeah.
You had one job!
Is that true?
I love how he's wording these.
No, have no
Technically
plans
have no
to.
plans.
What is no plans? What does that even mean?
It's weird,
So
passive,
not doing that.
weird passive construction.
Passive aggressive to his own company.
I know.
Yeah, Woj not.
I'd love to be in that
Woj
post-show
needs to
meeting.
come out like his next like solo spotlight and be like, yeah,
So Utah's going to steal Bill's large adult son from him.
No, I'm out on Grayson Allen.
Almost 23 years
He
old.
choked in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Doesn't have championship level mental
He sucked in the
toughness.
tournament.
He was really bad.
He doesn't have that.
Yeah,
He doesn't.
That guy's a loser.
I want to get Bill's grades at the end of this and all these players.
Bill,
please.
you're
Yeah.
going to do Bill's
Mark
reaction
Stein,
grades?
Mark Stein gets an A+ for driving Woj to just deliberately defy Adam Silver. Incredible. Like they told them, do not tip picks. And Woj is doing all this like secret, furtive, crazy shit.
Awesome.
Because he's mad Mark Stein tweeted the Dallas
The
trade.
one Dallas pick. And this
great.
has to be tacitly okayed by some of these teams to be like, go ahead and say it at some point.
Well, it's the league that doesn't want to do it, not the teams. Teams don't care.
Well, we're all
worried-
still enjoying
I'm worried
ourselves.
about the Woj-Stein feud if it escalates, because it's always like the periphery people that get murdered when it, like in hip hop.
Right.
You don't say. Like I'm a periphery person.
For
That was great.
Grayson going to Utah, is that a little on the nose?
Oh yeah.
Quinn Snyder would be so excited if that happened. That'd be
Yeah.
his dream.
It's on brand.
It is on brand. But is there anybody, would you rather have Aaron Holiday than Grayson Allen?
I'm not a big Aaron Holiday fan.
No?
What about you, Tate? What do you think about Aaron
Grayson
Holiday?
I can't
Allen,
believe
this
he's
is
got
the
a
right
first round
spot.
grade.
I mean,
It's the right spot.
Like Holiday's like he's 6'1", he can defend a little bit for his size. He's gritty and he can score.
I mean, let's be honest.
but-
Jalen Hands looked better than him at UCLA last year.
I know, it's
The
weird.
third brother is never good. That's the rule, actually, in the NBA.
Marshall Plumlee, for
In
example.
Hollywood.
The third brother is
Hemsworth?
never good.
Yeah. Westworld Hemsworth?
Yeah.
I mean, I got Holiday 23rd on my board, and sometimes I'm like, that seems way too high for him.
Yeah, I have him in the 30s somewhere.
It seems like people just put him in the first round because they're like, "Oh, I know the Holiday family."
Right, yeah.
I don't know anyone else at this
Good
point.
family.
He
Successful
looks like
basketball family.
He's like Drew, but a little bit smaller.
a lot bit smaller.
Yeah. And not as skilled.
He used to hang out in the Pelicans locker room, though. Seems like a nice
Aaron
guy.
Holiday did?
Do Tate, will Grayson Allen and Donovan Mitchell be friends,
Yes.
frenemies, or just
No, they'll
not
get along.
associate?
I think Mitchell seems like he gets along with pretty much anyone.
The Greenwich
who
Country
works
Day
hard.
background?
Yeah. So like Grayson will go there and work hard.
Which by
Grayson
the-
loves basketball. That's why I think Boston's perfect because Steven's gonna love him.
Maybe the Celtics trade up for him.
I love, by the way,
Then you'd be back. I love this kid
We
again.
can edit the live telecast.
Yeah, we can trade. They
He's
can
great.
trade next year's Memphis first rounder for him.
The
Yeah, this draft really dropped off.
It really did.
All right, so
the
David
Purple
Aldridge has
Platter
confirmed
problem.
that Grayson's going to Utah. So let's take a
good.
look at the Grayson. That's Grayson Allen right there, Nuts Date. Let's take a look at the Grayson Allen card from our NBA draft guide. Definitely recommend you go check that out throughout the night. Grayson Allen is 22. He's 6'4". He averaged 15 points a game at Duke, 4 assists per game. I don't even need to see it. I would say that he has some competitive streak issues.
Yes.
Sometimes he lets the game get away from him. But he is also a dead-eye spot-up shooter. He reminds folks of Danny Ainge, Eric Gordon, and O.J. Mayo.
O.J. Mayo
Those are
sighting.
just three guys.
I think it might have been expired OJ Mayo.
Yeah.
On the draft guide.
That's right.
Gets a B-
B-.
from Utah Jazz. I like Grayson Allen. I think some of the knocks on him with him tripping players. Who cares? He's a competitor.
He's a-
really,
A plus on Kevin's OJ
Who cares?
expired.
really.
Violence.
That dude can stroke threes, and he's a pretty good athlete on the offensive end of the floor. I think he's like a Eric Gordon light type of player potentially in
Yeah.
the best case scenario. He can't defend. That's going to be a problem for him.
He only-
But look, Rudy Gobert is protecting the rim for Utah.
Yeah.
Look what happens when you have a elite rim protector like a
like that
Rudy
point.
Gobert or a Mo Bamba potentially.
He only tried to trip trip 3 people? Is that it?
You'd be like injured,
Four?
right?
The over-under is probably
It's
3.5.
only 4, so like,
Yeah, 5th time you're out.
yeah, 5th time I'll believe it's
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah.
4 is like, it could happen to anybody.
Right. I trip Jason all the time.
Yeah.
It's all situational.
What were you
Let's
gonna
go
ask?
back to less than 12 months ago.
Okay.
Gordon Hayward does the Players Tribune thing, breaks the hearts of Utah, and in due time, Donovan Mitchell turns into the next Dwayne Wade. They get Ricky Rubio, who becomes the
Is this
eligible
Danny
bachelor
Ainge's
in
gift to
history.
Utah, you're saying?
No, and then Grayson Allen, like Utah's back.
Yeah.
They got the white guy to replace Hayward. They got the heartthrob to replace Hayward.
They got
and
Donovan
Rubio.
Mitchell going around saying,
And
like, if
Donovan
you want to
Mitchell, the
win
star.
titles, you should come to Utah.
Yeah, they're back.
Rick
This is
Rubio.
what a rehabilitation for them.
And Jay Crowder, too. Actual Jay Crowder.
And actual Jay Crowder, who's, by the way, only 26 years old.
I think the draft is starting to sort of level out a little bit. So I want to get some final thoughts on this round. And Bill obviously will have his thoughts. But did you have a Boston?
No, we're not leaving until the Celtics pick. You guys
Okay.
know.
So we're not leaving until the Celtics pick. So we'll be
I
here
don't
for a
care.
little while longer.
I don't T-Hub over there. I know she wants to wrap this up, but it's not happening. Stephanie, you're a Celtics
Sports Hub's
fan.
been
You
looking
should
at the
wanna keep
food
this.
for like an hour.
I'm having fun.
Come on.
It's like a while.
20, is it a while?
I'm ready to
All right,
go
fine.
for
Wrap it
second
up.
But no, let's rock.
Whatever.
Oh,
Do you want to keep
Whatever.
going?
We can rock.
I'm ready to keep going.
Let's rock.
Sure.
I'm worried about Deandre Ayton's motor and Stephanie's motor.
Chandler Hutchinson was promised by the Bulls. We already knew that, and he's officially the pick.
So Chandler Hutchinson.
That feels like a 2K fake name.
Oh wait, I want to see Grayson
Yeah,
talk
we got to
here.
hear him talk.
He seems happy. From Duke to Utah, man.
It's an easy transition.
Let's
It's
fit
an
in
easy
with-
transition.
Yeah.
What do we think about this tie being 5 feet wide?
Was he talking about not coming?
Could be better than that.
Yeah. Oh, Donovan!
This is great.
Look at that.
It's a nice pick.
Where's Joe Ingles?
Joe Ingles is in Australia. Like,
Joe is going to mentor
boxing kangaroos right
I don't
now.
like
Man,
it. Stole his
gonna be
moment.
great.
Can I just make? Here's a counter argument. That's Grayson Allen's moment. You don't have to jump in the frame there, right?
Yeah.
Like Donovan is really, really.
Let me just say this:
He's pretty thirsty.
Donovan has been doing the most.
Yes.
For like a month now.
This dude is on ESPN getting interviewed about being in the draft, and Donovan's
he
like,
just
I'm in the
swagger
frame.
jacked his
like it.
moment.
That was the
You
greatest
like
thing
it?
I've ever. That was
I'm out.
awesome.
Yeah.
Making fake Woj trades on the big board.
I know.
there.
Chill out, man.
And on the JJ Redick podcast, of course.
And on JJ, yeah.
Yeah, Mitchell was at the finals just walking around doing media one of those games.
What is he doing?
He's making his run, man. He's going to be the Dwayne Wade of this decade.
I think he's trying to let everyone know that Utah's his team too.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely doing that.
Yeah. Like right now, he's like, "Welcome to my team."
Yeah.
Like he tried to convince Jaren Jackson he got traded to his team. Like
Yeah.
he's all
He's
in.
4
buying
years
a
from
lot
now, he goes to
of
Charlotte.
sophomore
Yes,
slump insurance
please.
right now because
Yeah.
he's like the franchise player, so nobody can question him.
When people realize he's going to shoot 40% from the floor like his entire career, then they'll take notice.
What a moment.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk Chandler.
So
so
we have a
there's no-
T-shirt sale. Sorry, well, I do a T-shirt sale.
Kevin wants to talk Chandler Hutchinson.
Oh, you ready to go, Hutchinson? All right,
we'll talk merch
First, let's
first.
talk about this
Merch.
T-shirt.
We've
It's
got
I
to-
survived the
Yeah, we have the
2018
commercial.
draft. You can get it at the Ringer merch shop, theringer.com/shop. We have not yet survived the draft, so we can't wear this shirt. So please go to theringer.com/shop to cop that shirt. The fit is really cool, right? Kevin, we're going to talk about Chandler Hutchinson.
Yes.
Chandler Hutchinson?
Chandler Hutchinson.
Chandler
Are
Hutchinson.
you pumped and jacked to talk about Chandler Hutchinson?
Chandler Hutchinson is going to go to the Chicago Bulls.
Pumped and jacked to give my grade.
Stephanie, if I want to put a photo on the TV,
Chandler
card, who do I
Hutchinson
send
went
it
to Boise State and scored 20 points a game. He's 22 years old, 7.7 rebounds per game, good spot up shooter, explosive straight line driver.
Oh, good.
So just cut off the straight lines and you basically neg this guy. Shades of Jared Dudley, Justin Anderson, and Ryan Gomes. And let's see what Kevin O'Connor's Hutchinson grade is.
F+. Because I gotta make up for not giving the F+ for the Wendell Carter pick.
So are you being serious this time?
Yeah, I mean, it's not an F+ in reality. It's probably more like a C.
come on.
Why did you give the grade?
I mean, the grade on the record is an F+. The grade on the record is an F+.
Sharks and danger.
He's fine.
I'm starting to worry about these grades. Where's the
Where's
the integrity?
I mean, look,
stick on your take.
I mean, look, man. Chandler Hutchinson is fine. He carried a heavy scoring load for Boise State last year, as you're seeing on the screen right now. The thing with him is like shooting. Is he a C level shooter, or what is he going to do?
Or is he an F+ level shooter?
I will say this: Hutchinson looks like a really good player when you watch him.
But
he pops off the screen.
But he doesn't always play.
Yeah, he's not consistent. But
He's playing for Boise. What else is going to pop off the screen?
All right, so
more
Chandler
skilled,
Hutchinson gets an F+.
Yes, that's the grade on the record.
All right, F+. A little bit of disagreement from the back. There, he's being compared to Kuzma here. Bill, I understand that you sent us a photo you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Jeff Chow sent me this.
That's amazing.
It's my dad on the left and Roger Sherman of the Ringer on
This
the right.
is like the Looper sequel we did not know we needed.
What does this mean for Roger's career?
It's all good things.
Roger Sherman is doing an Instagram story on the Ringer's Instagram. It's @Ringer on Instagram. Shout out to Ruby, who's here doing social with us tonight. And Roger's been doing Instagrams from Barclays all night, and apparently is also Bill's father. That's cool.
Or maybe my son.
Okay.
Can't be ruled out. The ages work.
You have had some off-court issues.
Can we just have
Yeah, I
them
had some
have a-
off-court issues in
Can
college.
they just have a podcast like based on nothing? Based on
Father
just the
and son.
fact that they look exactly like each other?
I could do that.
Yeah.
So the Pacers are on the clock. Pacers
Devastated they didn't
Already
get Grayson
take-
Allen. The
They
Pacers.
already-
They're devastated.
Pacers have been.
Who's the best
All right,
white
let's
guy
see.
on
The
the board,
Pacers
Kevin?
pick is already
Yeah, that's white guy.
leaked onto the internet. What is it?
Aaron Holiday.
Aaron Holiday.
Okay.
Okay, so the Pacers are picking Aaron Holiday at 23. Let's go to
They're
Aaron
focused
Holiday's
on-
card here.
Woj is
now used.
Aaron
for the
Holiday
next
out of
one.
UCLA, 21 years old,
next
6
one's a
feet
good
tall.
one.
Can we get all the verbs that he used?
20
using
points per game,
laser.
5.8
Lasered in?
assists per game,
Lasered on.
good
A laser
shooter,
guy.
good finisher, good passer, struggles against defensive pressure. Welcome to the NBA. And he has shades of TJ Ford, a personal favorite, Brandon Knight, and Trey Burke. Kev,
Ford.
let's get that grade.
Holiday?
Shouts to TJ Ford and suffering from
C+.
stenosis.
C+. Yeah. So Aaron Holiday, you were skeptical
Is this
about.
the real grade or is this?
It's the real grade.
These guys were
Look,
skeptical about it.
It's just trolling
You're
bullshit.
an Aaron.
But
You love Aaron.
He's a Holiday.
Yeah, I gotta like it.
Holiday, he can play make, he can shoot a little bit, he plays hard on defense. The problem is he's super, super small. And as we saw in the playoffs this year, small point guards are just getting picked on relentlessly with today's switching schemes. There's no hiding.
And they are going to be in the
today's league.
playoffs. So even though Miles Turner is now basically looks like Thor, they have to compensate for Aaron Holiday getting
Why not Robert Williams there? He seems like the only guy left with upside.
So Robert Williams, I think he's falling because some bad intel with him. Maybe he.
What does that mean?
It's put it this way. So I saw Robert Williams face Michigan in the Sweet 16, and Robert Williams came out jumping up and down, crazy hype, ready to go. 5 minutes into the game, when they're still only down like 10. Granted, it was a horrific start. Down in the dumps, like his attitude was just drained. And he's the type of guy you need to turn him on every day, every practice.
That sounds like a little too much
to get him going.
I would say he's also suspended twice this year.
Yeah, he's been suspended twice for some off-court stuff. It's off-court stuff.
What was the off-court stuff? Nothing
Probably
great?
just skip it, just call it off-court stuff.
I don't believe we know.
Just like on this team, what's it called?
He was getting suspended for breaking team rules. I think.
Whatever it was.
They
and
keep that private, but who knows?
Yeah, with Williams, it's the type of thing where he's super talented.
Well, yeah, let's put it out there. He's very, very talented.
Yeah, he would have been a lottery pick.
We're
last
in the range
year.
where you take talented
Yeah, he's
dudes
a
and
very
keep your
talented
fingers
player.
crossed.
So we got the Blazers, the Lakers, the Sixers, the
I would
Celtics.
love Robinson at 25. He'd be incredible with LA.
Yeah, he
if
would.
they get as a 5 for them, that would be.
But are you taking him over any of those wings though? Like we've talked about.
I think Williams,
the
yeah,
value
25. Yeah, I think I would take.
We
him.
have another Woj description of a pick, which is not really a pick. A laser on Anthony Simons.
High upside
laser?
pick.
A laser on.
What does that mean? They're people don't even use lasers.
So Portland promised Anthony Simons for this pick.
Okay.
So this was locked in for them. There was some noise.
This is the IMG kid?
IMG Academy guy who changed classes to enter this year's class.
So he's young.
He's 19 years old. He's not one of the youngest guys in the draft, but he's certainly one of the rawest players
What's
in
up
the
with
draft.
promising guys at 24?
I think if with someone like Simons, there was a lot of interest with him with some people ahead of him.
They say
With
shut him
Minnesota,
down.
Minnesota,
That's what
San
you
Antonio, a couple teams were trying to go for him late in the process.
Okay.
So with Portland, it worked out with that promise. Shut it down, got your guy, and it'll be interesting to see what this means for the Damian Lillard,
CJ McCollum partnership.
backcourt, because if you're moving on from one of those guys,
Let's be
you
honest.
have a
That
younger
backcourt
guy.
is not a backcourt next year.
Let's see, B plus.
I think that's
B plus.
done.
B plus.
They're
B
one
plus
of
for
the- one of
Anthony
those guys-
Simons. Let's see. Like, I'd be curious to open it up to the floor here. Portland had such a great season, then got rocked in the playoffs.
Rocked.
And I think that we're probably all a little bit like, we've seen CJ and Dame. We've seen what they can do in the postseason. There's a lot of affection for Portland as a franchise and a fan base, but like, what do you do going forward?
Trade.
It's tough because our guy blow it up over here in the middle, Kevin O'Connor, has been talking about getting rid of one of the two guys in the backcourt. I think like we saw them have a really good season, a better season than a lot of people anticipated, but I wonder what their ceiling is. Maybe we already saw it in the past playoffs. I personally would, if I'm Neil O'Shea, I'd have a very hard time unplugging one of those two guards. They're both really good. How do you decide to divorce yourself from those guys?
You got to do it if you have championship aspirations. If you don't have championship aspirations, then stay.
But
if
isn't
you-
the problem like Al-Farouq Aminu and Evan Turner? It's not those two guys.
I mean, but that's also part of the decisions,
Yeah.
right, Justin?
Yeah, and if you don't want to go the blow it up route, you are developing a young core to augment some of these other guys. You have Zach Collins, and now you have Simmons.
They do like Zach.
But Simons,
by the way,
that's 2 years away.
I know, but like 2 years from away, those contracts come off the books, and all of a sudden you have the next class, and then you add a free agent.
And by the way, it wouldn't be blowing it up to trade CJ McCollum. It'd be just retooling. That's all.
Portland's always had like this savior complex. Like ever since I've like been watching basketball, it's like whether it's Brandon Roy, whether it's LaMarcus Aldridge, they have to seem like they seemingly always are in need of a franchise face, and then that kind of becomes complicated if that franchise face has a ceiling.
Make your best CJ McCollum offer right now.
CJ, come work for the Ringer.
No, for the Knicks.
Kevin Knox is going to be there, right?
I will trade you. I would trade Kevin Knox, Ron Baker, and Emmanuel Mudiay for CJ McCollum.
A lot of upside with Baker.
I'm hanging up if I'm Portland.
Hanging up blocking the number 2, maybe.
Come on. Ron Baker, listen, great children's book author.
Knicks fan,
Human.
right?
Right, a human being. And don't human beings have value?
Yeah.
Innate value as people?
You can't put
Not
a grade
under
on
this
humanity.
Yeah, can we?
Portland's on the clock, 5 minutes to go.
That was one of the worst
Oh, they
ball
already
fakes
took
I've
Anthony
ever
Simons,
seen.
right? So like
Portland's
we know that
got
they're going to take.
major tax shit going on though.
They've got what stuff?
They have to chop like
luxury
$20 million off their
Yeah.
salary. Basically.
Right now, they have 110.5 in guaranteed salary, but depending on what else happens, it could be up to 125.
but they paid the tax this year, I
yes.
think, right?
Shouts to my dude Evan Turner.
It would be repeater.
Shout out to Evan Turner.
Mid-range is the future.
Shout out to Neil O'Shea, who the
Myers
media
Leonard.
just loves.
Shout out to Myers Leonard.
Meanwhile, he put them in salary cap hell.
Yeah. Sharks was comparing him today to Darren Collison, so this is appropriate.
Anthony?
That he's going
Anthony?
to the Pacers.
No,
No,
Holiday.
Aaron Holiday.
A slower Collison.
We have a funny video here of Grayson.
Oh my God, Shire's there.
Oh man! Shire from Duke.
Yeah, right there. With the glasses.
What's his deal now?
He's the top assistant at Duke.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he moved up.
So we got the Lakers on the clock.
So
now.
the Lakers are on the clock.
Yeah.
Lakers have been doing a good job keeping their name in the press this last week.
Yeah, they've been doing good.
Today,
Ramon
it was
speed dial.
reported on ESPN that they had inquired about Kawhi Leonard, and they
Yeah, I
were,
wonder where
How
Ramona got
shocking.
that from.
they were rebuffed.
Shocking.
They were rebuffed. There was also some tampering talk about they got like an internal memo or whatever. To,
They've never tampered.
You know what I was told after they came out? Every team gets that memo every year.
okay.
Which is interesting.
So we're just blowing it up, right?
Yep.
Well,
Like everyone is.
I
but
mean-
just because it's the Lakers, everyone's.
Just because it's the Lakers and they've been
And
talked to
Magic
twice
tweets
this
about
year
it.
for
well,
tampering.
I mean, considering their ways, I think it's worth talking about at
Yeah.
least.
Magic can do like that unfrozen caveman owner move where it's like, I didn't understand your tampering laws.
If I want,
I just ran into him.
if I want to talk to Giannis on the phone,
Giannis called me for some business.
Can I
advice.
not just
did
call him?
realize your rules.
Should we be intimidated by the Lakers? Why are people being like, oh, I don't want to, the Lakers want Kawhi, so I guess we have to trade him there. I don't understand some of this stuff.
I am a believer in the LeBron 2-year plan with the Lakers if he goes there. That it's not about winning the 2019 title. It's what is my team in 2019-20 that season? You don't have to do it all at once, because I think that was the mistake they probably made in 15 was they tried to build the champion immediately instead of being a little patient about it. And I think, the cap's only going to go up. Dang's contract becomes expiring a year from now. And it just makes more sense to kind of play it out.
And then Kevin Durant's a free agent.
And that's why LeBron could theoretically go there this summer, and then next summer you could still have an extra cap.
He brings
spot.
Paul George. They still have Ingram. They have Lonzo. They're fun. They're competitive. They're a contender because he's there, but they're not really going to win the title.
You really think that LeBron James is going to play with Lonzo Ball?
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, I think he takes him under his wing.
He
played with J.R. Smith.
He's going to have to move Daddy Ball's wing out of the way in order to take him under his wing.
No, that Lonzo, Daddy Ball would be sent packing somewhere.
He's gonna wait.
He would be in an
He's in Cleveland. They won't let him fly back.
Yeah.
If he's gonna wait anyway, why wouldn't he just stay in Cleveland and then go the following?
Did you see the finals?
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, they made the finals. The Lakers.
Well, not
are gonna
next
come
year,
close.
though.
I don't think he will ever play another basketball game with J.R. Smith. That's one of the things.
Wow.
I'm
That's
most
his
confident
fault.
about.
That's his guy.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But now I think we are where we are, and he's not suiting up with J.R. Smith again.
And he already got JR's money, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
J.R. Smith.
There's been also reports this week that Paul George is seriously entertaining signing a 1-and-1 with Oklahoma City for 30.
Yeah.
Which I don't even actually understand how they can afford if Carmelo opts back in.
Well, they have his bird rights.
Oh, okay.
Bird rights, yeah.
Does he have a rod in his leg?
Paul George?
Yeah.
Are you asking for Gordon Hayward?
No. Gordon Hayward doesn't have anything in his leg.
Oh, cool.
Paul George, doesn't he have a metal rod in his leg?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. From the injury of the
So he's going to do a 1-and-1 and gamble on himself? That doesn't make sense to me.
Paul
this
George
is his one
probably
chance to
makes
cash
that
in.
much in sneakers, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You would know. You're the sneaker expert.
There is a rod in his leg.
There's a rod in his leg. He can't roll the dice on a 1-and-1, I don't think.
I don't think Nike.
I've heard the
let him.
rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he has to sell PG1s, PG2s.
He needs to go to LA. I think the LA thing with him has been done for a year, but what do I know?
So this is just Sam Presti leaking this?
Yeah,
To
it
be
sounds. I bet. Yeah.
How do you think the
Yeah.
NBA would feel about, like, let's say Paul George does sign with the Lakers after fining the Lakers for tampering? Like, how does the league feel about that if it just goes and happens?
They're so excited that the ratings in LA are back.
But doesn't it also set a precedent where, like, you know what? Pay the fine, sign the player.
Well,
Tampering
of
doesn't
course.
matter.
It's already been set.
Yeah, it's already
But yeah, that was like, I mean, I was just listening to Bobby Marks the other day on a podcast talking about like the Bosch Wade LeBron stuff sounded like that was like if it's
It was
player.
in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't stop players from going
Look,
where they want.
Yeah,
the
you can't do
Lakers
it.
are cheaters. Kobe didn't deserve his Oscar, and Kobe wasn't as good as Jerry West,
You were
or
asking,
Dwayne Wade, or any of these
you
people.
were asking for comments about the team on your hoodie right now.
I don't know. I think that basketball would probably be pretty friggin' entertaining if the Lakers were all of a sudden a powerhouse.
Yeah.
They just need to be in the mix. They don't have to necessarily contend for the title.
What's going to happen is that, like, Lakers are going to sign all these guys, and they're going to have their super team, and then another team's going to be like, you know what? They can tamper, we can tamper, and they're the team that's going to get
They're all tampering now. Everybody's tampering.
I know.
10 years of
It's all
tampering.
tampering.
What is tampering even?
Miami tampering?
You can't stop players from like using their cell phones.
Every team tampers.
You knew who the ball boy in the 08 Olympic team was, right?
No.
Miami guy, right?
It was
Oh, yeah,
Eric
the
son.
the son of Aaron
Freaking ball boy on that team.
Yeah.
All those dudes hung out together in, where was it, Greece?
Yeah,
Wait, how old was he as a ball boy?
Yeah,
He was
USA
like
basketball is
20.
the
And
breeding
like now,
ground.
That's
now
where
they,
tampering
now they
That's
play
the
at
breeding
16
That's
together.
when the
Yeah,
decision
they're-
was
I
hatched.
mean,
They've been tapering since they were viewers.
Yeah.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
If Kawhi demands a trade out of San Antonio, and Pop then in turn was like, no more Team USA for you, or ever Team USA for you, does it change the NBA players' relationship to play in the Olympics?
No.
Okay. You think that everybody will still be down to play even if...
I don't know how cool the Team USA thing is anymore. I think it kind of had its moment in 08 and 12.
They don't like at least hanging out and having those open runs, like and just being like, hey, I'd
Where's
like
the
to play
Olympics?
with you. I'd like to play with you.
Where's
I'd
the next
like to play
Yeah,
with
they
you.
can do that in LA.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's Tokyo, right?
Tokyo.
Yeah, I
Paul
think it's
George
Tokyo.
almost ruining his career probably shielded
Yeah.
some guys from joining up. Also, it seems like that generation, LeBron's generation, is all graduated past that, and the guys underneath them just haven't really taken to it. The other thing is a guy like Anthony Davis didn't play in the last game because he was hurt. There's been some injuries that affected it.
You
So I guess
basically need
next
the
Olympics-
Warriors guys to take it over.
Exactly.
Or you just go young and you have Davis as the oldest guy in the team, and the rest of it is like the Jason Tatum,
I think
everybody
I-
under
Go early.
23.
It's like
What could be really
Mitchell.
cool?
That'd
Yeah.
be fun.
Last year in the under-18s, RJ Barrett beat USA for Team Canada.
Yeah.
So if Canada keeps rising and we have this actual rivalry, that could change the whole dynamic.
Then we'd be back in it.
Canada. Wiggins will ruin it for them.
Wow.
Anthony Bennett will make the team.
The Australia team could be pretty good.
Where is Anthony Bennett these days?
He was in Maine.
Yeah, he's like in Fairmont.
Red Claws?
Like
Yeah, he
working
was
at a
last time I
lumberjack?
checked, yeah.
The home of
tough.
James Young.
I play basketball like a lumberjack.
We're just hanging out. Yeah, it might just be in Maine.
The best
Enjoying this-
Olympic moment ever was the 2012 guys demanding that Dwight Howard could not be on the team after their 08 experience. They totally Isaiah Thomas them.
Is it
Nobody ever wrote
conceivable
about
that
it.
nobody signs Dwight Howard?
That
So
would
who
be.
would the candidates be? The Wizards, Celtics?
Can you imagine Dwight Howard going to the Wizards? Like, are you serious?
Oh, please send him to the Celtics.
I think it's totally
no,
conceivable.
please.
They need a big man.
It would be like the one
Wizards.
chance that the rest of the East and Philadelphia in specific has
That
to
would be such a
scuttle
heat check for Brad.
to scuttle Boston.
mean,
I
it's
want
pretty
that.
Every
Gonzo,
contender.
I don't like your tone.
I almost made it a year here. So
I think Dwight's going to go to China and get a huge contract and just be the star in China.
That would be.
That's
a great move.
actually, it's not a bad move.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he do
The
that?
center of attention. I think that's just who.
Do you
it is.
think?
Yeah. Well, you know,
That will definitely be the name of his documentary of his time in China.
the
Center of attention.
Yeah.
Stephon Marbury is going to be so mad when he shows up.
I mean, Emeka Okafor was the center, a starting center in the NBA this year. I
Who
think there's
had
going to be
two
a place.
mentions of Emeka Okafor tonight as an over?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is you would think Dwight could go to a team that had just a ton of cap space that just wanted, but the two candidates would be Atlanta and Brooklyn, and both of them have already sent him packing.
Yes.
So there's
I like
really
that.
not a team unless it's Boston.
I like that take. Some Chinese basketball team offers him a huge contract
Beijing
plus
Dub
a.
says we want to have Dwight Howard. We want to have the Lakers
Right.
center.
And then
Plus
he
there's
talks
like-
himself into it by being like, I grow my international brand.
They include like a 5-picture deal.
Right.
In the Chinese film market, and he's like.
He'll be
great.
in the remake of Skyscraper.
Yes.
What's the funniest outcome for the Ringer? Warriors 1, Celtics
Warriors
2,
would be incredible.
China
Roy
3.
be-
So
That'd be
it's
great
definitely Dwight
China
Howard
3.
destroys the Celtics as 1. I hate to
Right.
tell you this.
I know. I'm with you.
Okay, and then 2 would be Steve Kerr wins Dwight Howard a ring. That would be number 2.
Or tries to.
If he
Dwight
does-
Howard winning
Lakers
a ring.
return?
Dwight Howard going back to Orlando and bumping Mo Bamba.
Lakers
would
are
be
taking
awesome.
Oh no! What happened?
Say,
Yeah!
Whoa, go Bo!
Woj vocab watch has been my favorite part of this
What did he
draft.
say- what did he say
Now
now?
he says they are unlikely to resist Mo Wagner.
That is ominous, by
let's
the way.
do
That
Mo
kind
Wagner
of
for the
phrasing
Lakers
is
here.
like
It's unbelievable.
it makes
Number one on
it.
your board, Kev.
Mo Wagner from Michigan.
Look at this.
It's like
Woj says they're
mildly,
unlikely to.
mildly assaulty.
We don't even
Like,
have
phrasing.
Mo Wagner. Kev, what's your grade for Mo?
A+. Number 1 on his draft board. Best
Number
friend of
one
Kevin.
player on my draft board, Mo Wagner.
They're
That's your
best
boy.
friends.
That's my boy. Yeah, I like Mo, but in reality,
Wait, no, once
it's
again,
it's an A+. It's a good pick for the Lakers. Mo Wagner is 6'10", can stroke threes, plays really hard on defense, and is a solid rebounder.
A+.
They
25th pick.
They wanted
What the hell is going on?
The Lakers wanted Zaire Smith and they wanted Anthony Simons with this selection.
Okay.
So I do wonder how much of this was like, oh, now what do we do?
now they're not prepared because it went
I do
3
wonder.
deep.
Well, the good news is they got an A+ from KOC.
Yeah.
So Mo Wagner gets an A+. He can be Julius Randle insurance if he leaves, right?
Sure. And
Oh, A++.
What are the odds that Magic Johnson knew who Mo Wagner was?
Well, he was on national television a couple of times.
That's
so
true.
Yeah.
I love his song.
They played their regional.
I
out
love
in LA.
Wagner
He was
as a
at the game,
composer.
so
Yeah.
he saw Wagner in person.
So Wagner goes to the Lakers. We have Philly and then Boston, and then it's dinner time in America.
Oh, this was the Cavs pick.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
One of the worst trades ever is now complete. Jesus.
The Lakers got Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, and Mo Wagner for Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance.
I can't tell you how bad Jordan Clarkson was in the first half of Game 1 of the Finals.
I take Nance
He
over
played the
Wagner,
worst
though.
5 minutes I've ever seen in my life.
He was unplayable.
Everything he did
Yeah.
was the worst possible version
like he
of
was
a
playing
basketball
pickup.
player.
It was truly terrible.
I'm with Sharks though. I still like Nance. I think
We
he
need
fits
a Mo Wagner podcast.
The Raptors' big mistake was not letting Jordan Clarkson have the ball.
This guy.
Yeah.
That's great.
I liked Nance more until that Finals. He was completely clueless defensively. I was stunned by how they were just running like back cuts on him and stuff. He had like no idea what was happening.
He was all over the place, especially in the Celtics series too, where he was just throwing his body around.
But he is young.
Long term, yeah, I think he can run the floor.
So while we're waiting for the Sixers and the Celtics to draft
Pajamas.
again, have you started hearing anything about who the Sixers might take here?
I have not.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Who do you want? Do you have somebody you want?
It's logical we end with the Sixers and Celtics, right?
Yeah.
Very on brand
The
for
Ringer
us.
blood feud.
Again, shooting and ball handling would be great.
Sure.
Who's left on the shooters / ball handlers?
Maybe you should draft the GM.
You want shooters and ball handlers?
We'll take Mike Zarin. How about that?
You want shooters and ball handlers, you said?
Yes.
How about Eli Akobo? Coming from France. D'Anthony Melton, super versatile defender. Jacob Evans, not as
D'Anthony
much a
Melton
ball
was working
handler,
out
but
with,
versatile defender.
With Drew Hanlon, too.
Yeah.
The all Drew Hanlon team in Philadelphia.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah, we've reached max Drew Hamlin name drops right now.
Seriously,
just wait until those 5 and 5.
The whole of the Sixers work out with him now.
The Sixers had the chance here if they had kept Bridges. They could have gotten Jalen Brunson, just reunited the Villanova team.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think Jalen Brunson might be better than Aaron Holiday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
And like taking him that high.
my dude on West Virginia.
Yeah, Javon Carter.
I think both those guys are going to be
Even
rotation
Devontae
guys.
Graham from
Javon
Kansas
Carter,
or Malik Newman, someone like that, you can get in the second round.
I'm still trying to get my head around this Zaire Smith-Mikal Bridges trade, man.
If the Celtics took Javon Carter, that's a farewell Marcus pick.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah.
Chris, it was
That's
confirmed
a
that it was
Marcus's leading
unprotected.
pick.
It is confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed that it was unprotected.
That's a good pick.
I like
When
that.
is the last time Miami's draft pick has been good, though?
When they drafted Justice Winslow, when they drafted Michael Beasley second,
When was that?
it was like 2 decades ago.
Right. It's like, I just feel like
not
Pat
sure
never
what
lets
first
That's
round.
absurd
low.
if he
That's
drops
the
out of the
problem.
first round.
There's,
What was
Celtics
the
might take
Justice
him, right?
Winslow
So
year?
here's
Yeah,
the
they
thing.
need a future center.
They didn't trade up for that, right? They stayed
last
because
week-
they were
no,
going to
because
trade
there's a
to-
player
for
with medical
Charlotte. I think
concerns.
Charlotte said
Right.
no.
Right.
It was like
So
11.
Boston was going to trade to
And
Charlotte.
we're talking
to get
about,
the ninth
his
pick.
Charlotte
character concerns,
took
but what if the medical
Frank.
Frank Kaminsky.
Frankie
theorizing.
Yeah.
He's number 10.
Just theorizing.
Number 10.
What if
Pretty
the medical
good.
was him?
I mean,
Maybe.
he don't have a lot. They get an injury, all of a sudden that's a top 10 pick again.
Is
Josh
he the first
Hart-
Moritz ever been taken?
This is the
Great for
first Moritz.
Germany.
I'm going to go out
A
on
bit
a
of
limb.
Moritz?
You stats
Maybe in the
info on that?
50s?
I'm going to bet a yay on that.
This guy,
Great.
sorry, does not look like an NBA player.
But does Joe Ingles look like an NBA player, Chris Vernon?
He's just sticking up for his boy. We all know the Kevin O'Connor
Tanya Hubbard is
story, right?
really sizing this guy up, trying to figure out what's inside him right now.
In reality, Wagner was 38
What do you see,
on my
Tanya?
board.
Yeah?
38. I have no biases. 38. He does.
He carried Michigan to
I
the
see a
title.
lot of
likes the ringer.
celebrations while wearing a warm-up jacket on the bench.
He was straight
For
up
Lonzo ball
starstruck
passes.
when
He
saw
seems
Kevin
like he's going to be going
O'Connor.
like this a lot.
Are you
when
serious?
Paul George shoots a three.
What?
Mo Wagner.
Can we talk about this story for a
Yeah,
second?
we need to talk about this.
Let's hear it.
We were leaving the stadium and we're walking through the tunnel going back to the locker room.
What stadium?
At Staples Center. And Mo Wagner is coming out to do his media, sees KOC, daps him up, walks by, and I think it was
Yeah, it was
Tate
right.
or
No,
Tice
I
or
overheard
you-
him. Yeah, I overheard him tell one of the other Michigan guys, dude, that's Kevin O'Connor.
I give that story an A+.
How did we not hear this
That's why I got an
now?
A+.
Oh my god, that was
Oh,
amazing.
this is. Give me these grades.
So Mo is a fan of the
that's
Ringer
Kevin
NBA show
O'Connor?
and a
That's amazing.
One Shining podcast.
Yeah, he listens to one Shining podcast.
Fan of the Ringer Podcast Network.
All right,
Oh, why
Jason.
didn't you tell? I love this
That's
pick
right.
now.
That's
Favorite
great.
Laker.
F+.
Kevin, we're going to Lakers games.
I know.
Oh, I know.
So did the
Bromance. I can't wait for this bromance.
Sixers pick still hasn't been tipped
Yeah,
yet.
do you think you guys could get an apartment together?
Well, soon I'm going to start sounding like Stephen A. Smith, my friend, Bo Wagner.
My good friend.
My good friend.
So Bobby Marks on
My
ESPN
roommate.
right now is painting the portrait of how the Sixers can create max cap room. Kev, if you had to tell me right now, who would be the guy that you think that they would not like target, but most likely be a player for?
Like aside from LeBron?
Sure, but I feel like everybody is like LeBron's not checking out schools in Philly.
It could also be the type of thing where it's a trade where it's easier to absorb a guy in a trade, like Kawhi.
Okay.
So you don't have to match the salaries, right? You don't have to match the 125% to get there with taking on that money, where maybe you can absorb them and just give up a little bit less salary because you have that cap space to take on the money.
Couldn't they take a foreigner here that they could stash?
Yeah.
Who's the best foreigner?
Musa right now.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Okobo.
I don't think Okobo's a stash, though.
Landry Shamet from Wichita State.
Landry Shamet, first round. Interesting.
Wichita State point guard.
Okay. I bet we don't have a card for that.
What do you think about Shannon?
Oh, we have.
He's
No
good
Landry
shoot.
Shannon.
I would take Shaman just because he has a lot of length.
Are we guessing, or we're saying this is who we're going to take?
No, Woj says they're enamored with him.
You gotta be kidding me. You have to be joking
So
with me.
Shamet's the new
They're enamored.
Bellinelli then.
I'm enamored with what your grade would be for this.
Shamet's the new Bellinelli, I think. I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't like him as much as you, Tate, but that dude can stroke threes. Yeah. He can stroke threes for sure.
Danny, have you heard of this guy?
Yeah, he's on a Ringer draft guide.
He's our Ringer draft guide.
C minus.
C minus.
I just don't like the spot for him. I had him ranked 40th.
Did you guys think that there's somebody else on the board, though, that the Sixers should have been thinking about?
I mean, there's a lot of combo-ish wing guys, but it's a fine pick. It's whatever.
Yeah,
Makes
it's
a lot of
fine.
sense for them, but I guess.
All right,
Do you think Mo Wagner will film a single-way female trailer with him and KOC, where they room together? KOC starts dressing like him.
Carter, bro.
Gets the same haircut.
Yo.
KOC's wearing Lakers warm-up jackets.
Yeah.
And this was before you escaped from Oracle Arena with a backpack filled with water.
Oh my God! So all my friends back
you had
home
to
know
bring
I
that
always
up.
carry water.
How much water? Let me. Where's
Pull my bag up right there.
He has a bag full of water right now.
Right there. I don't know where it went, but
gone.
I have a big. There's no bag.
Kevin definitely watched The Big Short and was
What's
like,
the
I
name
need
of
to
the
have
brand of water
water.
bottle?
Right, I knew
Because of
water.
Mike Berry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jason, can you do an imitation of Michael Porter trying to escape Oracle Arena?
Hey, Ruby, my bag is over there. Inside there's a water bottle.
Guys, let's get some final draft thoughts as we wait for Boston to make their pick. What do you think was the winner, the loser of this first round? Start with you, Tate. We'll just kind of go around the room a little bit.
I think Sexton was a great pick.
So Cleveland is a winner.
Cleveland was probably my number one, just because they made a decision for themselves. I feel like.
JG.
Drafting a player and then trading for another player and a draft pick by the Sixers with no general manager. I think pulling off a magic trick without a magician is pretty impressive.
Okay. Winner
why not?
Sixers. Danny, got a winner or a loser for me?
Robert Williams is still not on the board.
Yeah, that's stunning. That's stunning.
That's a huge loser.
Okay. John?
Luka, the Mavs, we're back, baby. New franchise player. Let's go.
Paolo, I'm going to give you one out there. I know that what do you think of Lonnie the Spur? Is that a winner?
I love it. Yeah, it's like he is going to be fun alongside DeJounte, I think.
Okay. Verrier?
Porter Jr. loser in the short term, winner in the long term. He's on a much better team. They can
That's
make
a
the
really good
playoffs
point.
this year.
That's a good point. Anybody else?
Ruby found my water.
I would say Landry Shamet shows that Markelle Fultz might not be this might be Markelle insurance.
Come on, man. They ain't trying to give Markelle full insurance for 26
I'm telling you, Shamet's good.
been a rough year.
Shamet is really, really good, and he's exactly what they thought they got.
I guess
with
he had
Fultz.
the breakout game against
Robert
Kentucky
Williams for the Boston
years ago.
Celtics at the 27th.
I like
really?
this pick. Williams
Very
is
interesting.
crazy talented.
They're this time they're tantalized.
They're tantalized.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got a Robert Williams thing.
Yeah.
What did? Yeah, I know. Seriously. So
Aroused.
Justin's winner and loser at the same time, which I like that, is Porter. Robert Williams is Texas A&M forward center, an elite athlete, athletic shot blocker, needs an overhaul of his shot form, and is an under-disciplined defender. Welcome to the
Look at those
NBA.
shades.
Amir Johnson, Clint Capella,
that's
DeAndre Jordan are his
27?
comps.
Boston took him?
Boston took Robert Williams.
Oh.
This guy's really,
Kevin?
really talented.
Let's get the grade on Robert Williams to Boston.
B+.
Dealer
Nice.
Danny.
Boston Celtics.
For Bobby Billy.
Primarily because it's a steal at this point. Robert Williams, after his freshman year, was definitely a lottery pick. And this year, entering the draft, is expected to be late lotto, mid-first. So for them, it's a good gamble to take. He has his weaknesses with motor, running cold often.
Yeah.
Got to turn him on every game, every practice. But maybe with Boston's system and Boston's culture, you feel good about that. There's no doubt he can protect the rim and move laterally. He could be really good long-term within the situation. Like, with so many players, like we do so much evaluation entering the draft, but so much of it's based on situation and opportunity, and I think this is good for him even more so than the pick is for Boston.
Right. Kevin, before we go, any winner or loser you wanted to highlight from tonight's draft? Well, obviously, be talking about it for a long time.
Definitely Dallas trading him and getting Luka
Yeah.
Doncic. They're the winners of the night, probably the winners of, not the summer, but in terms of acquiring young guys.
One more, obviously, Mo Wagner meeting his hero, Kevin O'Connor. A huge winner and being here in LA with him.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, winner for us.
Jason, any winner or loser from tonight's first round?
I had the Mavs too. I mean, it's a steal, I think. Yeah. And then it closes a loop too, because now you have like the most heralded European player
of all time,
essentially ever, following up the career of the greatest European player to ever play in the NBA. It's a really cool circle.
Bill, you're still processing Robert Williams. Any
Bobby
winners
Hurley.
and
How do you
losers
feel
from the
about the
first
pick?
round?
I like the Robert Williams
Okay.
pick. Just because it's the 27th pick, you usually don't get anybody good.
Take a shot.
Brad Stevens has made it work with the likes of Jordan Crawford, a Morris brother.
I got it.
Cool.
Rajon Rondo.
I'm out.
For winner and loser, the Hawks, amazing. Like, they're sitting there at 3, and
Yeah.
Doncic falls to them, and then they overthink it, and they trade back and take Trey Young. Not a sure thing.
They shoot
I
themselves
like
in the
Trey
foot
Young,
any
but
other
not a
foot.
sure thing. And the Doncic thing now, if he becomes really good, that becomes, this is a franchise that did Marvin Williams over Chris Paul.
Yeah.
They have this
playing in the
legacy
league.
of
Marvin's
all
still
these
in the
things
league,
that have
guys.
gone wrong over the years. And this would be the latest one. It's like, oh, we could have had Luka, and instead we traded back.
Yeah.
Also puts a shitload of pressure on Trey Young.
Yeah, it does.
If Doncic comes out and he's good right away, and Trey Young starts out and he's shooting 30% in November,
it's tough.
And all 28 Hawks fans are going to be like, what the fuck? 2 chains what do we
One
do?
other winner,
yeah,
Grayson Allen, and the reason why is because 2 years ago, after his sophomore season, projected first-round pick. Then after his junior year, plummeted. After his senior year, it seemed like entering the draft, probably like a mid-second
Second round
rounder.
pick, yeah, 35
somehow
range.
has worked his way up to be the 21st pick in the draft, right around the area he would have been after his sophomore year. Usually guys fall, and he ended up staying in the same spot.
Good things happen
The
to good
Ringer's
people.
message to
Karma works
message
out
tonight
sometimes.
is to stay in school. Stay in
Stay in
school.
school.
If you want to be
Yeah, be a
successful in the
senior.
NBA. All right, it's been 3 hours. It's been real. For everybody on the set and everybody back at the control room, thank you to everybody who worked on the Ringer NBA show tonight. Go to theringer.com to check out all of our draft coverage and check out our NBA draft guide. And we will be with you for free agency. What was that? And buy the shirt. Ringer.com/shop. We'll see you soon.